Alright. Can you still hear me?
In the world of NACT,
Alright. We
every
Gucci.
single player has one dream.
They got 12 minutes before they start anyway.
Ultimate trophy.
Yeah. You want to run a brawl or something?
Alliances.
I mean, I ain't against the idea. Not opposed to it, you know.
The show.
It defines rivalries. And it creates superstars. The only question is, who will be next?
Yeah, dude, I'm starting to feel like crap. Getting the body aches and fucking sinus congestion, but
Agent Beth here, undercover as your favorite esports host to bring you the latest NACT recap. Just as you thought, the NACT 2024 spring regular season has come to a, what's the word, stale end. The last day broadcast brought you more twists and turns than you could have expected.
Link.
Bloodhounds, still grappling with defeat, took a match win straight from Divas Activities
To the Discord.
Meanwhile, Nighthawk snatched the eyeballs of tens and thousands of viewers as they dethroned our kings and sent BTK back to square one. With playoffs right around the corner, let's discuss the paths to victory for some of your favorite teams. In Game 1, despite some great sets coming in from Booga Booga, Bloodhounds found themselves drowning in a 10,000 goal deficit, unable to claw their
ranked
way
match,
to
eh?
victory against DA. But hold on to your hats because
I
Game
just jumped
2
in the
was
lobby.
where
I
the
didn't
Bloodhounds
pay
showed us their
attention.
true potential into a fierce playoff run. Both Carrasco boldly locking in that Eudora not only left her casters speechless
See if we
at
can
the
get a
draft,
quick
but
win in,
surprised
you know?
the entire NACT
Figure
community
something
with
out.
an insane comeback victory. We got some inside scoopity doop boop into the excitement of the boys after the win, so let's
My camera
listen.
looks like it's lagging. Oh well.
Yeah, you'll be up in time.
I'm going for the tower.
You might have to go.
Long as we not dropping frames, we gonna roll.
No, we should just be able to tower lock.
I'm coming.
Ooh. I guess. Or Valentina? Nah, I'll go Granger.
Right here.
We have another wave too. Keep going.
Oh my god, okay. Nice. One more.
Although Bloodhounds eventually fell short in the series, their
Should I go with
heroic
Execute
performance illuminated the
or
path
Revitalize?
for just what they're capable of in the playoffs.
That's hard.
If you haven't caught up yet,
I
was
went with
the
Revitalize.
insane upset of Nighthorde against the Bloodthirsty Kings. A decisive Game 1
No,
wrapped
that
up in under
Vitalize.
14 minutes.
I'll do the same. That way we got a little bit more heals.
Then a
little bit more
stroke
heals.
Where you went? Oh, Laoyi.
Yeah.
At first, I saw the mask on. I thought it was Nabi.
That they are the real dark horse in the spring season, just like their logo.
So much magic damage in this match.
Started channeling his inner zoo after that
Funny.
epic win against BTK, so let's tap into the wildness.
Yo, I'm not gonna do interview, Donkey. Yo, you do interview,
Overall, guys, we wrapped up the regular season with a
Dude, I
rather
couldn't flicker away.
GG number 1 and a BTK number 2. What I have my eyes on.
I need to get a new phone, bro. This thing is literally shit. Like my screen
new one
is,
too.
my screen is like 30% broken.
Comment down below.
Damn.
Now, our inside agents informed us that LEGACi is keeping its ace up its sleeves until the playoffs. I guess we'll find out their secret weapon very soon. Looking at the playoff bracket, it seems like a GG is the only team with a fairly straight shot into the semifinals. Its X5BTK, however, might face a tougher road ahead. Luckily,
Alright.
BTK has stuck with its tried and true.
See, I'm gonna have to say that GG is gonna get upset by either Area 77 or Fiends. Somebody's got to do it, and the only reason I say that is because I feel like they've been on
You make Noah some food, baby?
too much of a
I guess you have to find out this weekend.
Yeah, he just said supper's done.
overconfident streak, if you will. Somebody's got to
Can you
do
pick
it.
up my energy drink too? It's in the fridge, I think.
Yeah, get some of that health. Nom 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 nom. Oh, oh. Oh, shit.
Like Granger, bro.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Oh, I stepped into it. Yo, Team Pokemon, what's going on? I appreciate you, man. Hope you're doing good. Just playing a quick little match with Stigma here while we wait. I'm on the way, I'm on the way.
The NACT spring season has been nothing but big plays and hype moments. 77 is going to have to back off Bahari.
Nice, nice.
Damage coming on the Jules Cutie, able to shred him down. Every team has fought hard and competed at the highest level.
White Chicken able to get the arm offended. Tarzan Cutie goes down. Maybe they should have just gone for the Lord, but they decide not to. They want to try to force this.
I got heals.
Here, but Jay is bursted.
Oh god, oh god.
On the field, Area 77 are falling. Did they push it too far? Gaming Gladiators
Nice.
don't come to our base
Good job.
just yet.
Now let's take a look back at their finest moments.
The Lord is down to half health already. BTK, do they want to try to end this here? Oh, the final slash does lock on.
Oh god, oh god.
Milo back in, knock up, taken out, basic, able to pick up the kill. Magic taking so much damage, but Kohari is up and ready to go. Speedy light wheel, not able to connect just yet. Nicolette able to find another. It's nothing but Kohari and Turo against the
Report
world.
AFK. Who's AFK?
Closing in. Will this be a 2-0? Fiends.
Nah, nobody's AFK, bro. We just that good.
Just lock onto the base and finish it. Kohari gonna be the next to fall. Milo looking for it, but now Kohari gets the shutdown, and now the minions are back up.
I didn't see Zane or anyone really streaming this week, so I'm assuming they've been hitting the practice hard.
Probably. I mean, it is the playoffs. They got to get it. Now's the time, you know?
Right.
Wow, so it's just like a great combination by them. Oh, another divine judgment.
Melon able to get the kill. Lord still coming.
Good kill.
Bloodhounds down one member. A lot of damage.
Yeah, triple.
Able to get the kill. No T finds him asleep. Gets away with just a sliver.
Dude, I might have to start using Louis more.
Is on the base, and it's
You should. Louis dangerous.
Oh, she took my kill. What a... Oh, you little shit. You little shit ass.
Thank you, baby.
Oh, Ryan. Oh, shoot. I just remembered I have not sent your tracking number yet, but you have been shipped, my good sir.
Motherfuckers. Trying to give you some goddamn life.
Melon on the T, cushion to the backside, look for Boca. Taking a little bit too much damage. Ugabuga able to force it away. T also taking a lot easy peasy. Finds the decimation. Immortality down, T down, but the Lord has fallen as well. They want to lock onto the base. Can they finish this? Booga Booga does it.
ISO finds the tower into the back. Nicolette
Oh.
journey to try to protect her team. Bursted down, taken down by Mark Cutie. This could be the end. ISO still pushing.
I got heals, I got heals.
It's just Colo left. We have minions up at the top.
Me too.
Trying to clear out the minions.
Group. Ah, she ran away.
Mielo with the damage. He gets taken out by Mark Cutie. It's just Cold World left, but they have no minions. Still gonna try to force it at this mid tower. We have
Nice.
Yoreshi coming in. Zane is back out. Is he gonna have the heavy spin ready? The core goes down. This is gonna be a sweep for Area 77.
Both sides were going to kill their first kills of the game. You are going to see Cutie Nash get the kill for the side of Legacy, but the invasion on the orange buff.
Ooh, a lot of damage on
Okay,
the
heals.
Miles there. I mean, Rams is there. Rams is going to take it. He's praised Rams.
Two. Stay still.
Get away with a singular HP there. But we're already seeing the possibilities from the
Week's
side
been
of
good.
LG, the
Week's been
invades.
good.
Whoopi now there as well.
Just
Looking for the invade.
decided to get sick today. You know.
That's always good.
Yeah, I was like, you know, it's been a while. Let's mix things up a
For
bit.
good, do for good illness.
Ooh, big final slash onto TT goes down. Mello
For science.
fried chicken finds the kill. Kush might
For science, I need a round of the cold.
Right.
Best player's been down, and they don't care. Yato now in trouble in the wall, trying to get away. Shark not gonna let it happen. It's the final slash, and all that's left is Mikasa.
Ray is going
Can they end this
off.
here? It's nothing but Mikasa on the field. Mikasa pops the ult. Gonna try to. Oh my God! Look at the damage to Mikasa, but he's immediately taken out. GG will close the
Why
night.
are you so slow?
The teams are ready for their battles, but only 2 will make it to Vegas for the final showdown. NACT, it's time to pick your champion.
I forgot she had a teleport for an ult.
The moment we've all been waiting for, guys. Welcome to day 1 of the playoffs for NACT Spring 2024. Warm-ups are history now, and it's time to separate the contenders from
God.
the pretenders. Fresh rosters, higher stakes, and the threat of fast elimination set the stage for top-tier gaming. Joining with me on the cast session today are our veterans Steph Weezy and Private.
GG.
How's excitement ramping up for playoffs, these boys?
Oh, I'm excited. Hey, we're finally here. The playoffs is on fire now. We've had a great regular season.
Yeah, I'll take a
and now
fight.
jumping into
I'll
day
try it.
1. Who better to do it with than Liz and also Private? How you
All
doing?
right, let's get into it.
Yeah, it's excitement galore here because
First
now it
round,
is do
we
or
got
die time
GG
for all
going
of
up
these
against
teams. Time to pull out all the
Legacy.
stops, no more monkeying around, and for some of these teams, it
Oh,
might
their
be
Lu
their
Yu is
swan
AFK.
song on the way out.
What's
Yeah, and we'll find out very
No
soon.
eating?
First up, let's take a recap at the playoff
Okay.
format. We are here at day 1 of the playoffs, still with our same 8 rosters, but this time a misstep could mean a swift exit, and someone is going home. The format is double elimination series with best of 5s for the winners bracket
A
and
swift
best of 3s winning
exit.
route to losers bracket.
Ooh,
The
shit.
playoffs bracket right
Getting
now
real
is
now.
shown on screen and is reflecting of the team's regular season standings. GG and BTK secured a top spots in the regular season, so they have a relatively easier roster to begin with and a pretty clear path to semifinals.
Nice.
But only 2
claimed
teams
a-
are going to make it to the grand finals, so we'll find out.
It looked
what's
like
coming to
a
Vegas very soon.
Star protection card.
Yeah, and I mean, just like you mentioned, it's make it or break it now. There's actually something to lose. It's not a point system anymore. If you can be knocked out of the NACT going forward here, you know, there's not too many chances left on the board. You have a best of 5 in the upper bracket, you get knocked down to lower bracket, a best of 3, and you're gone. So we're gonna see who has that merit in them to be able to climb up that ladder to the top.
Should be good time.
Seat inside of the grand finals.
Yeah, and as we were talking about, there's no more
Actually,
points
I'm
here,
gonna
but the
jump
points have
off the
pretty
game
much
quick
laid
so I
rest of
can
where these
sit
teams
Ryan
are on the brackets. The best taking on
is,
the proverbial worst from the
cracking
season
them
right
real
now, but that
fast.
doesn't mean that all is done yet. They still have a chance, an opportunity to prove some of those naysayers wrong.
Yeah, and even though only the top 2 teams are making it to Vegas, everyone gets a prize. So let's take a look at the prize pool for all of our teams. Now, prize pool always brings a lot of excitement. We have a total of $25,000 in diamonds for grabs, and the top team will be clinching home a $10,000 cash prize. And in addition to that, we have an $100 USD bonus for each win, and each team, and we have actually an additional finals MVP for grabs, as well as a $3 million prize pool for the MSC. So a lot of prizes this season.
And speaking of prizes, another addition, every series that a team wins is another $100 in their pocket as well, which is the first time I believe we've done this in the NACT. So I mean, as these teams are evolving, so is the NACT for North America.
Yeah, and we talked about that prize pool. There's also the MVP of the night in the grand finals. We'll have a little extra moolah. So there's just we're just giving out money back and forth to some of those better players out here, and it's going to be very exciting to see who can come out on top.
Yep, and stay tuned for all of our exciting prizes for our viewers.
Got that sent for you there, bud.
We have giveaways coming up after a couple series, so stay tuned. Now, for today's matches, we have the winners bracket top best of fives with GG versus LEGACi, and then Area 77 versus FIENDS. Now, both teams, we know that GG and Area 77 actually don't have a roster change, but LEGACi and FIENDS have a pretty big roster change.
Yeah,
so
tomorrow's gonna be the games that I wanted to see, but
What's those?
A lot to kind of jump into. Gaming Gladiators up against LEGACi will be our first series of the
Night
day.
Horde
versus.
versus.
It's gonna be a long night, fellas. Maybe a short one for a couple of teams. Hey, time will tell. Not gonna throw that caster curse out there, but anything is possible in the land of Dawn. I mean, we've been asking the question: who can go toe to toe with the kings of the hill? The people that are at the top of the ladder. GG sitting in that #1 position, and LEGACi, who barely slid by even into the regular season in that top 8. Didn't have the greatest run, but hey, now's their chance. Hopefully they learned enough in the regular season to be able to bridge that gap and put on some great competition today.
459 out of 800
has been loaded with just extra opportunities.
for that fucking
whether it's the qualifiers that happened on 2 different
new Moscow
gave
skin.
extra opportunities to try to make it into the top 8, or even right now where it's a best of 5.
All right, so tomorrow is BTK versus Bloodhounds and Night Horde versus Devious Activity.
And rise to the occasion.
Be a good one.
And will LEGACi's roster change be that fresh start they needed? Let's take a look at what changed for the LEGACi team.
Got the soundboard up this time.
Nice.
There you are, PDR in the XP lane, swapping out for Whoopi. Will be an addition to LEGACi. A couple of teams have been swapping
Gaming
around,
Gladiators, yeah, they'll
lane,
probably
win
it.
Could have a phenomenal impact.
I'm just hoping
Excited
that
to see how it goes, but nonetheless,
LEGACi can win one.
Of work that they have to be able to step into, especially going up against a team such as Gaming Gladiators. With the new addition on the roster for the playoffs, will it be the difference?
Yeah, it's actually really exciting to see if because they have had a little bit of a struggle when it comes to the team compositions, being able to protect Riles on some of those more comfortable picks that he likes with the assassins. But I mean, if any time is we're at that point where it now is all that matters. We're at the playoffs. One of these teams going to be moving forward. One of these teams going to be dropping to the lower brackets.
And let's see GG's rosters coming up.
Yes, let us see the roster.
Yeah, you can see we just talked about it. We talked about it before. There are no changes here. It's kind of hard to mess with what we've been considering perfection so far. Is he going to be in the gold lane? Shark in the roam. Hoon taking up the mid lane. A best player at the jungle. And fried chicken, excuse me, bringing up the XP lane. And I mean, there's no reason to change the roster. They've been very successful sans one match. But I mean, there was one match that was a very big surprise that kind of came at a cost of maybe them being a little indecisive when it came to some of the draft. So, I mean, we're looking for them to kind of close up those holes here as they move on here in the playoffs.
Yeah, and GG is a team where every season they've played so far, they haven't really had a
really
roster
hope I
change,
don't get like super sick because I just had that interview for
do you guys think
a new
there's going to be
position
a
at work.
when it comes to best of
What did
5
ya?
series,
Yeah.
like how the series
How'd it go?
I think it went
feel like
good.
a best of 5 always has a
The
good
lady looked a
dynamic
little
because there's more
confused though
things
when
that
she
you can
asked me
kind
if
of
I was
work
bilingual,
toward
and I
if
said
something doesn't
no.
work in game number 1, right? When you lose game number 1, it's match
It's like
So
he's
a lot
not.
of the people that work there, like
3 games in a row to be knocked
you're
out.
either
You have
white
a lot more leverage to be able
or
to bounce back, and I think a lot of
some
teams
sort of
lean
like
on that.
Hispanic or
Especially when it comes
Latino,
to drafting.
you know.
We do have a new hero.
And
Right.
so
Available.
they
I
speak,
mean,
a
we
lot
gotta
of people
see him,
speak
for
multiple
the
languages
end
there.
of the season.
And I'm like one of the
NACT
few who
chip
can't.
down effect. I know he hasn't been
And
kind of
she's just
selected as
like,
one of the hot prospects, but it
what
does
the
change
heck?
a little bit of the
Like,
dynamic
it's
on what we may
2024
see
and you
in
only
terms of
speak
drafting.
English?
So with a best of 5, definitely expect some
My
surprises.
bad.
Yeah,
Didn't know that was
now
a prerequisite,
we
you know?
Yeah, well,
more,
and she said
especially
that
Hoon on Aluyi right
it
now
wasn't
has been
required,
really
but I just thought
favoring
it was
that
kind of
mage,
funny.
been
Because,
able to
like,
kind
her
of get
face
them
just
around
went,
the
like,
map,
straight
get the other
confusion.
players to their
And I'm
lanes
like,
very
oh.
fast.
And I don't
A lot
know
of
if, like,
damage
she's
and
seen the
CC
worry on
coming
my
in with it,
face
and
or
then
what,
having
but she
Shark in
was
the
like,
front to kind of
don't worry,
protect
it's
that
not a
lead. So
requirement.
it's been an amazing
And I was just
game
like,
for
okay,
them
good.
so far, but like we've said, this is the playoffs now. It's
Right.
time to kind of hunker down and get
Oh,
those,
dude, they have
and
skins
roll
for.
forward, with
Oh
their
yeah,
picks.
99% off, baby.
Oh, yeah, they got the
Don't
promo
wait.
diamonds up.
Casters picked as
Yeah.
favorite today for our predictions. I'm
I just don't know what hero I
want
wanna get.
for our casters. I mean, who can we blame?
Like,
Gaming
I kinda
Gladiators
wanna
had
get
a
Chip,
pretty much
but-
straight run to victory.
I mean,
and they
Yeah,
have
Chip already.
a relative. It reflects in
He's
the
still
bracket
kinda
they're facing,
pricey.
right? For Legacy, on the other hand, they were stuck at 0 gravity for the regular season. I mean, they have the roster change.
Get another hero
today,
since-
So, do you guys think that's going to make
I
any
only need
difference
15
in
heroes
how it looks
left
for them for
to
today's
get.
games?
It's going to be a hard one. I don't want to throw the curse on them. You know, something I am surprised, though, with this prediction is that UA voted with
Tons of
everybody
fucking
this
skins
time. I
here,
thought it
bro.
would have been like the anomaly that we usually
my
see,
God.
but hey.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
shack
now
on the
that
lady's
UA voted with
face.
everybody, there is a chance that Legacy may be able to pull this off. So maybe I should have switched my vote.
Or perhaps Yui considers them the underdogs. Interesting. No, I think Yui just kind of joining up with the crew there. But it's hard to argue against a team like Gaming Gladiators who have been so successful in North America, especially when it comes to the playoffs. And then when you're talking about
I mean, I don't even have to use my promo diamonds. A lot of these guys I can just buy with my coins.
They have 0 wins, so there is
Yeah.
honestly no.
I have over 200,000.
Yeah,
I have 71,000 because I just use them to buy all the new heroes that come out.
Is to come back up. And I mean, UA has been.
But you know what? I've been waiting to
The
get
only
this
team
skin
that
for
he's
Ethereal for a while
rooting
since
for
I
no
have the
matter what
painted
is
skin
Fiends,
for it.
so I'm
And since it
sure
only
we're
costs
gonna
1
see that
diamond right now,
tomorrow. Now let's.
I'm gonna get it.
I believe draft is ready. So casters, let's get into the draft for the first.
All
game
right,
of
draft
the
time, baby.
playoffs. Let's get in.
That's right. And into the draft we go. Not going to waste any
Get it.
more time.
Let's fucking
Game
get
number
it.
one. First series of the playoffs is going to be Gaming Gladiators up against Legacy. The number 1 up against the number 8. Private in for a show. What are we thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting what we've been seeing. I feel like we talk about Gaming Gladiators a lot, and when it comes to, especially when it comes to like to one of the top teams here in North America, and for me, I kind of want to focus on like what Legacy needs to do to be
All right, they ban out the
successful.
Vexana.
Right now, we've seen Riles play an
And
assortment of
Matilda.
junglers. He's played those tanky ones, and he's been able to play some of his assassins. He's not had success on really any of them, and it's not just him. It's the rest of the team that has to kind of collide in and be able to support him
Ooh,
with
still
those
get a
picks.
couple
The one
skins
thing
for-
I'm wanting to
or
see
another
here
skin for a diamond.
from this team, from Legacy tonight,
But which
is
one?
timed objectives. When those
Which
objectives
one?
come up, I want to be seeing the entire team clamoring
Wanna
around
pack a
for
ball?
it, or getting a pick off in a side lane. But the
Well, was-
time for
was something wrong?
indecisiveness is over, and it's time
Oh,
for
he's
you
probably
guys
sitting
to
there,
make
baby.
a call and execute that when the time is right.
Hey, I like it. I mean,
Oh,
we
he's
were kind of
definitely down
talking
here.
about it, right? Gaming Gladiators is one of those teams. You give them an
Wait,
inch,
did
go
they
for
not
it.
ban?
They focus on the early game objectives, and usually they thrive there and are able to close
I
the
don't
game
think
out
Kuhn
at about
banned.
the
Skip?
13-minute mark if you let them. On the side of Legacy, though, you know, their early game's just not really
Or-
there.
oh,
And sometimes
damn.
when get
They
to
might
more
be
optimal
waiting
picks, it just doesn't
for
work in their favor. We haven't seen
Legacy's
them win,
second pick.
I believe, a single
Maybe?
game in the entire regular season. So, I mean, if they do win one, I guess that is a victory. I mean, if they
No,
keep
Hoon
just a
didn't
single
ban.
match,
What the?
it would be great for them. But as we are now looking at the draft so far, a couple of picks
It
have
said,
bans
fuck
have been
that
knocked off
shit.
the table. The Mathilda,
I'll ban when I want to ban.
normal, but we are seeing the Masha. I know we kind of talked about this. The Masha being a little bit of that heavy hitter now.
Ooh, that's what I need. I need more
And
legend
the opposing
skins,
side,
bro.
Vexana.
I want the Freya one.
Definitely, they're gonna a good ban there for the Vexana. It's been like probably one of the top picks and had the most impact on a lot of teams' compositions. The amount of CC she can throw down, the range there, and especially when it comes to those objective fights. You basically wait in the bush, and then as soon as you're ready for the retribution, Vexana comes in there, CC's the jungler down, and you're able to escape with a retribution onto the turtle and make your escape.
You know, and I'm wondering, I haven't seen Chip banned out yet. I really want to kind of see him in effect. I want to be able to cast one of those games with him on the playing field. I know a lot of people are still wondering, is he meta? Is he really even worth it? Because you allow a lot of valuable options to walk on the table if you do select it, and sometimes he doesn't provide the strongest CC that you're kind of relying on in that roam position. The R-Lot is going to be taken off the table, though. That will be one of the limited options for either side to be able to pick up. You are still seeing kind of those beefier jungles still available. Something like the Barats can be an option. You can stack it up with an Angela. Both of them very great. Do have to watch out for that Valentina. Something else that is still currently walking, who we have been seeing sneak into the meta scene, is that Lu Yi. Right, you've seen Hoon pick it out. You saw him doing really well on it. Could be a viable option.
One thing that's very interesting is we haven't banned out a lot of those assassins that best player is usually known for. Usually when we're going against somebody like Gaming Gladiators, you see the Joy banned out, you see the Nolan banned out. So maybe LEGACi
was busy and didn't ban. Holy shit.
Where best player might be going, but we're gonna go ahead pick up the Ruby first here. She
Ruby first pick.
Just recently, where about 50% of her regen was nerfed down. I want to say a week ago, but I mean that has not stopped the dominance of Ruby. And especially here because it can be kind of a flexible pick. Whether
Go first item, see how.
Or as a roam Gladiators.
Yeah, I mean, there is still Nolan on the table too. Maybe that will be a pickup for Gaming Gladiators if they're able to pull it off. I think the Ruby's great though, even with a little bit of the nerf. Still a very high utility hero that you can slot either into the roam position, possibly into the XP to keep LEGACi on their toes. Looks like they went the double support method though. They're going to ban out that Mathilda and that Angela, and there it goes Nolan. They're not going to let Gaming Gladiators take it. They're going to go in for the assassin themselves.
And X-Borg.
Yeah, and then picking up the X-Borg
so you'll probably pick carry.
Counter out one of those tankier
or Claude.
X-Borg is the perfect counter for Ruby.
But like we've said before, what I'm wanting to see from LEGACi here is the support of this pickup. Because assassins, while they can be, especially on a Nolan, you can be able to traverse the map very quickly, get those objectives quickly, and move around to get a lot of that farm. He is susceptible to getting ganked. So
I think every time I see his name,
sure that your team is paying attention. The callouts are there, and they're able to close in on Gaming Gladiators when Riles needs them.
Yeah, and I mean, we're gonna have to see where this goes. Oh,
Joy.
Joy walks. Now there is still suppression on the table. I mean, I don't know if it really
best
worked.
player jungling is Joy, huh?
With the draft that they have so far,
I guess that would counter Nolan's speed.
Joy's one of those heroes, kind of like that NACT, you can't swap away if you don't have the suppression to be able to stop.
Oh wow, he picked Roger.
Kind of, pulling some things out of the C meta. We've been seeing it translate into the North American scene.
He is always Roger, I feel like.
It works out really well. You can stack it up with something like a Purify.
Well, lately
really
Roger's
been
CC,
but it gives you the advantage.
Really popular in the gold lane.
A little bit more aggressive
I don't like him, but that's just because I don't know how to play
the
him.
need for those rotations, and that makes it very relaxed for Gaming Gladiators if there isn't a counter on there. I think the only thing that we've really seen that can match up with a Roger in that lane is possibly the not the Harley, the Harith. The Harith has been a big thing that can kind of counter, puts up a lot of damage. We've seen him try to match up with carries as well there, but if there isn't one of those two picks, I fear that the marksman lane is probably going to be pretty dominant for Gaming Gladiators, as we do see that the Farama is going to be picked up here by LEGACi.
Yeah, they're going for the sustainability, right? They took out the Angela, they took out the Mathilda, picked up the Faramis, slots it inside of the mid lane. I think it works out pretty well. Now, I am expecting some anti-heal picked up from the side of Gaming Gladiators, not only to counter the Faramis, but also to counter that X-Borg to top that off. So it's kind of knocking down two birds with one stone if they're not careful. Now, when you're looking at at least the synergy from those three heroes, right? You have the Nolan who can rush in, get a quick kill, and then he needs to get back. You have the X-Borg who can provide the utility, he can slow down the team, he can rush him with the last insanity. He
want to see a Beatrix here
as well when the Nolan can't go back in because he's on cooldown. So I think it works out really well, and then you pair it up with the heals provided over there by the Faramis to keep them alive. When I'm looking at Gaming Gladiators though, right? They have the Ruby. They can keep pretty much everybody in their tracks when they do group up on that Faramis. They have nobody right now, I would say, to kind of stop the Joy. I guess maybe the X-Borg can slow him down with the Ice Queen wand. could be a possible plan, but nothing to really solidify stopping him in his tracks.
Yeah, very interesting bans here coming out. We've seen that Hoon does favor that Liu Yi. That's taken off the board from LEGACi. And then I was just talking about that Harith. That it can be probably one of the only counters for Roger. That's going to be taken off the board for Game and Gladiators as they go ahead, pick up a Kaja for the ban and a Valentina, which means they're not going to have that IMU possibly out. And I say, like, depends on what we're going here. We still have, when it comes to like those roaming positions, the possibilities. I'm assuming Shark is going to go ahead and pick up this Ruby. So we're looking for that XP lane. I mean, actually the world is out there for Fly Chicken. There's not really too many XP lanes that are banned out right now. So he pretty much has his pick of the litter here.
Yeah, I mean, he has flexibility, right? He can pretty much pick out what he wants to. Now, when it comes to getting an XP lane to get to the backline, though, I mean, there's not really too many backline heroes available yet. You don't know who LEGACi's going to pick. We haven't seen their marksman picked up. Oh, wait a second. But there's a pickup. Is that...
That's going to be Hilda.
That is Hilda. I was going to say, I haven't seen a Hilda in a long time. Yeah, this is...
Almost didn't recognize her.
Yeah, like,
that's Hilda? What?
Hilda got a perm, but anyway... Are going back into this though. The Hilda.
At first, I thought it was a new hero.
Right. I'm like, question mark.
Something that Game of Gladiators has to watch out for.
They had even Steph Weezy thinking like, who the hell is that?
Shark is one of the few roamers in North America who knows how to harass the opponent jungler. And
that's how you know that Hilda does not get picked often. You know, when you even got the
good defense. But definitely somebody to have to watch out for.
The casters fucking questioning like, who the hell is this?
I like the confidence of this draft from LEGACi here, because a lot of these take a lot of synergy, especially with the Hilda. She's going to be trying to invade, she's going to be trying to get that vision. So you're going to need to make sure that you're supporting them, because Gaming Gladiators, as they close in around a Hilda, you're going to need to make sure that she has that support so that she can make that escape there. But from the side of Gaming Gladiators, who's going to go ahead and pick up the Varia, and then we have Brody being picked up.
Yeah, and also, I mean, there's a misband too. I don't know where the misband was, but anyway, that's just something interesting that we kind of noticed. But the Brody's good. I mean, especially against a Hilda, somebody that's going to rush in and try and get to him, because we were talking about heroes that can get to the back line. Brody's great against that with the corrosive strike to be able to get that stun, and to be able to go back to safety with the flicker. The Navaria to be able to fight from afar. Doesn't have to worry about the Nether Realm over there. From
I wish I knew how to play Brody.
They do group up to heal up. He can just drop down that
so good.
And slow down the whole team and provide that damage from afar and assist the team in terms of utility. But speaking of utility, last pick on the board is going to be the Claude.
Yeah, a very interesting draft here.
He's like,
I'm actually waiting to see, is he going to be
Brody,
sticking
you
with
have
this
a cape.
Brody, so then possibly
I have a cape
Roger's going to
too.
be the jungler for them. So, I mean, and it's going to be very interesting. Especially with the way how fast you're able to farm
then
up
Rogers
with
is
Roger.
rocking
You're
the
going to be able to
trenchy.
use that Lycan pounce to evade a lot of the CC, a lot of the damage that comes out.
He's
and
that
actually
dude in
close
the
in
alley
on
that you run into at
and
walking
somebody
home
who
after.
actually might be able to match up with the speed
He's
that
like,
Nolan
looking for kids wearing capes.
Riles.
You want to add
Hey,
something?
you said best player not getting that assassin. Lee said, hey, I got something for you. Let's go marksman assassin, switch things up a little bit. But with both rosters finalized, there goes the Claude, there goes the Brody. I think the Claude will be okay. He
Oh,
should be able to
best
get to the back line,
player
go
is
back to
going
safety.
Roger,
Does have to
okay.
watch out for the Ruby picking him up, though, with that CC.
All right.
The Lincoln Pounce can be a problem, but I'm expecting some great invasions over there from
Here we
LEGACi.
go.
As ladies and gentlemen, we are now jumping into game number 1, the first series of
All right, let's go LEGACi.
NACT spring season. Who do you think will be able to claim victory?
Right now, I mean, as far as a draft, there's a lot of boxes that need to be checked for the side of LEGACi to be successful here. But I mean, we've talked about it. This is a draft with a lot of confidence. You can already see Kuya Ken over there on the enemy side, just trying to get vision, wandering about, and they're not able to bring him down.
Yeah, we talked about it, right? Running on that Hilda,
Did he eat
being
dinner?
aggressive, invading, but keep an eye on Shark as well. He's trying to provide that defense and keep him at bay. But look at Riles on the invasion as well on the opposing side, trying to get anything they can nice and early.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, they're still kind of keeping each other at bay. I do like I was saying, the confidence. I like being able to kind of group
Oh, what
in
is he
and
doing?
make
What is he
sure
doing? Back
that you're
up.
getting the vision, and Kuya Ken doing such a great job of that right now, as long as he doesn't get caught and taken down, though.
You see, my only worry is there is a Roger, and he definitely is like a shark smelling blood in the water if you're low HP, so you're going to have to be careful. He's going to be able to hit you a little bit harder with that Lincoln count. Now, looking in the gold lane, we are looking at the Brody up against the Claude. The Brody, effectively, I would say, in the early phase is a little bit safer. I mean, the Claude has survivability, though, which will work in his favor, but it's definitely an interesting matchp. You're looking, though, on the bot side, a little bit of invasion. On the top side, though, would be GG going in for the kill. 4v2, Hoon will be able to take him down first blood for Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. The little bit of that confidence from LEGACi wearing out as Gaming Gladiator is able to very quickly surround. And this is the things I was talking about. LEGACi needs to be very quick about seeing these openings, seeing these, or at least seeing these holes, and being able to kind of shut them down and get around Gaming Gladiators before they can close in on their teammates.
Yeah, like we said, they're the team. You give them an inch, they go a mile, so you have to be careful. But Kuya Kid, he's not letting it go. He's just going to harass, trying to force out the retribution. That way,
Shark's picture is fucking perfect.
With Shark, it's going to be able to get it riled, claiming the turtle for LEGACi. Kuya Kid need to get out of there, though, taking heavy damage.
Yeah, and still holding it at about 1 kill
just
here
a
right
teddy
now.
bear
I mean, that's not gonna
wearing headphones.
You still need to kind of have LEGACi
on a chair.
continue. This is where they're gonna start getting shut down.
Great.
They're gonna start slowing down with some of that aggression, and we need to see them actually make a play happen out of here.
Yeah, speaking of plays, Kuya Kid on the bot side, doing some damage on the Shark. 50% HP, needing to watch out. I mean, just look how heavy of a hitter Hilda is so far. Kuya Kid, like the one-man army, rushes into Hoon. One more hit, maybe able to pull it off. Hit by the CC from Shark. Another room going down for the sustainability. You are going to see both sides fight it out. Blake Duet from Jolie. Riles join the party. Looks like both sides will disengage and nobody will fall.
And this is exactly what I was talking about. What I wanted to see from LEGACi is all of them. You saw that Kuya Kid actually got well deep into Gaming Gladiators territory, but you have FIENDS coming in there with that Nether Realm to be able to top him off, and then the rest of LEGACi comes in to help and aid in the escape.
Yeah, definitely focusing on the synergized plays from both sides, just rotating and trying to group up. But right now, you are seeing Gaming Gladiators ahead by 1 kill. They did lose that turtle, though, working in LEGACi's favor. And we said LEGACi had a little bit of a struggle, at least in the regular season, when it came to the early game. But this time around, they were able to take the first major objective, but at the loss of 1 member.
Yeah, and they're able to kind of hold them out at this right now. Only about a 700 gold lead for the side of Gaming Gladiators right now. Kuya Kid still trying to get some vision, but now being a little bit more wary, especially a Shark doing a great job of making sure he's zoning out the rest of LEGACi, making sure that they're not coming and interfering in any of these buffs.
Yeah, and you know, LEGACi, I mean, they can definitely be
5 seconds
aggressive.
to
They
turtle.
do have Kuya Kid on this Hilda, and he's doing that. You're going to see the Blade of Heptasis picked up by Riles as well, running that lethal ignition. Can be that assassin, and at least to be able to burst down somebody like Hoon, who's trying to stay in the back line. But you're already seeing the turtle aggro be pulled, this time from Gaming Gladiators, with rotation on the bottom side for the trade-off on Azia.
Where's that turtle cam at on the map? I don't see no trees over there.
Will claim the turtle and the Blazing Duet to clear the lane.
I absolutely like this coming from LEGACi. This is what I've been wanting to see from them all season long. Grouped up, they have 4 players there to jump down on Zia to kind of make that connection, make sure he had no escape.
Yeah, speaking of escapes, Kuya Kid unable to break those shackles. Fried Chicken will be able to take him down with the electrifying beats.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate that the Gaming Gladiators matching up kill for kill every single time, and this is what we've been seeing from Gaming Gladiators. Even when you win,
yeah,
a
the joy
fight,
is definitely
there's
hard
somewhere
to
else
escape
on the
from.
map that Gaming Gladiators are always able to
I might try to learn joy for
that,
EXP lane.
that way forward, whether it's a tower,
good.
whether it's getting a kill on the other side of the map, and Sinski very quickly wiped off the face of the map there.
Just showing you how deadly the Roger could be, even outside of the gold
Best
lane.
player was
inside
just
of the
waiting
jungle.
for it.
Zia
He was like, no.
outside will be on the map for Gaming Gladiators. Now ahead by 2
He
kills in 1 turret.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we just saw there from the gold. I mean, not a huge lead for Gaming Gladiators right now. LEGACi doing a good job of kind of keeping it together right now at the 5-minute mark. We've seen it before, though. It takes about 2 more minutes, and Gaming Gladiators usually go with a full frontal assault, as we have another attack here coming.
Yeah, Hoon will be able to find one. Takes down
Kyokan.
Kyokan, his 2nd death of the game, and getting a little bit more.
Who best player?
On the
Is he gonna
invasion,
get
will be able to
Seneki,
proxy these
Senseki
minions
or whatever
and
his name
also
is again?
take the purple
Oh, he gets away.
Oh, big snipe on the shot. He's in the mid lane.
Yeah, and just as best player passes in, gets a little bit of damage off with that Lycan Pounce. Hoon on the side with an Astral Meteor to go ahead and bust them down even further. Just kind of keeping on this onslaught as they are pushing their way through mid.
Ooh, one
It's
small
snowballing
step over
now.
there for best player.
Oh,
A
yeah.
huge leap for Gaming Gladiators in terms of the objectives. Able to take the tier 1 in the mid lane. They took the tier 1 on the bot side, and they also got the last turtle that was on the board, and now up by 3 kills. So far, we've
Turtles up.
only seen LEGACi be able to claim that first turtle, but now
Start
they're
it.
kind of falling
gonna
behind
let it go.
on the objectives, and they need to be able to pick up the pace, because Gaming Gladiators are one of those teams, if you
Here comes
don't
Riles.
give them some
Shark's still
pushback,
sitting
they'll
there.
roll over you.
Yeah, they do have a good secure onto this turtle, but oh, you can see Kuyaken in trouble.
Goes, takes
Trying
it,
to get away.
uncontested,
He
really.
did fall though, so he found one, an eye for an eye. Best player is going to be able to take him down.
Oh, there's no getting away
That is
from
going to be the
Roger.
turtle going to the side of LEGACi though to even it out on at least a couple of objectives, but you are still seeing Gaming Gladiators trailing.
Yeah, and I talked a little bit about the confidence of this draft, and that's because when you have
Babe.
characters like Riles, when you have characters like Hilda, when you start to fall behind, you really lose a lot of the usefulness of some of these picks, especially out of the laning phase. Another engagement.
Oh, God.
Yeah, both sides fighting it out on the purple buff. Who will be able to claim
they're
it?
down.
A lot of CC, a lot of damage. Fried Chicken rushing in their best player. We'll be able to find one Lycan Pounce in onto Jolie. Kuyakin will fall. One member will be lost on the side of LEGACi. Nobody for the side of GG.
Yeah, and this is where GG really starts to enforce their. Oh man, Hoon just got dusted. A very nice little positioning there for Riles, and Hoon, I don't even think he knows what hit him.
Yeah, I mean, best players getting some early and quick pickoffs, but same with Riles. Both of them running these aggressive junglers. But again, you are seeing these turrets fall at a fast fashion in Gaming Gladiators' favor. I mean, they already cleared the tier 1 and tier 2 for the bot side.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, we're really starting to hang on to that legitimacy of that Hilda for Kuyaken.
He moved
As
out
you
of the
start falling
bush.
behind, he's going to have a lot of trouble trying to find these
Damn.
pickoffs, trying to kind of stand up
You look
into
at
the
Shark's
front line
picture.
as they are engaging a little bit here with Fried Chicken.
Funny.
Yeah, Kuyakin needs to be careful. Astro Echo, Astro Meteor. On
Ah,
his
if
way
Chicken wouldn't have
out.
backed
The
out, he could
accuracy
have got
from
him.
Hoon so far.
Is that a Gaming Gladiator shirt he's wearing?
Yeah.
Is that a teddy bear on Shark?
No, it's just that his Shark just needs a little bit of a haircut there. You can see that very stalwart stare from him there as he looks at the camera.
He's a Shark needs a haircut.
Yeah, definitely focused, man. Putting it all on the line for the playoffs. Another turret will fall on the top side in Gaming Gladiators' favor. So far, 4 turrets to none.
Yeah, when I did my
with
prediction,
LEGACi.
I didn't even look at the
Yeah, and this
standings
is
of
what we
the
were talking about,
teams or
that
anything.
engagement into the purple
And I'm
buff of
just
their
like,
enemy.
Ooh, Rouse will find Chicken though to respond.
Yeah,
back,
this
take
looks
down
good,
one
sent
member
it
of
in.
GG on the invasion for
And then
that
they
purple buff.
posted it,
Ward
and I was
spawned
like,
in,
oh
both
man, I
sides
was
getting ready to
pretty
take
wrong
this
on
fight
some of
into the
these
pit.
teams.
Yeah, and right now kind of dancing around. Kuyaken doing a good job of kind of being that front line, but on the side.
Ooh, Zia will find 125 members onto Jolie. Last saving
Riles
from
just got
Whoopi.
C-Hell.
Riles will be able to claim a turret off screen. Whoopi though, no Faraga armor, needs to get out of there. Hit with a lot of CC, but Shark not gonna go in. But best player will Lycan Pounce, forcing out the immortality in the tier 2 turret for the mid lane, and Whoopi will recall back to safety.
Not a bad engagement here. And Gaming Gladiator's not able to pick up a kill, but on the other side, LEGACi actually able to get a tower. Now starting on the Lord.
Yeah, starting on the Lord.
Gets it.
Not for free. A big knock.
Oh, LEGACi gets it, but they're gonna die for it.
LEGACi
Takes down
gets-
Kuyakin. Shonsky trying to get out. Forced to use a flicker. Best player.
Yeah, I'll take
on
one.
his tail. Lycan Pounce in. We'll be able to shut him down. But at what cost? As they lost the Lord.
Oh man, I've talked about this, how much I've missed seeing these Roger jungles, just how fast he was able to close the distance there and be able to get the kill there. And there's nowhere safe. You're just never going to be fast enough to be able to escape him.
Yeah, Rogers.
It's definitely a treat to see. I mean, I love seeing the Roger kind of sneak back into the meta.
He's
right? I was
annoying
just
if
like
you know
this
how
when
to
Martis
play him.
Came out. When everybody started playing the Martis, I feel like I'm getting that same type of joy in terms of the current meta now. But speaking of meta, Gaming Gladiators focusing on the rotations, able to take majority of these objectives. Lost that Lord, but it doesn't look like it's really phased them. They're still being aggressive and currently kind of maintaining the momentum for this match. I mean, look at the bot side. The Lord not even affecting them. You're already seeing Zia chunking it down.
Yeah, but I mean, they got themselves a little bit of breathing room. They, especially with a 2K deficit right now, you're starting to look at points where a lot of these heroes are starting to fall off. Nolan's not going to be as effective when it comes to a lot of these team plays. Kuya Ken's going to have a little bit trouble. You've got a lot of heroes that really specialize in this pickoff.
Whoa! Speaking of pickoffs, synergized play, best player. We'll find Kuya Kim with the I'm Offended setup from Shark. Fried Chicken rushes in. Electrifying Beats. We'll find Riles. Astro Echo. Astro Meteor. Shonsky taking some damage. Full team forced back into the base. Gaming Gladiators not letting go of the gas though. Jolie with the BMI back to safety and the Blazing Duet.
Takes out Fried Chicken.
Continuing to claim this real estate.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. Sinski's Nether Realm just a little bit too late to save Riles. I feel like that could have actually turned the tables on that fight a little earlier, maybe given LEGACi a little bit of a leg up on there. But unfortunately, Riles goes down, the Nether Realm comes out, and they're still able to find 2 kills there.
Yeah, you see Zia pick up the Blade of Heptases as well, so he's going in trying to just burst down anybody on that initial engagement. They're being very aggressive, right? Usually we see them close that out around that 12-13 minute mark. I mean, I would give it to LEGACi. They put up a good fight in the beginning, but now the later this game goes in terms of the heroes,
Ken's like, fuck.
It's not going to be the easiest to pull off, especially with Kuya Ken. Need to find an opening now, but right
he was like, don't come to my bush. Don't come to. He's getting closer. He's getting closer.
Also on Hoon. Speaking of CC, though, Whoopi already getting hit with the majority of it. Takes all of his Faraga armor.
Yeah, all of his Faraga armor there. And then GG doing such a great job of kind of clearing out some of those problematic bushes. A little bit of engagement.
Yeah, you're going to see him be able to get out of there, though. Like I said, the joy, it's like that gnat you can't swap away, right? I mean, there it was right there. It was just one-man army taking a majority of those hits and then using the Vengeance to be able to get back to safety.
Yeah, no, they're doing a good job, like I was saying before, of clearing out these bushes, especially those places where Hilda, where a Riles can actually sneak in there, get some of those plays off there. Now we're going with another engagement.
Ooh, Lincoln pounce into the Nether Realm. Almost said Lincoln Pants. That would have been an interesting one. Maybe that's what Roger is wearing. But as you are going to go ahead and see, the Lord bursts down another objective over there into Gaming Gladiators.
Watch, there's a clothing company named Lincoln Pants.
LEGACi, they need to find a way to turn this back around.
Yeah, and you're looking at this already about a 3K gold lead there for best player. He's got all of his items right now, so he is max build and just looking for an opportunity to kind of dive in and be able to get this damage on, maybe get another pick off there. You can see the damage there, 58,000 there for best player. Second only to Fly, or a secondary there is Fly to Chicken with 53,000.
It's just showing you how deadly the Roger is, right? You put him in the gold lane, put him in the jungle. Sometimes even more effective, especially for a player like best player who kind of favors these aggressive junglers instead of the tankier ones.
Take that, give my bull.
Unable to get back to safety, trying to test the waters, trying to give some vision and quickly spot it out.
And this is that point we were talking about where
I'm thinking that'd be a nice housewarming gift.
Less lethal here, and now is going to have issues when it comes to taking on the entire team of GG.
Yeah, the Lord will be bursted down though. Whoopi going to use that last sanity. You are going to see the inhibitor in the mid lane fall as long as the bottom side as well.
Whoopi goes down.
Trying to stay in there. No more Faraga armor. Needs to get out.
Oh, he didn't go down. Nether Realm saved him.
For an escape, but does it buy them enough time? Counterpart members does go out. You are looking at Kuya Ken spawning back in, the full 5-man team ready to defend for LEGACi up against Gaming Gladiators. One last inhibitor to go through best player.
It's good,
another last sanity goes out. Kuya Ken frontline the damage. Massive hits on the board for both sides.
We haven't had it in a while.
Jolie with the BMI back to safety. And it looks like Gaming Gladiators.
Shark just hugged the wall and stayed alive.
And not able. I mean, that's unfortunate for LEGACi. It's just the ferocity in which Gaming Gladiators can come out, the precision, come in, take out all the high grounds from LEGACi. LEGACi didn't even lose anybody. They were just powerless to stop it.
Yeah, they're definitely putting on a very hard fight, right? But I will say LEGACi's been doing better, at least in this match in the early phase, compared to what we've seen them typically
I wish we
do in
could
the
do
regular
that camera
season.
angle.
Now, I mean, this is a best of 5 private, right? So they do have a little bit more leverage, even if this match does not work around in their favor. But for this match specifically to turn this back around, it's going to be a challenge, right? You have no inhibitors on your side. When you're looking at the turrets for Gaming Gladiators, they only lost to tier 1 on the bot side, and they definitely have the major advantage. And you're looking at overextending over there from LEGACi. Riles going far past the base. Zia with the punish will shut him down. Last Insanity Legacy trying to defend.
Oh,
Best player
man,
finds one.
GG.
King will fall. Fried Chicken will find Shonsky. 3 members make that 4. Zia.
Exactly what they wanted.
Shonsky back in play though. Jolie trying to defend against the 5
over.
team of Gaming Gladiators. Blazing duet as the
Oh.
last short. Jolie finds Fried Chicken, but the base crystal
Down goes Fly.
will be bursted
All they
down
gotta do
by
is turret lock
Gaming
and it's over.
Gladiators, claiming game number 1.
GG takes the
Ooh,
first
and,
one.
I mean, a harder fought match that Legacy has put up here, but I mean, when you're talking about a team like Gaming Gladiators and their domination here, I mean, that's pretty much all she wrote. That's going to be game
All right,
one.
I'm gonna go
going
grab
over
some
to
water and
GG
make some
here.
tea, and then I'll be right back.
Great execution, able to kind of perform majority of the match in their favor. I mean, they kind of definitely had all the objectives on their side, and they weren't really uncomfortable at any given time. You are looking at the KDA on the board, 17, 6, and 40 overall for the team. The rating, though, I like to kind of take a peek on that, almost hitting double digits with 9.
Yeah, I mean, the little shaky start for Gaming Gladiators, I don't think they expected a lot of the aggression that they got from Legacy, but I mean, we've talked about it before. Once they kind of hit that 7-minute mark, they hit those little power spikes, they get their items, they just really start to kind of force their way forward here. We take a look at some of the comparisons here, man. It's it's sad because, like, at the end of the game, you don't really get to see some of the shining parts from Legacy here, that as they were able to kind of withstand a lot of it in the early game. But GG, we've talked about it before. Once they kind of grab on, once they kind of get that little stranglehold, they just squeeze tighter and tighter until there is nowhere for you to escape.
Yeah, and I mean, it's aggressive play, especially picking out that Hilda. It caught me by surprise. I was looking at that picture and I was like, "Who? I haven't seen the Hilda in a while, at least on the NA scene." But when you pick the Hilda, right, you got to be aggressive. You got to stop him from getting his orange and purple buffs, but forcing out the retribution. And we really just didn't get to see that work out the best in their favor. And then as it gets to that mid to late game, I mean, when you pick the Hilda, you lack the group CC that your team kind of relies on. And that's where you start seeing GG punish, especially having the Ruby, especially having the Hilda. I mean, gold per minute, you're looking at best player, 856 on the Roger, which was in the jungle. Also the carry with the most damage dealt. Kuyakin, the sandbag on the opposite side of the table for Legacy and Shark, stacking up them assists with 11 as the forgotten one.
Yeah, not just the assist, but it did not steal any kills from best player, allowing best player to get that 6-0 and a 10, allowing him to kind of chase in and grab up some of those retreating members of a Legacy. We see the mid head-to-head, and this is Sinski, I want to say, who was actually traded in now. He's one of the newer players for Legacy here, and like I said, in the early game, not too big of an issue there. I want to say he was great with his rotations, but man, when you talk about the solidarity, the just how great Whom can be going through the entirety of the game, it's a heck of a matchup there. As we take a look here at the damage, 83,000, leading the pack for his teammate here, best player, and we talked about it before, 75,000 for Fried Chicken. He just had an amazing game, especially when he's allowed to kind of escape that lane very early, cut in, help out his teammate, and get a lot of that burst damage onto the entirety of the enemy team.
Yeah, I mean, 94% over there from best player on the Roger as well for the team fight participation. It was all across the board getting it done. I mean, at a point, though, he was at a little bit of a race with Riles on the Nolan, though. I mean, they were both kind of bursting down anybody in front of their path with the swiftness, but overall, just the synergized gameplay from Gaming Gladiators when it comes to the objectives is definitely where they kind of thrived, and we need to see Legacy kind of pick up that same type of play style, right? We see them, I think they did good. They took the first turtle. There was a point where they kind of gave up the second turtle. They went in for a synergized play on the bot side to go in for the marksman. They took him down for the trade-off, and I like to see those kind of things, right? Find an answer, find something that can work in your favor. But right after that moment, we just started seeing turrets dropping left and right in Gaming Gladiators' favor, and we didn't see anything of a response from the side of Legacy.
And that's kind of the problem. I feel like the composition was kind of an all-in early game type of composition that's coming out of Legacy, which they performed all right in the early game. I mean, this is honestly, when we compare this and we hold this up to how they performed during the season, this is definitely a better Legacy. They were getting to objectives quickly. They were ganking 4-man ganks into the lane, which is what I've been wanting to see from them, making sure that you're cutting off the escapes of your enemy. There was nowhere for Zia to go from there. Getting that vision, that aggression with the Hilda from Kuya Ken there in the early game, it's just unfortunate that you're trying this now against the #1 seed in North America, and eventually they're going to find those holes. They're going to find those weaknesses. And once you get to the mid game, you have a Nolan, you have a Hilda on your team. They're going to start falling off because you have a team that is now grouping. It's going to be very rare, very hard to find some of those pickoffs. And that's where they started to fall off through the mid game.
You know, and not to mention, they also did a roster change, right? I mean, they swapped their XP laner. Whoopi stepped in. And when you're looking at Gaming Gladiators, there was no changes, right? They kept the textbook since the beginning of the season. And sometimes synergized changes like that can definitely affect the gameplay. I mean, we even seen the Export having a hard time up against Chicken, running on that Joy. So I wouldn't say it was definitely the only thing, but it's something that they have to definitely make sure they're prepared for when you make that quick switch into the playoffs. Now, this is a best of 5, so painting that picture, everything is on the line. You can actually be knocked out now of the NACT, so you definitely have to bring your A game. And like you stated, I think this is a better Legacy than we have seen before. Now, it's unfortunate for them that they sit in that 8th position and going up against the #1 team, so they definitely have a little bit of a rougher start compared to other teams inside of the NACT for the playoff side. But that just means they have more to prove and more to showcase, right? I mean, we just want to see who can represent North America and hold that crown. And I'm just glad that they're able to make it into the playoffs. It's a brand new team on the scene, Private, right? So speaking of brand new things, though, into the draft we go. Game number 2.
Yeah, we're going to see what kind of switch-ups we have here with Legacy going to be taking up the first pick here, which means that you're going to be able to get that 2-man response from Gaming Gladiators. Last bans, we saw like the Masha taken off the board from them, the Matilda taken off from Legacy, but they left open the Nolan, they left open the Joy, which have been big hitters for Gaming Gladiators. I'm wondering if we're going to see a little bit of a change here. Are we going to ban those out, or are we still going to, like, the plan was to take one of them and deal with the other one, but I mean, Fly Chicken had a heck of a game, only outdone by best player.
All right, Private, how are we feeling about the Roger, man? Because the Roger had a really good showcasing from best player. We thought it was going to go in the gold lane for a little bit, right? We thought it was going to go there, and then we saw it didn't last second. But is that something that maybe Legacy tries to pick up in the first half of the draft, or do you think it's worth not banning and possibly letting Gaming Gladiators get again?
Well, it depends on what they leave out there. But one good, not one good thing, of the many things that Gaming Gladiators can be very successful in, it's with the draft there. They first picked the Ruby, which meant it was kind of flexible. It could have gone into the XP lane. It could have gone into the roam position. Picked up the Roger. We thought it would only be in the marksman lane, so we thought that that was already ironed out, which left it open for them to go ahead and pick up that Brody. So they are very successful also when it comes to being flexible in the draft, making you guess where certain positions are being filled by certain picks. But we're gonna see this Masha picked up by Legacy, which has been, it's come on very fast and very powerful in the Mobile Legends scene very recently.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it, right? But again, this is Legacy being very aggressive. And I like the aggression, but also it makes a lot of room for mistake if you're not careful. So something they're going to have to watch out for, right? I mean, now the Masha being slotted in could be a secret weapon. Time will tell. But on the opposite side of the table, we are going to be looking at best player picking up this Frederick. Now, the first pick last game, when they had first pick on the draft, was obviously Ruby's banned now. They're going to go in for something that is a little bit flexible in terms of utility, right? You have the Frederick who's can frontline a lot of that damage. You can stack him up with the CC tank, but you can also stack him up with some support if needed. And he works really good with the pick like the Arlot, who profits off of that crowd control with the Demon Gauge to be able to dash in for some additional hits.
Yeah, and not just that, but he can be that tanky front liner that kind of maintains the front. It's just he has so many different things that he is successful at here. And I feel like Kuyaken on this Masha is going to perform basically the same way that Hilda does. Unfortunately, I want to say Hilda's early game is just a little bit more powerful than Masha's. It takes a little bit to get ramped up, which is going to be a problem if they're going to, they're going to go ahead and go with the, I feel like this is almost kind of the same plan that they had last game when it comes to these very confident pick-off style characters here. Nolan, who can put that fracture out, Masha, who can deal an absurd amount of damage, but I want to say Masha comes online a little bit more towards the mid game.
Yeah, it's risky though, because It's very
That's how you know it's
frontline
time to plant
damage,
your
right? You're
plants
rushing in trying to
outside.
get some easy pickoffs, but again, if you're too aggressive, you get hit with a little bit of crowd control, it could be a possible problem. We are seeing the Roger, though, this time be picked up on the side of LEGACi. We asked the question earlier, was
Dang.
it worth not banning and picking up? Since they did have first
I
pick,
just
it looks
realized
like
that
they
LEGACi
believe
missed a
it's
ban,
a
too.
valuable option for them this time around. I do think this may be inside of the goal lane, though, because this is a Nolan. So this is not going to be a Roger jungle like we've seen in the last match, which is going to be a little different story. But you kind of mentioned some of the counters that we've been seeing to the Roger so far, right? Something like the Harith can definitely still be on the table if they're not careful. Another good option to kind of play a little bit safer and stack up, you know, those core items. Something like the carry could also be a valuable option.
Yeah, well, I mean, they have already picked up the Brody right now, so we don't really have to worry. I mean, they're just going to use that for the Roger, I'm assuming here. Yuzong going to be taken off there, so they're not going to have a lot of backline dive options. I mean, you still got a Lapu out there for LEGACi that can kind of come in there. It really kind of depends. I'm assuming this Masha is going to be a roam. There's not really too much flexibility with it. You can use it in the XP lane, but it's got a pretty,
I know you set
I want
that
to
up,
say,
but like,
not
Oh,
the
the baby
greatest
thing.
early games that Masha can kind of come up
They're
by, and I feel like Gaming Gladiators are really going to try to take advantage of this. I do like that we're starting to really take Hoon away from one of those comfort picks, which is that Lu Yi, which offers up a lot of that mobility, and especially that surprise, the ability
Appreciate everybody swinging in,
we've seen
hanging out.
Gaming Gladiators
Hope
use
you're
the
all
Lu Yi
having
to get behind
a
enemy
good day,
lines, to
good night,
surprise
good
them,
evening, whatever it
especially
is,
with their
wherever you
ganking
are.
ability on
It's
this.
going good.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, too. I mean, you're seeing a lot of prio on the mage bans.
See if
this time
LEGACi
around,
can
right?
get a
You're seeing
win.
the Lu Yi taken out, the Vexana, the Navaria, and then a couple of the supports as well. Minotaur being banned off the table, trying to limit some of the roam capability. Now, again, we mentioned Gaming Gladiators does have the Fredrin, though, and they also have the Arlot. So I feel like they have Group CC already checked off, and they don't necessarily
Lilia.
have to go in for a group stat tank.
That's
They can still go
dangerous.
in for something to keep the team alive, and I'm looking at the table so far. Theramis is still an option, but since they picked up the Lilia, maybe they don't slot it in. But we are still going to have to see the response over there from LEGACi. It is going to go ahead and be the Kufra. Definitely mixing things up with I would say this is kind of unorthodox because you don't really see these this team kind of play together with these hero picks.
Yo, founder, what's going on?
Well, yeah, I was about to make a comment
Appreciate
about
you
the
swinging by.
synergy
Hope you're
that
doing
you
good.
have. Cooper's going to be able to come in. He's going to be able to get the sets, and then the Tyrant's Rage to kind of clap them against the wall. And you kind of really need that AoE burst damage to kind of be able to take them down. You're going to be able to have that possibly with Riles. He's going to come in and be able to get the fracture onto a lot of people there. But I want to say, especially when it comes to the Roger pick there, Masha's a very singular single target hero there. Valentina's going to be picked up here. This is, and I say, this is a decent amount of damage that you can have on there as well. Sinski going to be picking that up for LEGACi.
How am I?
What the
I'm
final
good.
pick will be for the
As I
side of
can
Gaming
be.
Gladiators. Do they go in for
A little
set
under the weather.
roamer? Do they put the Arlot
But
in the roam position? I mean, that definitely can be an option. They're very
Still here.
flexible, and we kind of talked about Gaming Gladiators when it comes to drafting. They're surgical, right? They're able to break down each phase and keep you on your toes if you're not careful. So with what I'm seeing so far, in terms of synergized compositions, you have the Lilia, some great early game damage, especially with the Glooms. You have the Brody, in terms of survivability, especially when you have heroes that can get to him in the back line, such as a Masha, such as a Nolan. Shoot, even a Roger, even a, Kufra can get the job done. But they are going to go in for the Rafaela, which I actually am a very big fan of. And the reason being
Started raining
is they're
again.
trying
That's
to
him
limit
change.
the options available for that IMU from the Valentina.
Yeah, that's going to be a very interesting draft from LEGACi. On one
Basically.
hand, from LEGACi, we have, I want to say, a few characters that specialize and they shine
What would
for
you say, like a
different
cold?
reasons.
That's what I
Like, the
got.
synergy isn't exactly
Or
there. I want to say,
sinus,
like,
yeah,
I
like
would
a sinus
prefer a little bit more
cold
AoE
or
when we're using a
something.
set
I don't know. It's
roamer, a set potential roamer there. I mean, we're going to have a little bit of the spray from Valentina. We have a little bit of AoE that are coming out from Riles.
Hope you get better,
as
though.
well on that Nolan. But on the side of Gaming
Drinking
Gladiators,
my
we've got
tea.
a lot of AoE damage.
This
that we
actually
can hit
tastes a
with
lot better than
multiple
the other one.
targets. We've got the blessing from Shark on that Rafaela. We've got the glooms from
I think it's
Hoon.
pronounced
Zia can hit
Echinacea.
multiple targets, and then with the torn apart
the flower
memories
that we
ultimate,
got,
he can
and
take
then,
down a lot of them too.
lemon.
And then the setting potential from a Flyd, and then of course the front line from
Yeah, it doesn't
Frederick.
taste like Play-Doh like the other
And
one.
ladies and gentlemen, now jumping into the land of Dawn for game number 2 of our first series for the playoffs of the NACT spring season.
All right, both teams
LEGACi
starting
up
blue.
against Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah, we're going to see how well this composition pays off for Riles and company on LEGACi here. But like I said, you've got a lot of single target mixed in with grouping abilities. We're going to see on the side of Gaming Gladiators, you just have a lot of AoE potential.
Yeah, and speaking of potential, a lot of damage on the bot side already. Zia, need to be careful with Shonsky. Took the camera off him for a split second in the mid lane and already down to about like 10% HP.
Yeah, look at Fly Chicken being very sneaky there too, almost stopping him from being able to cut back there. We take a look at some of the emblems here, some lethal ignition stacked up on the side of LEGACi
got in
there.
for the post.
And then of
I'm
course,
making
Impure Rages to kind of
Japanese
keep up
lemon tea right
the
now.
Gaming Gladiators'
Nice.
mana, keep them in the lane longer, keep that mana up as well.
Yeah, Jolie gonna run the Quantum Charge as well. Riles, though, in the mid lane, forcing out the flicker from Shark on that overextension.
Ooh.
He's get out of there, but the big set and Riles.
Shark
drawing
gets
first
taken
blood to shut him
down.
You can see it has not phased Shark in the slightest. Still with that same smile.
There's a
and the
guy on
headphones
TikTok I watched
But
that does,
as we move on here, I mean, already
tea reviews
LEGACi
and
getting a
stuff.
good kill here. This is like we were talking about it before. A very good early game. They just need to kind of keep up that
Got me
synergy
interested in some of
as
those
we start moving
more,
into
like,
the later games to
I
kind of
think
keep up
he's
those winning conditions that they need.
Right, I mean,
More
game number
focused
one,
around, like,
right? We saw
Chinese
Gaming Gladiators draw first blood, but this time
teas,
it is going
if
to
I
be
remember
LEGACi.
right.
LEGACi was able to claim the first hurdle last game, but then they started falling short on those objectives. So can they find that momentum and hold on to it for the early phase? You are seeing some aggression, though, even from Shark. Still overextending the invasion onto the purple buff. Doesn't go in for the turtle, but wants to delay and deny the farm.
And he goes
away
in.
from
Oh,
LEGACi, and looks
God.
like they may be able to do it. Kuya Kin
Hoon
with
had
the
to use the
bouncing
black
ball, best
shoes.
player. Able to get the purple buff. Looks like he did use his retribution, though.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate
You're
for
gonna eat
LEGACi
turtle.
right now is that this
Turtle
is the
soup.
problem when you have such a squishy composition. You're going to be prone to being invaded, and Gaming Gladiators doing a great job of it, enforcing their will there, especially right before the turtle, not allowing Riles to get his buff, and now he has to, and they contested it, and that's the problem. That's a decision making you need to make. Are you going to be able to get this purple buff? If the answer is no, you need to go ahead, move on to another part of the map, instead of just kind of sitting there, watching them do it, and then now you've lost a turtle and you weren't able to answer with it. You lost a purple buff and a turtle and you weren't able to reply.
Oh, speaking of replying, though, straight at the doorstep of Zia with the knockup from Kuya Kin. Riles in the bush, though.
Oh,
looking for an answer.
man,
Close
that was
strike
so close.
For the knockback into the tier 1 turret. Zia
That was
finding his way to
crazy.
safety.
I like that Zia waited to pop out that stun and create that distance until the absolute last moment. As Riles came in for the fracture, pops it off, creates that distance, and again, LEGACi leaving empty-handed.
Ooh, Kuya Kin will be burning out that flicker, though, to go back to the tier 1 on the bot side. Fried Chicken taking a lot of damage from Whoopi on Masha, right? The new addition over here to LEGACi with the roster change. But Whoopi, the response back from Chicken, but now a 2v1 as Riles joins the party. Whoopi will be able to get the kill.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried for Riles. He came in there, missed
Ice
the
lemon
fracture,
tea, heck
and
yeah.
I was like, oh god.
Yeah, we got a
If,
bunch of
it's a 2-on-1
flowers
and
and
you
stuff
lose one of your
that
members.
we
That's
can
gonna
make
be
teas
a
and
little bit
all
to
that
come
out
back
of.
from this. We have a little engagement here at the purple buff.
Yeah, best
Just
player
got a lot
again
of
trying to
them planted
deny the
last
farm
night,
away
too.
from Jolie. He does have Gaming Gladiators to back him up as well.
Ooh,
Moving position as
I did
well
not-
as Shark
did not see who
with
got
Holy
that.
Baptism. Praesor's Wrath is going to
like
drop
best
down.
player.
Looks like best player was able to claim it yet again away from LEGACi.
Damn.
Yeah, and I mean, on the plus side, I want to say
10
LEGACi did
seconds
not
to
lose
turtle.
any members for that. Unfortunately, still not able to protect their buffs right now, and this is going to kind of keep on progressing that lead
And
until
there's
Gaming
no
Gladiators
one
can
from LEGACI
really
up there.
enforce their will around the 7-minute mark. Right now, though, only about 100 gold lead for Gaming Gladiators.
Now Whoopi is,
It's like having a
but
hole in
he's
your
gonna
wallet, right? They're
clean
putting money in their
his
wallet and it
lane.
keeps on falling out. You gotta find an answer to close that hole. You can't keep letting best player invade your jungle and take your objectives, or he's just gonna stack on the economy. Speaking of stacking,
to get out of there.
4 on the bot side, best player will claim the turtle off screen, and now the rushing Kuya Kin trying to get back to safety. Zia will be able to shut him down.
my
Riles
God.
will fall alongside him. The double kill for the goal laner of Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah, and just like that, a double kill for Gaming Gladiators. Best player from the side.
Oh, he's not done. He wanted Jolie, but he'll try and go in for Shonsky if he can. Both of them forced to go back to safety.
Man,
Yeah,
what
and
is
you can
going
start seeing,
on?
especially up at the top lane, a rotation there from Fly Chicken, while the side of Whoopi is still trying to answer the minions right now. And that's just kind of the problem with Masha in the early game. Before she gets that Blade of Hephaestus, which she does have now, which means she's going to be able to kind of get that one-shot scare damage as Fly Chicken goes in.
Ooh, triple set from Kuya Kin. Best player will take down Riles in the siege for the tier 1 turret. Best player will find Kuya Kin.
This is crazy,
Whoopi
dude.
very low. Best player gets one. Zia gets the other. Whoopi will fall. Shansky.
Something else, man.
Last man standing in Who will take the tier 1 turret in the mid lane.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Riles is just hungry for a purple buff, any purple buff for his side right now, as Gaming Gladiators have laid claim in his jungle.
Yeah, definitely taking advantage of the early phase again for Gaming Gladiators. This time a little bit more smooth than game number 1. Kuya Kin taking some heavy hits, torn apart memories to seal his fate.
Okay.
Zia will pick up his 4th kill.
Tried to run away.
Yeah, a much different game from the first. Unfortunate for LEGACi. I feel like this composition doesn't really help them, especially now that you have somebody like I want to say Whoopi on this Masha, who's not able to really capitalize.
Appreciate you coming in.
Hope
you're having a good day.
To that XP lane. You can see already left the XP lane, and Chicken is just having a full.
What's John up to?
Absolutely eating up there.
Yeah, we were wondering how the Masha was going to play into this, but not having the easiest time. Chicken definitely showcasing his mastery, able to burst down all of the HP. And probably take that turret down on the top side. Tier 2 will fall for the mid. Tier 2 falling for the top as well. And Zia getting a kill, shuts down Kuya Kin.
This is crazy.
And right now, Gaming Gladiators a little earlier than last game, really pushing through here. Very calculated.
7 minutes, and they've already got
tier 2 towers
all of their
in a row,
tier
and then
2
moving
towers
on to the turtle. And there's not much that LEGACi can do here. They're starting to fall behind. 7K at the 7-minute mark. You can see, taking a look here at the items, a 2K gold difference when it comes to the marksmen, and a 1K gold difference for the junglers there.
Yeah, Kuya Kin having a hard time too, right? Finding his 4th death. Shark on the bot side, though, will find Riles. Zia able to connect and burst him down. Riles, a very far overextension, especially with how many turrets they have lost so far. They're losing a little bit more. Jolie will find best player. Hoon trying to respond back, trying to avenge him. Fried Chicken with the alley-oop of that assist will be able to burst down Whoopi.
1 for 1, okay.
Looks like both sides will have to disengage, not able to find another opportunity for a kill. But speaking of opportunity, Gaming Gladiators stacked with the advantage.
Yeah, and Shark's going to be able to get away there. And this is the unfortunate thing. Riles doing what you're supposed to as an assassin, and you're losing the game. Start split pushing, trying to get some of these lanes out, maybe get some towers on the side as well. But Gaming Gladiators' map presence, their map awareness is just second to none right now. They are able to see that quickly and be able to close the distance even quicker.
Yeah, he needs to be careful, though, because he definitely didn't have the easiest start in terms of farm for the damage to be able to burst them down. And Gaming Gladiators, they're looking to try and close this out early, right? We said they're kind of one of those teams. If you give them that advantage, they'll definitely take it and close it out at that 13-minute mark. And this may be one of those games if LEGACi is not careful. They need this one to be able to tie out this series in the best of 5. But a final slash from Fried Chicken. Connecting on to Jolie, a little bit of utility has been used for Gaming Gladiators, but they are still going to commit to the
Why did Whoopi even go out that far? He didn't need to.
Falling for the side of LEGACi, and now the siege for the inhibitor on the bot side. Gaming Gladiators with the full sin. Now cracking.
Don't know what he's doing, but he's live. Going to check it out. Just got back on the phone.
Damage onto the base.
I see. Well, I appreciate you swinging by.
Shark finds Kuya Kin. Black shoots from Shansky back to safety.
Looks like game 2 is going to go to GG.
Stop Chicken. We'll be able to find another shuts down.
Maybe.
Riles.
You gotta wait for the minion wave.
The recall spam, stacking up that damage, hitting in that cheat code. Left, right, LB as they're looking to try and close this game out. Can they do it though? Minions are in play for the bot side. That 50% now 45%. The stud Chicken with another finds Whoopi. Shansky will fall Hoon to tear him apart. The face crystal will fall, but they're looking like they're trying to take down Kuya Kin before it.
Am I here? Am I on the right thing?
Game number 2.
Yeah. We got you. We got you. What up, Joe?
Using some of these games, the time you needed to kind of maybe get your feet underneath you, possibly for LEGACi.
I can't see any of you guys. This is the purple and red screen.
Their side, but Gaming Gladiators came back with the red screen. When you talk about momentum, you
guys are too technical savvy for me. I don't have a computer to make my Discord fucking.
And just unloaded onto LEGACi.
Oh, they're comfortable.
Oh yeah,
right?
how'd
I
you
mean, they
get your
just stepped in their
purple
house,
screen?
kicked their shoes off, and started playing Mobile Legends on their couch.
And it says Comanche.
With that
His screen's
performance
red
for
and it
game
says
number two,
Comanche
LEGACi.
Nation on
Looking
it.
to find some answers. Game number two.
How
Looking
do
a
you
little
get
bit
it
more
like
shaky
that?
than game
Did he make it
number
himself?
one. Now,
Via
let's kind of break this
Pinterest?
down, right? A couple things that we saw that maybe could.
I don't
help them
fucking
for
know
game
that
number
shit,
three.
dude. Can I
Definitely
just
kind
pay
of
someone to
trying
make
to
me
rotate
shit?
and find a way for the early objectives.
Come
They're
make
not
my
going in
Discord
for such
page
a
cool. Come make my Discord
damage-oriented,
page cool.
Early aggressive.
Are you gonna get on?
Position, but something that has more survivability
What, Discord?
toward that mid to late
No, the
game,
game.
just in case you're not able to
What
pull off
game?
the early game like you would think you could with the
Yeah,
MLBB?
with the Nolan.
What do you mean, what
And then
game?
also with that Masha.
I do,
me,
but I'm
I
about to
feel
do
like
this
it's
dab and
just that
start
the
cooking.
composition
So
shined at different parts. Masha single
All right,
target
for sure,
mid-game. Nolan
yeah, the
early
MCL's in a little
game,
bit, but I do
AOE
want to
type
get
attacks.
get on, but I want to get
I
this
wanna
cooking
say
done
needs
and
to
eat
get
real quick
fed,
before I
so
do
we're
all
gonna
that
talk about
jazz.
mid-game if you got him in the marksman
that
position,
shit.
and then the setting potential from
What'd you
who
say,
you
El?
can, which really shines with like AOE damage there. So it's just a lot of
Who, me?
different aspects that didn't come together
Was it
and
Frozen?
synergize well
Yeah.
for LEGACi here. But take a look at
I can
Zeke.
screenshot it, but
Are you sure it was Frozen and it wasn't me just stood still?
Damage dealt
No,
there
it's definitely
will be,
Frozen.
I mean, the sandbag there taking most of that damage, and then Shark upping from 11 last game to 13 assists this game.
Stop
Yeah,
Frozen.
definitely racking up those assists for the team. The head-to-head best players up against Riles
Click
himself.
the camera back up.
You are
click
looking
it
at
back on.
about 73% kill participation, leading in best players' favor. But in terms of what's kind of
Is it
stacked
really
a little bit higher
Frozen?
is the KDA, right?
Yeah,
And I
bro.
think it kind of just
I see
starts
my
with
shit
just
moving
best
around.
player able to kind of get off these invades and
you go.
delay Riles on the farm.
It didn't
And when the best
change.
player can't do it by himself, he has his team to back him up.
Changed for me.
Yeah, you can just take a
It
look here
changed
at the
for you.
difference when it comes to the damage.
Who won that
was
match? I didn't
out
even know.
there,
I didn't even
too.
know.
Hoon,
GG.
I mean, capping it off
GG.
45,000 there.
GG
Zia
swept him.
right behind
Well,
him
they
with
got one more.
41,000.
Hey,
But look
wait,
at
I'm gonna
this,
start.
the
I'm jungling as
participation.
Pacquiao, so I'm gonna be
The
sweeping
trio,
motherfuckers.
actually,
I'm
Bush- my
Bush
Shark
game.
and
My
Hoon
Bush
there,
game's getting nasty, bro. My Bush
93%
game's getting
team
nasty.
participation,
Pack
for
jungle,
those
eh?
15 kills from GG.
Yeah, and I mean,
I
it was
can
a
run
very
him. I can
fast
run
game,
him.
right? We kind of said that
XP
12
line,
to
but
13
you don't.
minute mark.
I don't
This
get
was
nearly
under
as many
10
kills as I
minutes.
do when I'm on jungle.
Four game and Gladiators just
Right.
very comfortable so far.
That jungle
Really
dude,
dominating
he be coming
overall
snaking
in terms of
motherfuckers,
early
dude.
phase.
My Hanzo
LEGACi
jungle
though,
to shame.
they gotta pick up the paces. They
You
gotta
guys
pick it
could
up
play
fast.
better
Like
as
you said,
Hanzo.
This is not
You
the
gotta play
regular
more.
season no more. This isn't a point system. This is make it or break it. You
Yeah,
only
get a
got
better
so many
build.
chances before you get knocked out. Hopefully they can find their momentum, find their groove. To be
I'll
able to claim,
get
I
a
would say, just even
different-
a victory.
You gotta
so
quit
far,
playing
so
as
let's
Hanzo.
find one in the NACT
That's what it
season.
is.
Man, and it all kind of boiled down. I mean, the last game they were able to kind of withstand that early game. This time they did
Start
not
playing as
have that
Baratus jungle.
pressure. And to the point that from
Saying
the
that
early
earlier.
minutes, Gaming Gladiators were all over their purple buff.
think I
Nolan
was
not
saying that
able to get
yesterday to
his
Marty.
buffs, not able to make anything
I think-
happen right before that
I
turtle.
might try out Baratus.
came
Try out
and
Harley,
then
dude.
it was
Harley,
all
he has a
GG
high
from
fucking damage
there.
output,
So,
dude,
I
and
mean,
he's
it's
quick
just
if
a
you build him
problem when it
right.
came. I want to say they had
I've been
they
thinking
kind
about it.
of approached this
Harley's
like they
not a
had
bad
the
character.
composition of the
Hang on a
first
second,
game,
I'll be right back.
and they found out
Must do
exactly
with that, so.
why they couldn't execute the same way with this
I'll
list
do
of
one too.
heroes.
Just give me a second.
Speaking of Game of Gladiators, let's look at some of the deciding moments that kind of led to them turning. I mean, look at it. 5 minutes, 30 seconds, 2-2 in terms of kills. Both sides were even, but a big final slash and initiation. And then the set for the stun. He can respond back. But in terms of who was able to punish and make it work in their favor, best player. Get that triple kill off of that, and this is what helped them stampede from 2 kills to 6, just in a matter of seconds.
Well, and this is what we were talking about. What really shined with Gaming Gladiators, they had the setting potential, not just the setting potential, but they also
Why
had
are we
the
lagging,
AoE
man?
damage. So once
Or
you
like-
got that set, once you were able to collect
What are we doing here?
them together, you had the glooms coming out from Hoon, you
Alright.
had the damage from the rest of the players, and then you even had more CC coming out from Shark there to be able to get them all stunned out there. So like once that first set came out, it was pretty much GG for whoever was caught
GG for
into
the
that.
win again, says
Yeah, I mean,
Hawaiian.
and I will say something about LEGACi.
Thinking
right?
they're
Definitely
gonna
keeping it
sweep.
interesting. I mean, we got to see the Hilda, now we got to see the Masha.
They
Maybe
might.
we were just talking about the
They
Masha
might.
actually sneaking up inside of the draft.
All right, guys.
So far, again,
Got
I
the
think we
Are you
can
hopping
potatoes.
off
when it comes
already?
to overall
No, I'm
synergized
fucking
composition.
gonna tell you
I
what
was
it's
gonna
gonna
say you
make.
just got on here and you're gonna hop off.
It's just a
Whatever.
little lacking to what you typically see drafted from the side of GG.
Yeah, I want to say that the last draft kind of felt like we were more trying to take away from gaming gladiators rather than having
I got
a
some
spot where these
teriyaki
picks
chicken or
actually
teriyaki
shine.
steak
We
that I
picked up
made
Masha
authentically.
because she's OP, because we know that
Authentic.
what the enemy can do with it. But
Because
did
I'm
we really
authentic.
have a plan for the Masha on the side
Korean
of
barbecue
Legacy?
strips, bro.
We picked up the Roger because we know he
We got
shines
the
in the
potatoes,
marksman position. But did we really have a
peppers,
plan for him
onions,
to really kind of
butter,
bully that lane, to kind of get our enforce our will with it, to get us
all
to
wrapped
that
up in
mid
these
game?
little packets.
Yeah, it's almost like, okay, you got the Roger, which is great.
Did you
for the lane,
freeze?
You have the Nolan,
My
which
phone's
is
still
great
trying
for
to
the
catch
jungle,
up to
but
your.
both of them
Like
kind
it's
of are very
moving
early and
slow.
aggressive.
It's just trying to
Was
catch up to your
Masha
video.
even the
You're
right option in
freezing
that
and, like,
synergized composition, right? You could have kind of sacrificed, maybe got a little bit of potential
Yeah.
to work better in your favor, or something else that would could
I
have
am.
helped provide
Yeah, you're
some
frozen.
defense against the Stampede over there from Gaming
I might
Gladiators. But now
just keep the
jumping
video off then.
into game number 3. Bans
You're
are
good.
on the way. We are going to
All
see
right,
Kaja
next
taken
step
out
is
alongside the
this
Navarian
bacon is
for
no
Gaming
longer
Gladiators.
frozen, so I think we're gonna
Yeah, they're gonna go ahead and take out that Vexana again. This time, Legacy does not want the Masha on the table there. This is kind of a mirror of the
I wish I had a
draft we
stand to
saw,
put up
or
you
at least
guys
the
on so you
bans we
guys
saw
can
from
see
the first game coming out from both of these teams.
Motherfucker.
Right now, it's kind of hard to really kind of predict. I mean, like, what do you change?
$20 on
Do you
Amazon.
change out the bands? Is it even
No.
the bands? Well, I mean, I want to say, first of all, the composition.
decent one.
We need to get something that synergizes. But we had that in the first game.
I need a decent
and
one.
we had a glimpse of that synergy needed in the first game.
All right.
To execute it well, but Gaming
got
Gladiators
the
just
always
overwhelmed them as we
great
moved into that
Circle
mid to
K
late game
or
as well.
Quick
So
Star
it's really hard
bacon.
because there's a lot of boxes that are
Lighthouse said
for
Joe
Legacy
starting a
here right
cooking
now.
stream.
It's not just the draft, it's not just the picks,
All right.
it's not just the synergy,
And then
but like a
what you want to
great
do is you're gonna grab
combination
your
of them all,
asparagus.
of which Gaming
Okay.
Gladiators have shown
Now we got
that they shine
now we got
here in
fresh
North
asparagus,
America.
guys.
Yeah,
Fresh.
I mean, even the
is
execution, even when you have the most
100%
optimal draft, definitely
not
plays
dicking
a
around
part in that,
asparagus,
right?
all right?
You are going to see the Angela band down. Chip
Chip
will be
coming
first
out.
on the board.
Wow.
This time
What are
for
you
Gaming
saying?
Gladiators. Can't wait to see the new hero.
Talking
in
about the
effect.
draft.
Definitely going to have a
Man.
little bit of a
He's talking to
problem if they're not
Sabrina.
careful for the side of Legacy. Now we're wondering, right? Is he meta? Is it make or
All
break?
right.
Is it even worth picking up?
No,
this
with
early in the
any-
draft?
any
Should you allow
asparagus,
other things to be slotted
first thing
on the
you
other
guys
side of the
want
board.
to
Now,
do is
Chip,
you grab
though, I
yourself
will say,
a nice blade. Right, you want to
theoretically,
cut the
I
ends
would assume
off.
he's gonna be ran in that roam
Because
position, right? He can
honestly,
kind of teleport,
it's got a membrane in it that will keep it
allies to the enemy for some additional
inside.
damage, and also he can kind of rotate around the map, provide that
Give it
CC
a couple
necessary
inches
for the
cut.
team on some aggressive plays. But he's definitely not something that we're
He's
traditionally
like in
used to
slow
seeing.
motion.
Yeah, not traditionally used to seeing. But I'm gonna say if any team is gonna be successful with Chip, I would say Gaming Gladiators would be too as well because they have that experience with Yi and who.
Oh
There you
wow.
go.
In that
Legacy
aspect,
says we're taking the joy in the
Chip
Roger this
operates
time.
a little faster than Liu Yi because Liu Yi
gonna
it
get
takes a little
one
bit of
using
time
your
for her
team.
ultimate to actually
Right.
go off. For Chip, it's instantaneous. You're gonna be able to. You're gonna have a portal down.
At
you're gonna be
this
able to
point,
get
I
to your lane
think
quicker, you're gonna be able
GG's
to kinda
just
get from
gonna
another
play
lane
around
to
with the
get to those
draft.
ganks quicker, and then get back to your lane.
Because they got
before the
2
minions are
wins,
pushing at
so
your
this
tower.
game, like they
So
could
there's
lose
a
this
lot
game
of synergy
and it won't
here.
matter.
There's a lot of
Win, yeah.
synergization
You know what I mean?
possibilities here for Gaming
It
Gladiators.
does matter.
Yeah, and you're already seeing the Harris pick.
Well,
up too.
they don't go by
I'm assuming
points
it's a
anymore.
response back to the
Uh-huh.
Roger for a possible
It's
counter
just
for
wins
the side
now.
of Gaming Gladiators. Joy though will be picking
Win,
up for
win,
Legacy.
win.
I'm not really seeing
Matter
anything
win
to
to
stop Joy in
win.
his tracks, but he is gonna have to keep up.
Benedetta.
now.
Okay.
Over that
Esme
highly
comes out.
mobile Esmeralda. Okay, we're switching things up. I like it.
I feel like we're
Behind you.
countering for countering
Mine
for
froze
countering.
earlier.
Right now we picked up the Joy. We've got the Harith out there, which is a good counter for both Roger and for the Joy to kind of get in there. But then on the other side, we're going to pick up at Esmeralda, who's going to be able to soak up a lot of those shields from Harith that he has.
Frick
when
it,
he,
take
comes out
Lilia
with that,
before they get it.
with his ultimate as well. But then now we're going to have kind of that raw damage and that mobility that you get
You
with
go
the
Valier.
Benedetta there. I want to say I've seen Benedetta more on yellow than I have on fried chicken. So I'm actually kind of glad because I want to see how much that mechanical ability that fried chicken has here.
It's going to be interesting, though, because, again, I'm looking at Legacy's draft, and we talked about it, right? Just some little odds and end heroes that I don't feel like have the strongest synergy as a unit. Now, this is going to be interesting when you're looking at what they have, right? I guess there should be a Roger in the gold lane, a Joy possibly going to be slotted in the mid or the jungle, because Esmeralda, I'm assuming it's going to go to the XP lane, but we'll have to see as this draft kind of prevails forward. Now, in terms of set potential from both sides, I mean, there's not really much outside of, I would say, Chip.
Is this the championship that you're watching, or is it just the quarterfinals?
Quarterfinals.
But Chip is really going to be the bank on rushing in and initiating, trying to get the
This
CC
is
ready to
upper
stop
bracket.
this.
Or as I
Now,
like to call it,
looking at
NACT.
LEGACi, though, they are going to have
Yeah, tomorrow.
dropping down with the false star move
Tomorrow
across
is the other
setup.
4 teams:
Outside of the
BTK,
Esmeralda, it's really just
Bloodhounds,
some initiations for
Night Horde.
to join in the Roger alongside
Help me.
There's Area 77
Yeah,
today.
that's a
If you
really
come back,
interesting thing here
would
too,
appreciate
especially
it.
if you're talking about a
Area
Benedetta
77
versus
today.
Esmeralda right now. Back in the day, Esmeralda was able to kind of like cut
Someday there's gonna be some guy
the
in some
Esmeralda
room
versus Uranus
having the same conversation with
snooze fest,
his
I wanna
buddies
call it,
about
where they
how
just both-
broken's
they
to
both
go.
just absolutely mirrored each other, slapping each other in lane.
Yep.
They would
Except for
cut
that
each
Joe
other's
Rilla guy.
lane
That
there.
Joe Rilla guy
Esmeralda
really
kinda
sucks. I don't know why he's
especially
still on the team.
mobility that Fly Chickens have with this Benedetta here. We see in the draft.
don't even know how to
Gets
Discord
getting
right.
taken off there for LEGACi and the pickup of CC, which means that this
I mean,
Esmeralda is
if we look at our
going
team
in-
statistics,
Go ahead, say it.
they're not bad compared to what they were
Is it
before.
the jungle? Is there gonna be a jungle?
Yeah,
No.
they were horrible before.
That's
I honestly don't-
Like now, our team of 2 is at 60% win rate.
And if he says it and he's wrong, hey, I didn't know. I'm just kidding.
Team
But
of
I-
3,
I'm like, I'm
66%.
scratching my head. I'm trying to figure it out.
That's
LEGACi,
way better
it's like
than
they
what it
jumped in
was
the Matrix
before.
and they're looking for the source code
Yeah.
right
I
now.
think
Hopefully,
last time
it's
Team
the
of
right
3 was like a
programming,
30 or
but you're gonna see
40%.
Gaming
Yeah.
Gladiators with what I would say.
We barely even had team of 3 last time. The last time I remember, we didn't even have teams of 3. It was like 0% because we didn't have anyone playing teams of 3.
You can't stop her in her tracks.
Always teams of 2 or teams of 4 or
This is
5.
just getting insane. I think we might
I
be
was
casting
just,
the
I was
craziest
just
game.
sitting. I was just sitting here thinking, you've got so much dashing and mobility from Gaming Gladiators. What if they picked up the Fanny too as well here? You're looking at a team that's going to be hard to catch for LEGACi, and you don't have a lot
These
to
are the
stop
ones
this dashing
we
ability
got.
Phobias,
as well.
Clear.
I mean, honestly, just being relaxed right now is shades of Gosu Zero here. You're going to have a Harley in that mid
He
lane.
goes Franco, really?
One suppression on the side of LEGACi here.
Woo. He's gotta pick his poison though, right? You can grab the Fanny, or you can grab the Harley. You gotta pick somebody, right? But honestly, man, I don't know what's gonna be tougher. Trying to get the suppression off on one of these heroes, trying to stop any of these heroes with their mobility, or is it gonna be the cameraman trying to keep up with all the action because of
Running
how
out of bacon.
mobile
Not running out of
these
asparagus,
compositions
so.
are?
Yeah, honestly, the answer here with the Franco, I'm kind of on the fence about, because I almost feel like an Akai would have been a little bit better, just because it's not going to be that singular answer. Right now, you have a choice, like you said.
Are you not entertained?
Or do I grab somebody else on their team?
Can you dig
I
it?
do not envy their position right now.
Speaking of
Let's
Indian things,
get ready
off
to
to the land of dawn we go.
mobile.
Game number 3
Dun, dun,
for
dun,
the first series of the
dun,
playoffs
dun,
of the
dun,
ACT
dun,
spring
dun,
season.
dun,
Gaming
dun, dun, dun.
Gladiators up 2-0 up
I'm
against
telling you, we
LEGACi,
can
and
make our
currently
own
sitting at match point.
soundboard, and it'd be fire.
Yeah, you do see a little bit of aggression there from Kuyaken coming into the jungle, but he grabs Fanny instead of the buff, and you kind of want the buff so that it
Yeah,
resets.
I'm almost out of bacon.
Looking for it. I think we did get a retro.
Players
Oh
should
god,
go
oh
through
my
We
goodness.
got a kill. So I would say that's a fair trade, and
That was a good Franco
definitely
pick,
gonna have to be
right?
something to watch out for. I feel like best player's probably gonna go in for that Blade of Heptasis super early, just so he can get some additional
1,
pickoffs to
2,
bridge that
3,
gap
4,
that Game of
5,
Gladiators is looking to
6,
lean in on.
7, 8.
And you see Fly
9,
Chicken
10,
here on the
11,
back, trying to be a
maybe
nuisance
12
already, starting
by the
to
end of
cut
this.
lanes, and you can see both of them on the side. Esmeralda at the bottom as well there. Whoopi trying to do an answer back with some cut lanes of his own.
Hey, I'm trying to bet whose fingers are moving faster, the cameraman or best player on the Fanny. But you are going to go ahead and see Zia on the top side in the 1v1. But speaking of matchups, though, aggression inside of the jungle. 4 members of LEGACi trying to chase down. One member, Jolie, is going to find Zia, though. Shark trying to rotate around, trying to get out of there with the chip. It is 1-for-1 on the
Slowest car chase ever.
You get away. What
it.
a fucking
He's gonna be able to take
bait.
him down, finding his second kill of the game.
That's crazy.
And that's the value you're going to get out of best player right now in with this Fanny. I mean, just don't be as slow as he was up to
That's
the little
what
car chase
I'll
up
be.
there on the Legacy's side of the jungle. Best
When
player able
I
to close the
come
distance
home,
so quickly, and that's what you're going to
they'll
have
be
is
so
best player
proud
just
of
zooming
me.
all over the map. No matter who gets low on the side of Legacy, they're going to need to be wary, and Kuyaken is going to need to be ready.
I think we got to keep an eye on where the kills are going, though. Even though it's 2-1, best player picking up 2 kills. If he keeps stacking them, he'll be able to burst down majority of the members. Riles, though.
Oh, I
will find one to
shut
get
off
off
a lot of the
scoreboard. Takes
commands
down
there,
Shark, Deadly
Hawaiian.
Magic on the Shansky, forced to get away, taking some heavy hits. The best player looking to clean up, but not able to get to him. Whoopee.
Takes out
Very low himself.
Shansky.
Shansky will fall. Best
Boom
player.
takes out
Off
Whoopi.
to a good start. Finds
Good
his third kill.
trade.
Who?
Take
We'll
that
find
turtle.
Whoopi as well.
Riles is in
4-2
the
on the
bush.
scoreboard.
Shark's gonna call him
And this is
out.
kind of the issue right now, and why
Best
Yeah,
player
it's not-
takes the turtle.
a
Riles.
regular
It's
match.
not
Nope, he
permanent.
gets away. No.
Tried to go in there.
I was
Best
just
player
doing
takes
it for
Riles
the,
out.
Gets picked off by
the
best
games
player.
here.
At least Kuya can grab the purple buff. Nah, that's not really worth the trade. But anything best player can get, he's going for. I mean, he's already 4-0-1. Take a look, though, off screen. We got to see Zia versus Jolie. Resting with the Lincoln Pounce, just showcasing how strong the Roger is. And technically, I mean, the hair is supposed to be the counter.
Yeah, I mean, a good job up there by Legacy up there and by Jolie. But what I was going to say before, though, is that the problem with the Franco pick here is what you're seeing. He's not a tank. He's a support character. And they're really taking, oh, this is that teleport we were talking about.
Yeah, there's no way he's getting out of that. Deadly Magic, 5-man team, high mobility for a turret dive as well.
Down goes
Great
Hoon.
execution, but Hoon unable to escape. Kuya Kin will be able to take that kill, but that's the roamer for Legacy. Zaman Force dropping down. Jolie able to get out of there, but hit with a lot of damage.
Zia's dead.
Bloody Hunt does get out. Zia will be stopped in his tracks, and Jolie, with the assistance, will be able to pick
Whoopi's
up
gonna
that kill.
find Shark in the. There he
That's
is.
6-4. I mean, not absolutely
Shark is like,
crazy
"Oh,
right now. I do like the synergy of those teleports. though.
Shark is literally like,
It's
"Just do it,
got
dude.
a
Just
lot
go
of
away."
options there, especially you're just kind of looking, waiting for your team. You're like, are you guys all ready? Whoop, we found somebody. Boom,
Stay in there.
engage.
Get
and
him
you've
for
got
AFK.
4 members at the snap of a finger, loading, unloading on you. There's not really much that you're going to be able to do there. We'll take a look at some of these items here. Yeah, not too much right now. I mean, like I said, just about a 1K gold lead for Gaming Gladiators.
Nice. Hoon with the flame shot to Kyo Ken.
For the still, Hoon.
Can Hoon get it?
Greedy
Hoon
there.
get
Doesn't
it?
wanna give the
Sensi
best player
too?
money
Oh
for
no.
another on the double kill. Shansky, Deadly Magic. Not going to be able to deal the final hit.
Probably not pronouncing any of these names right, but I don't
Blade
give
of
a
Heptases,
shit.
though, was
Right.
picked up by
That's
best
how
player.
I am.
He is hitting like a truck.
He don't give a
Yeah, I
damn.
mean,
He don't
already
give a
he's sitting at
fuck.
5-0-2 right now.
I don't get
Teleport
Comanche's
again.
name right half the
Ooh,
time.
gonna make the most out of shit.
Jolie goes down.
My fried chicken. No connection
Riles
over
coming
there.
in to
Quickly
get
hook as
Shark.
well. Riles rushing in, trying to deal some damage. We'll be able to
And-
catch Shark.
oh,
Jafari
oh.
beat.
Oh,
We'll be able
oh,
to find the
Fried
trade,
Chicken takes
but may
Riles
fall.
out.
Chicken on the chase, able to shut him down and goes back to safety.
Yeah, and right now
I
they
was gonna say,
really.
if
I mean,
Kyo
this
Ken
is what
could
we were
see what
saying
I
when we
could
saw
see
those
right now, he would have definitely hooked
Louis,
that bush.
games
Right.
there, is that they're getting behind enemy lines. They're finding.
Ooh, there goes best
they're
player.
cutting them off,
Taking
which is the
Whoopi
biggest thing.
out.
Yeah, speaking of cutting things
Oh,
off.
Zia gets it.
One Whoopi
Oh no.
turned into a easy
Zia was
death
up
over there
there.
from the side of Gaming
He killed somebody
Gladiators.
too.
2 members falling though. It's now 11-5 in 5 minutes. GG up on the advantage.
Crazy.
And
I
this
don't
is one of
know
the reasons I was
how
really
I
kinda
feel
talking about. I
about
would probably have preferred the
the-
Kai pick there. Kuyaken is just
What's the new
he's
hero's
just a
name?
bag of gold out
Chip.
there for Gaming Gladiators right
Chip.
now. Doesn't have
I
his,
don't know how I
his-
feel
his,
about it, dude.
His defensive items right
He,
now.
well,
are too far
he's
ahead
basically
to
the
really
same
even be
as
stopped.
Yeah, and speaking of stopping things, Hoon will find another
Wow.
shot down. Jolie. Everybody
Kinda
just out for
gotta
the fight,
cock
out
it,
for a
man.
good time. You
Ken,
can
what's
definitely
going
tell
on?
Gaming
Appreciate you
Gladiators
stopping
just
in,
chasing
dude.
the kills right now, but still able to claim the objective.
No,
I'm
I'm not a
excited.
He's a
Everyone will
dude.
fall for the top
She's a
side.
dude. Because we're all dudes.
Yeah,
Hey.
20K to 15 right now. 5K gold lead for Gaming Gladiators at the 6-minute mark. Whoopi, I mean, doing an all right job down here, but we're starting to see the towers fall in favor.
They're like, we
of
know who you
Gaming
are,
Gladiators. They're
Sabrina.
gonna get there first and are looking to kind of continue this
Can't
push.
fucking fool fool us.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we got to see Chip in action.
I'm
Not
a
the way
dude. You're a
that I
dude.
would've predicted, at
He's
least
a dude.
drafting-wise.
He's a
Bloody Hunt,
dude.
though, gonna go ahead and catch him in his tracks. Kuya
We're
Kid
all dudes.
We're all
will be able
dudes.
to draw
Oh, what a
great
hook
advantage
flicker.
with that kill off to a
Oh,
good
and he gets
start.
away.
Legacy
Still
able
gets
to turn
away.
around.
They
Damn.
die in
Now
the
Jolie.
process.
Damn.
What a trade-off.
Kuya Kid as well.
Down.
Tier one
Oh my
turret.
god.
In the mid lane will fall as well. Zia off to a great start to be able
Oh,
to
good to
try and
go.
steal the MVP.
I didn't
away
know we
from
were
that
in this
player.
tournament, guys.
I mean, this is kind of just had that
420.
question. You saw a great
You
set
want
and
to put
a
it
pick up
425?
there for Kuyakan on that Franco into the just leads
I don't know.
more gaming
It is
gladiators
420.
kills.
Down goes
Yes,
Whoopi
Kuya kills on
again.
force drop down. Zia will find
Down
Whoopi.
goes
Maybe able to get
Sensiki.
another, but Chicken able to deal the final blow. Takes down
Sheesh.
Whoopi. Shansky following alongside him. 2 members down for Legacy. The kills are coming as GG is rising up that ladder.
Yeah, and nothing has been able to stop best player right now. Kuya Ken is a super squishy at the moment. I mean, he's able to find a few. Oh, nice little.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll be able to stop him in his tracks.
Melted.
That's the suppression they were looking for. Jolie.
Onto the coup de grace.
But at this point, it's like, does it matter?
Massive
Right.
damage. Man, Private, I don't know. I don't think they'll be able to do it at the 9-minute 30-second mark. Like last game, this is another
Whoopi is
fast
just
one
getting
for the
eaten
side of GG.
alive.
Shuts down Whoopi.
But yeah, and we can take a look here. I mean,
Alright,
we've
guys.
already got the Feather Heaven there picked up for the Harriet there. Zia is going to be doing
Check
an
this
immense amount of
marinade
damage. We're
out.
talking about that
I
BOD
swear,
now.
Whoopi has to
Picked
be
up
at least
for the
half those
Benedetta.
deaths.
I mean, you've already got a huge amount of damage
Oh, I switched
coming
my
from
camera
her,
around.
but now with that BOD, you're really
How do
gonna
I
be
switch my
crushing
camera
hits.
around?
And we got the Malefic Roar and Blade of Hepsises picked up by best player right now, sitting
I
2K
don't even see your
gold
camera
ahead
anymore.
of Riles.
Yeah, Zama Force dropping down again. Zia being a problem out there for Legacy, trying to deny them any farm, and now invading
Oh, I see. It's
into
way
this
at the
tier 2
top.
turret, forcing 4 members of Legacy back into the base. Complete bully so far, passing that 30K threshold in terms of gold.
Man.
Yeah, trying to make another quick one out of this. I want to say the synergy right now. Oh, look at the damage right now. Being capped off there by Azia with 28,000.
GG's like,
I was about to say, like Shark.
hurry up,
with
guys.
these
Alright, here we go.
We got
Here we
MCL
go.
tonight.
portals out there right now.
Here we
It's just
go.
doing such a great
So
job.
I got
And it just-
10
it
cuts.
doesn't even matter. It
Korean
pops up
cut.
I
right
can't even
on
see
top
your
of
camera. My
tower,
screen
and the rest
is
of the team
like-
just kind of folds
What?
into Legacy,
Lagged out.
and there's
Yeah,
not
I don't even see
anything
your
that they
camera,
can
dog.
do.
Yeah,
I
it's
see
a
it.
tough situation, just how
don't.
mobile Gaming Gladiators
see
is,
it
and
now?
already how they're good at making the
I like
most
that bacon
out of
wrapped
the micro and
asparagus
macro
you
across
got
the
there.
map. I mean, look at them getting
Ba ba
comfortable.
ba
There goes the
bum, ba da da
teleport
dum.
we were talking about.
With
Gonna go ahead and
the
possibly hit that shortcut.
bourbon,
We are
honey,
gonna look
hickory.
at Kuya Kin Shansky,
uh,
trying to give some vision though, trying to
spice on
rotate
top.
around, but in terms of who has more items on their side,
This is gonna be what's
7,000
gonna be
gold
fire,
lead
dude.
for
I'm
GG
cooking
so
out
far.
a
There's the
fucking
teleport in.
flat iron
GG
cast
may
iron
go in for the siege.
with some potatoes and
It's just saw best player kind of come in there. He's like,
Butter.
oh, there's nobody here. So now
I
he's
need
going to
more
go
butter.
back. It looks like they're going to go ahead
I
and
need more
focus their
butter right
efforts
now.
onto the Lord
for
right
the
now.
60 buck.
Man, credits to the cameraman, able to keep up with this high mobility so far. Best player will be able to take down the Lord for the side of Gaming Gladiators, but on the top side, Electrifying Beats may be able to find one. Falling Star Moon drops down. Whoopi will be able to shut down Hoon, but the Lord in
There we
GG's
go.
favor.
Yeah, Lord coming down at bottom lane as well, which means you're going to have an immense amount of pressure. Whoopi!
Oh,
Not
man.
long for this.
He
Rose,
cannot
best
go
player gets a hold
anywhere.
of him and cables him into dizziness. We are going to have a lot of pressure coming up at the top lane. I'm expecting to see Gaming Gladiators kind of split, prioritize this so that you have the Lord at bottom, and now you're going to have to answer up at the top as well. As you see Zia kind of hunkering down in this bush.
Right, we have passed the 10-minute mark. You are looking at Gaming Gladiators being very aggressive so far, and it's worked in their favor. Highest kill so far in the game is going to be best player, though. Only finding 1 death so far on this Fanny. But I feel like it's just a race for kills on who can kind of get the most in today's game for GG. But speaking of kills, both sides finding it out. A lot of aggression. Kuya Kim will find Fried Chicken. Best player. Rushes in, takes down Rouse. Bloody Hunt to drop down for the stun. Jolie with the alley-oop will take down Zia. 2 members falling for Gaming Gladiators. 1 for the side of Legacy. And GG will back off.
Yeah, they actually had to back off there. It looked like Shark kind of threw down a portal. The rest of the team, I want to say blindly kind of just leapt into the portal, not really having a real good garner for what was going on. Ooh, best player.
He did connect with the hook, but no Bloody Hunt for the follow-through. And it looks like best player was able to get out.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, that portal, I felt like GG kind of jumped into there, didn't realize what was going on, and then you had the rest of the team got eaten up. Not like this time, though. Whoopi just gets deleted.
Oh my goodness, yeah, Control, Alt, Delete. Just putting that on a macro right there with how fast they're able to shut him down. Whoopee at the front end of that 1-6-0, having a hard time getting online, but I feel like the later this goes, maybe LEGACi can turn it around. Maybe they try and play for the late game. Gaming Gladiators with their aggressive stance, though, will they even give them that opportunity, right? They're starting to try and sink these lanes, possibly go in for some aggressive plays, just because they have the dive capability. They're able to engage and disengage because of the mobility.
Well, and the problem here now comes to the point that you can't even split push, because even if it's just Shark that finds you, it's all over, because you can be able to throw down a portal, and then you have the entirety of Gaming Gladiators coming for you.
Speaking of Gaming Gladiators, Chicken, Electo final blow. Riles.
Wow.
Getting out of there with the hair on his chin. 1 HP escape.
About a quarter of an inch.
Literally 1 HP.
21 to 10 right now. 7K gold lead for the side of Gaming Gladiators. Looking to close this out right now. 19 seconds left on this Lord. I'm not even sure what you can do here. You've got a danger all over the map. If it's not even if it's not just Shark who's able to teleport the entire team to
it's Jover.
You're talking about how quickly best player can close the distance.
Yeah, and speaking of best player, Gaming Gladiators on the bot side.
Zia, or Whoopi goes down by Zia.
With the Zombie Force, we'll be able to shut him down.
Ooh, Fried Chicken goes down.
Into the turret, Kuya Kin.
Ooh.
On the trade-off, we'll take down Fried
Zia
Chicken.
goes down.
Fall, that is going to be Jolie picking up that kill, but
Jolie
best
goes
player to
down.
respond back with the swiftness will shut him down.
Yeah, and that's basically what we were talking about. The Shark able to throw down a portal. This time, I want to say Gaming Gladiators a little bit more choosy and patient before they entered the portal. Then got out there and were able to find themselves about 2 or 3 kills there onto LEGACi.
Yeah, best player rushing in with the steel cables. Almost able to find one. Shansky will shut down best player. Not able to escape the last-minute damage on the aggressive play.
Stand over there if you want to grab him.
Doing on a back foot right now. LEGACi actually able to answer with some kills of their own, but I mean, they're still being pushed into their turret right now. They're into their turrets. They're forced to turtle right now, and it's kind of up to this game's momentum is really on the side of Gaming Gladiators. It's on them to make a mistake. LEGACi looking for an opportunity, though. You see this Lord just kind of laying in wait, and Gaming Gladiators just kind of throwing out the bait.
Yeah, Shark will teleport, bring Zia and Hoon alongside them. Riles
Hoon gets grabbed.
Goes the hook.
He goes down.
The for the suppression. Hoon will be caught out of position. Chicken going into battle. Like the final blow will not connect, but he will get a little bit of a slash off for some damage. Falling Star Moon from Whoopi, forcing out the Cosmic Fusion, forcing out the Zombie Force from Zia. Rushing in, Shansky on the retreat now, trying to get away. The stun on to Whoopi as well. That is going to be one member falling for the side of GG. Nobody falling for LEGACi, but the Lord Pit still in control for the Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah, I was about to say it did kind of appear like Gaming Gladiators were playing with their food for a little bit, but now starting to focus up on the Lord. They're just going to look to end this right now. Best player going in, actually getting a decent amount of damage, but I want to say not having that same effect. This is what we've seen before from Fannies.
Chicken goes down.
Activated by Riles. We'll be able to find one. Shuts down. A Fried Chicken. Shark will fall as well. But the response back from GG. Best player will take down Riles. Jolie forced to jump into wolf form. Kuya Kin taking some serious hits. Hoon on the chase. Cameraman trying to keep up with all the action. A lot going on so far. 24-16 at the 15-minute mark.
Yeah, you've got just players from Gaming Gladiators appearing at random points of the map with these portals, with the cables coming out.
Yeah,
from best
it's
player right
nuts
now,
how
like how
much mobility they have in this match.
The map, especially when it comes with that Electo final blow as well, and all the while LEGACi trying to get a grip, trying to get some farm onto this.
Yeah, you already seen another teleport.
He strategically puts those ports right next to their jungle too, so when they hop in, they can just quick take that jungle, get the gold. And
looking for answers, but they're not able to find them. You are looking at GG.
Oh, here they go.
On this Lord,
this talking about Chip?
No contest for Lord.
If LEGACi
Yeah,
is not careful, LEGACi needs this game.
Yeah, if he's used right. Him and Saber are a badass duo.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're at the 16-minute mark, about a 4K gold lead. This isn't the worst we've seen Gaming Gladiators in the last 2 games deal with LEGACi right now. So still, I want to say a little bit of an opportunity, but I don't really see a way forward here unless they can kind of take advantage of Gaming Gladiators with these portals, maybe turn the tides a little quicker.
That'd be nuts if the enemy could use your portals.
Lord coming up at the top means we're going to have some pressure at the bottom as well. Just too high high grounds left for
I thought
Legacy.
it could.
Yeah, Luminous Lord.
Could
Slowly
they?
making his way into the base.
I thought so.
Only
Pretty
those
sure
two
I
high
went
grounds
through
to hold
one.
on to, and you are looking at Legacy
Enemies
ready
go
to
through the
make a
portals too.
final stand. GG. Trying to close out this series.
It works
with a
both ways,
sweep.
bro.
Can they do it though? You are going to see Shansky take down Hoon with the assistance of the Bloody Hunt and the Iron Hook from Kuya Kid. The player, but still capable.
Yeah,
though,
it's
with the
double-edged sword.
Shansky, one member falling for both sides. Final slash going down. We get like a final blow.
Oh,
Kuya Kid.
Immortality popped.
Jolie forced into the
Oh, he gets chicken.
Flying
Oh my
chicken.
God.
Oh,
what a
man.
hook. What a hook.
We'll be able to shut him down. Two members for Gaming Gladiators will fall. And Legacy able to take down.
Ooh, there goes
Lord,
Jolie.
but they're not done. Best player. We'll find Jolie. Gaming Gladiators still going in for the siege. You are going to see the inhibitor in the mid fall. Zia will be able to claim that. Kuya Kin taking a lot of hits. Back to the base he goes. And they're still going in. Private, I think they're trying to close out this game. Can they do it though? Minions are slowly falling. Zia doing a little bit of that chip damage. Falling Star Moon from Whoopi to clear out that minion.
Close.
Here comes the next round though. Do they pull their punches? No, they're not done. They're trying
Shark
to just
goes
find
down.
that opening, but I don't know if they can. Riles is going to shut down Shark though. Maybe a slight mistake.
Riles gets away
The
with 1
over-aggressive play.
HP.
I'm not even sure if it's a we can even call it a mistake yet. I mean, they're chasing them down right now. They're looking to try to get these kills.
Ooh, look
They're
at
close to
Zia's
distance. They do get
damage.
onto
Holy
Zia.
shit.
Almost though. That Iron Hook was looking promising. Whoopi though. Very low.
Yeah,
Chicken.
there
Trying
goes
to change
Whoopi.
the narrative.
Oh, best player
alongside
goes down.
For Jolie. We'll find best player Chicken now trying to retreat Hoon.
Oh, Hoon gets hooked.
Blitz grabbed by the Iron Hook and shot.
He takes Sinsky down though.
Hoon will find
That's
Shansky to return that favor though.
Or
A
Sanzaki
lot
or
of
whatever.
bodies dropping
Push
in the land of
mid, push
Dante.
mid.
Both sides. Over 20 kills.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not having a favorable game here. It's
Hey
like
guys,
Legacy
I'm
have
gonna
chosen
get off
one
real quick
on the
and
side of Gaming
do this
Gladiators.
thing, but
Now,
I'll be
they might
back.
beat us.
For sure.
They might trounce on us and get into our core.
All right.
Gosh
Bye.
darn it, we're gonna
Later,
make
guy.
sure Hoon has a heck of a game here. As they've been able to find the hooks onto him, and Shark actually in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah,
Goes,
Truck
oh,
Train
he gets
trying to
away.
stay
Oh,
in the
goes
play. He
down.
needed Zia. We'll deal the final hits, and Shark able to get out of there alive. Chicken trying to bait out this Lord with the aggro.
Yeah, and Kuya Ken lying in wait, trying to find himself an opportunity. Rest of the team coming in from top.
Yeah, able to connect.
Oh,
though.
down goes
Grab
best
that
player
player.
instantly.
Wow.
Shut him down. That means that the Lord
Melted. They've got no retry right now.
But they need to be careful.
We're gonna have to rely on.
too.
A lot of utility was baited out there, and Gaming Gladiators will be able to claim this Lord.
They do
No
get Lord.
retribution.
With no retribution, and you had the opportunity. They didn't have Riles though, so both teams didn't have their retribution here. Whoopi trying to escape back to his base.
Oh, Chicken will find Whoopi not able to get out of there alive. Immortality being picked up by Jolie last second, trying to sustain himself for the siege from Gaming Gladiators, looking to close out this series. The Petrify dropping down, the Zaman Force alongside it. Chicken against the world right now. Zia will find Riles. Jolie.
Double
that
kills.
Immortality, still alive.
Shansky's went down.
Jolie back to safety.
Tower
That's
lock,
game.
it looks like. Yep.
Yep.
GG.
Sweeps.
Takes victory over Legacy with a clean sweep.
Clean sweep in a best of 5, 3 games in a row for Gaming Gladiators. Unfortunate for Legacy, not able to find the answer against North America's #1 seed. You can see right there, I mean, a great game. I want to say a funner game for Gaming Gladiators there. I felt like they were a little bit more lax here. Not as, especially with kind of trying out this chip and the functionality of some of those portals.
Woo! Like I said, I don't know who the MVP is.
Yeah, was that Chip's debut?
See, there was a lot of bodies dropping for that last match, but overall,
I think. I don't know.
Like you said, showcasing why they're in that #1 position. KDA for the entire team, 31, 23, and 64.
Only
Team
GG
rating
would debut Chip.
overall, slightly ahead of Legacy by 2. Did
All right,
get
you
double
wanna
digits,
brawl?
though, which is a little bit surprising.
Yeah, we can brawl it up.
Sitting at that 8.
For sure, I'm ready.
Yeah, and you can take a look here at
Took the
some
camera
of
off the screen, that way I
the
don't block
damage
any of
and
the
the gold
stats or
coming out.
anything
I mean,
this
like,
time.
It wasn't a completely wallop from
All right,
Gaming
let's see.
Gladiators.
Let's
The
see, what do we
map,
got
though,
here?
Definitely in their favor here. 10 kills for Zia there, 12 for best player. Hoon took 6 deaths there. He was just getting kind of walloped there. And then
LEGACi had
21
one person that had
assists for
anti-heal.
Shark on the chip.
Yeah, I mean,
What are they
I never
doing?
thought I would see all 10 of these heroes in the same game together, but hey, anything's possible for the North American scene, and there it is. Definitely a treat for the first series of the playoffs. Gaming Gladiators, though, overall able to claim victorious. Rich Guy going to Zia, the carry as well, and then the sandbag will be Whoopi, the new addition, the last-minute flex pick. And the forgotten one will be Shark this time with 21 assists.
Yeah, I mean, he went up from, what was it, 11 assists to 13 assists, now 21 assists.
Ooh, okay.
And here, I mean,
go.
not even really
Going
a
in
contest
his
when it
yin,
came
bro.
between the junglers of this game.
Good luck,
12
man.
kills for the side of best player, and really kind of holding Riles at a heat right there. 5, 6, and 7 for him. And they just kind of closed in on them. They're able to find some kills. Riles, I mean, I want to say, like, he's done a great job when it comes to his position, able to find some of those kills, but it's just not on him solely. It's on the rest of the team to kind of come together, and unfortunately, it's not a team of 5 Riles. And here, when it comes to against a team like Gaming Gladiators, they really enforce their will and able to press forward with a clean sweep over LEGACi.
Yeah, and I think it just kind of pays homage to best player running his comfort pick, right? He picked up that Fanny. He had a great start in the early phase. I mean, he was racking up those kills with ease. He picked up that Blade of Heptases, and he bridged the early way for the team. And then that's where the high mobility took over. That's where Chip started dealing massive damage, able to get the team from point A to B to C to D at certain points of the game, to where we were having a hard time even keeping up with all of the action.
You can see here 159, just basically 160,000 from Zia right there. And then Team 5 participation kind of spread out a little there for Gaming Gladiators, as they were all kind of coming together with some of those portals, but otherwise kind of split off around the map there. But man, 31 to 23 here, and Gaming Gladiators just basically making a statement here in North America at the cost of a LEGACi here. This is why they are #1 here, even with some of the better engagements in that first series. Unfortunately, I mean, we're talking about a team like Gaming Gladiators, and there's a reason they're at the top of NA right now.
Yeah, definitely agree with both of you. With Gaming Gladiators,
Where I can get my
results
ult
is
off.
nothing of the unexpected, but starting from the first game, we can see LEGACi definitely made some pretty good fights against GG, actually clinching some turtles on their way, but was not able to connect in the end. What I want to know, guys, is we saw that Roger going in for the jungle lane. How do you feel about Roger coming back in jungle, or are we going to see more of that in the upcoming matches?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm a fan of it. I mean, it's kind of, like I said, it reminds me of the Martis, when Martis started stepping into the scene, able to get those early kills, able to bridge that gap. But Roger just shines so well because he can dominate in the gold lane, but he can dominate in the jungle as well. And I mean, if case goes to show, we saw that today. And I think it's going to kind of shift the meta around.
I got no heals.
Kind of prioritize. And I kind of asked Private the same question as well.
I got
mean,
heals.
We've seen just how
Yeah,
capable Roger can be.
yeah, I was trying to get the heal off.
If this Roger in the jungle continues, it does open up for like a lot of flexibility.
Forgot how good Sylvana was.
Roger out there, but we have to ask too: is it because the Roger is meta and he's going to be doing well in the jungle? Or is it because
I gotta go play
Gaming
some
Gladiators are
classics
facing
to
a
get some
team like LEGACi
new
where
characters
they
into
felt they
rank
could be a little
mode?
bit more
Yeah,
lax
me
in some
too.
of
We
it?
could do that after.
Well, I mean, third game, we did see some Harley picks coming back in, so that's a question we'll continue finding out about later. But the Chip pick, though, we wanted to see Chip back into the scene, and we did see it in the last game. How do you guys feel about Chip?
He's hard to keep up with, I'll say that. Even just the cast, you're kind of like looking at one side of the map, and then boom, here he goes on the top side, bringing 2 players with him as well. I think he can provide a lot of pressure to teams that are not able to kind of focus on aggressive teams. So I think you can easily overwhelm teams that just don't know how to kind of think on the fly to adjust for defense. And I think that's where kind of Gaming Gladiators shine toward that mid to late game.
I saw something today that I didn't see last week with the Chip pick, and that was a game where Chip made a difference. And of course, it's, I mean, we're talking about Shark here, so if he's able to make a difference,
stuck.
it's going to be him. But
How
when
dare
you
you
saw these
get
engagements,
stuck.
you saw he'd be
I
able
did,
to
how
as
dare
long
I.
as Chip was the one that closed the distance on somebody, he's able to lay down a portal, even underneath.
He's got my
the tower,
favorite
the
skin
entire team
for
comes out,
Hanzo too, the tutor
goes ahead
one.
and bashes, whoever
But
they're
I
making,
have
then marks
the
them in XP
painted
lane,
skin
and
one,
then they're back into the portal,
the red one.
back to their lane very quickly. It does have a lot of, I want to say, opportunities.
I'm just gonna try to
in
gank the rest of this
five-man
game.
play. I know in ranked games, when people playing it,
Damn.
there've been some issues with it because you don't have that same synergy with random people that you're playing with. But like, I mean, here in five-man play where everybody's communicating and everybody can be like, all right, everybody in the portal now. They go in, they get back to their lanes very quickly. I mean, there is a lot of opportunity for a character like that.
And we'll start to see teams picking that Chip as they gain more confidence and practice playing it in the five-man roster. And the MVP of the series will go to best player from GG. I know you guys had a hard time picking your MVPs, but let's take a look at best player's gameplays. Let's take it away.
Well, it's a surprise a little bit. It was definitely hard to figure out who it was going to be. Honestly, I probably would have gave it to the cameraman after the last game. But best player definitely had some great execution. Like we said, we've seen him on the Roger. Inside of the jungle, traditionally, we've been seeing the Roger inside of the gold lane, so he's able to kind of mix it up and keep even us casters, you know, on a swivel. And then also pulling out that Fanny for that final series and just having such a great game, right? There goes the Fanny right there, all over the place, and he's like a one-man army. He can get the job done. He picks up 4 or 5 kills before GG even needs to initiate and help him around the map, and just that utility that he provides for the early phase is what helps them dominate overall.
And this is why you see a lot of those bans on some of those mechanically heavy heroes when teams are facing a team like Gaming Gladiators, because best player has the ability, especially for heroes like Joy, the Nolan, Fanny. He's able to use them all very precisely. And we've seen there, even without the chip, he's able to get around the map, even into enemy territory at the early game. Find the kills, find his way back out. I mean, it's just a sight to behold.
Yeah, and when the first time that I saw best player playing that Fanny, I was pretty shook when he had the recall game going on. He actually does recall a lot throughout the game, and if you guys haven't checked out his recall little one-trick guide, go check it out on our YouTube channel. And today we have an interview with Hoon from Gaming Gladiators. Let's see what she got to say about this match. Hello, Hoon. How you doing?
Hello. Good, thanks.
Hello. Thanks. Flame shot Harley. What was going on there? 6 deaths.
Oh.
He said, "Oh."
I got baited.
You got baited.
He's like, I died that many times, really?
No, said, come. I go and I got hooked. What can I do?
So you're the troller with Loyi, and then now the troll's on you.
Pretty much. Facing my own medicine.
Payback time. So what do you think about the Chip versus Loyi matchup? Is there an opportunity for both?
I was in their turret when I put him in my ult.
Oh yeah, I was actually gonna go Louis there, but I thought Harley would have been more fun.
That was intense.
Harley, but definitely Louis can work with Chip.
And you can troll each other throughout the game.
Oh, they're just eating our turrets alive.
It'll be
we got anybody alive right now?
With those two.
Yeah, we'll definitely like to see that in the upcoming matches. So if you guys beat LEGACi and bring them down to the lower bracket,
why would you?
Give
oh
them
my
as
god!
one advice as they walk into that lower bracket.
Oh, LEGACi. I don't know. Maybe Raz can pull out the not Fanny, Harley. He's actually pretty good at Harley.
What about the Hayabusa?
Maybe if this was like 3 years ago. I think it's kind of washed on Haya. He's a good Harley though.
Well, give it to you, Rouse. Hoon said it. Pull out the Harley, so maybe we'll see that in their,
I'm frozen.
So
oh
who
shit!
do you guys think is your toughest opponent going into Vegas?
You're moving.
On my screen, I wasn't.
Oh.
I think the top teams that we worry about is 877 BTK, DA. So I don't know. We're going up against either Area 77 or Fiends. So I think we need to worry about that first. But yeah, those three things that I mentioned.
No, I thought I was getting away.
Okay, so out of the three
Oh
teams that you mentioned,
shit.
who do you think is the biggest challenge that might potentially bring you guys down to lower bracket?
I'll say BTK.
Unless you can hold them off for 30 seconds.
Then, talking about BTK, what do you think about their chance making it to Vegas?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I didn't know they were right there.
Okay, good. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I was not paying attention.
Give us a little tour of your jersey. This is the first time we're seeing your Gaming Gladiator jersey live on stream. So let's take a look at what it looks like.
That's funny.
Ooh, looking strong.
Looking strong there.
All right, thank you, Hoon, for joining us for the interview. Best of luck to GG in the upcoming matches, and we're gonna continue cheering on for you guys.
Thank you.
All right, hang on, I gotta go to the bathroom.
For sure.
This is the moment every
like the
time during stream. Yeah.
I was waiting for Liz to leave, but I like the New Jersey. Honestly, it was interesting when he talked about the Hayabusa, right? I was wondering if he was gonna kind of give credit to it, because Riles is a pretty good Hayabusa, but I do agree. Just currently not with the meta. Maybe trying something like the Harley could be a game plan, but I thought he was going to say, like private, I heard him kind of whispering it, drink water, ban Mathilda.
Yeah, as with the advice, and yeah, he's right though. There are actually some buffs coming in Hayabusa's future. I'm not sure if that's gonna pull him into the meta soon enough, but yeah, he's had a kind of a rough ride of it. And while Riles did make a name for himself on the on the Hayabusa, he does respect the fact that it's just no longer in the meta. And I mean, to use it is really, especially at this tier. We actually saw him use the Hayabusa a little bit in the qualifiers, but I mean, I want to say that's just a little bit of a sign of respect that he has for the top 8. He's not pulling it out here. He knows that it's not a meta pick. It's not something, there are better opportunities for it. And then I want to say I love the cap off there with seeing the jersey, a little black and gold there for it there. Nice colors on it. Really appreciate it, and especially Gaming Gladiators there. It's
appreciate everybody hanging out.
Good, respectable
Hope you're all having
victory
fun
for them here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, black and gold kind of matching.
We'll see if Area 77 can take Fiends down, or if Fiends can
so we're definitely
get an upset.
And looks like GG also have that
Welcome
color
back,
palette
Stigma.
going on. Actually, last week Shark did wear
Thank you,
gold, wore that jersey, but we haven't really caught that. So this week we saw it on his teddy bear. Very interesting camera roll. Very, very interesting watching the games for sure. Now,
with his camera, with his teddy bear.
Advice, I feel like that was kind of a troll advice. I mean, are we really going to see Harley in a jungle position? Is Harley even viable for the jungle role right now?
Hey, there's only one way to find out, right? Well, hopefully we'll see it today, but no, I don't know. I don't think so, just because...
All right, I'm ready when you are.
Picked to at least have enough statistics, and I don't really see Harley shining that much. Plus, I just feel like it's easily counterable. You can grab somebody who can kind of deal a lot of damage to be able to burst him down. You can go the tankier route to be able to sustain yourself against the magic damage, but who knows? I mean, I feel like anything's possible nowadays with the way the meta is kind of shifting.
Yeah, I mean, there's opportunities, and maybe it's just the play style that Riles has might synergize well to make it an option, but it's going to have to definitely be something that the rest of the team is building into, like we saw from that second game of LEGACi, where you had some single target damage, you had some group damage, you had some, it didn't synergize well, and you're going to need something like that, especially if you're going to pull a lot of.
I wanted to try, Joy. I guess here's the time to try it.
But for LEGACi though, today they had a very challenging matchup just because they're going against the top tier GG. But just as general prospects for LEGACi, coming from you guys, what do you think LEGACi can do to, I don't know, get a match win?
To get a match win? I mean, this is their last, they have one more chance. So they have to be able to claim the series in the lower bracket.
Rocking the Selena Gemini skin, baby.
One, I guess if we can just speak on their gameplay, I mean, it's kind of harder to pick when they win against GG.
I need to get the Karina one, that way I got them both.
For the most part, but I would say the early game, should be one of the main points that they kind of focus on. Find a
gotta
way to be able to take these objectives.
get the Lunox
little
one.
to no loss and trying to delay the trades from the enemy side. The second thing I would say is probably a little bit better drafting, in my opinion. I kind of feel like there was a lot of times where it was just kind of awkward with certain heroes playing with others, like synergized compositions. Maybe going in with like that standard, somebody with group CC, somebody who can provide support, some late game damage, some early game damage, and then probably somebody with split push capability, or anything of that nature. I think would be a little bit better. But we typically see them pick a couple of heroes that kind of do the same thing, and it's a little bit overkill when you stack them together.
For me today, we saw, at least in the first game, I want to say we saw synergy. We saw better macros, better mechanics from them. They were able to use the Hilda very well. They were able to get ganks, 4-man ganks, cover the escapes of enemies. It just turns out that eventually they got overwhelmed with it, and they were able to shine with it. The draft, and I feel like that was the plan that they came with this very specific draft. Unfortunately, when we got away from that draft, it felt like it was, they just had issues. They didn't know what they were supposed to be doing, where these characters really shined, especially a character like a Masha, or even the Franco pickup was questionable. I don't want to say it was bad, but I just feel like there's better options to be able to do it. We saw, like, I immediately knew as soon as Franco was picked up, he's going to have a heck of a time surviving the damage that was going to be output by them. Because like I said, he's not really a tank, he's a support, and it's something that you want to have like a strong front line for, to be able to kind of pull that off. It's just there's little issues when it comes to those type of drafts, the decision making for some of the characters. I'm not sure but that's kind of a question up there. Is that because of hero pool? Is that just because they panicked during the draft? I don't know, but what I did see today was that they are getting better when it comes to synergizing. They're getting better when it comes to whoever's making the calls out there. From the first game, the second game, I mean, there's very little you can do when you're getting pushed back that hard to
How do
really
you even use the ult for this
when it comes
thing?
to macro and mechanics.
Who are you?
There. But
I've hit people.
They're getting better, and
Enjoy.
There's a reason
Oh,
that
you
they
gotta
are
just
top
run
eight.
around
They
them.
made it through 64, 128.
No, it
different
won't even let me
teams
use
to
the
get
skill.
here. So,
It's because you got to get a certain amount of, like,
team in North America.
I don't know what they're called.
There's such a huge shadow that is cast by the rest of the teams here at the top 8.
Yeah, they might be struggling against the other 7 teams. They're still doing a lot better than the other 100 teams that didn't make it to the regular season. So keep that in mind, guys. Now, before we go into the next series of the day, Area 77 versus the new revamped Fiends, we have a giveaway for all of you lovely viewers who are staying in tune with us.
Figured it out.
On screen, you have the giveaway code for one of these permanent skins. We have 40 today, actually, not 31, but we have 40 quantity for the skins.
Joy's just a wrecking
First
ball,
come, first
bro.
serve, so make sure you redeem that code, type that code in for one of these skins. They actually upgraded to 40, guys. I mean, it's not a big upgrade, but it's something, right?
Hey, I mean, I always say the best price is free. So definitely claim
I
it.
thought I could petrify him
I'm a
and
collector
stop his
myself, so I
attack.
love,
Dang.
getting every single hero skin in Mobile Legends when I can. Obviously, we can't grab those because we're on the desk, but there are some out there for you guys. So make sure you guys get them while they're still there.
A nice round number,
Can't let
40
you guys
instead
have
of
it,
like
sorry.
the random 31. It just comes out of nowhere. 31 available. I assume that at some point nine staff members got themselves some skins, and that's where we got that number from. But 40, we're up in the ante here in North America for you guys, giving you guys a little something back
I'm back,
for
bitches.
our lovely viewers out there.
Yeah, I mean, Trek spreading the propaganda that 31 is actually for Wheezy to grab that #1 spot for Wheezy, but we're not actually taking any prize away from you guys. Just to keep that in mind, we have a little break coming up. The next match is supposed to be scheduled at 8 o'clock, but we are only going to have a 15-minute break. So come back with
it's a rolling schedule. Nice.
For the next series,
like
Area 77 versus Fiends. See you guys in 15 minutes.
15-minute break. All right.
Here we in it for the long haul. Watcha! Here we go. Yeah, here we go.
I got one.
Shit.
And then I died.
I mean,
here's
I
that animation for the Moskov skin.
Yeah, I know, and I just spent fucking $20 trying to get it.
That's it?
Want to know something? You want to know a secret?
What?
Yeah. Didn't even come close. Ba, 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 ba. I'm just gonna keep spiking him with this ball that I throw out. Oh.
The long haul on this one, oh yeah.
All right. Damn, I got 30 seconds. What am I gonna do? I guess smoke a bowl.
This fairy tale ended with the poisoned apple, and my tale began.
Do you think the tournaments are cannabis friendly?
I mean, I'm pretty sure someone's got IGN that's a stoner.
You can't catch me. Oh, you can catch me. He can catch me. Whoa! Oh. Get the heals for everybody. I'm a healing machine.
Kneel before your queen. It won't take long, I promise.
So much CC, don't know who's is who's anymore. No. Here, let me return the favor. Oh. Oh, you would. He got me.
I couldn't hit my petrify fast enough, dang.
What were you thinking?
Yeah, I don't know.
Can't catch me, I'm the motherfucking gingerbread man, son. Switcher. Oh. Damn, it took all their skills. I don't think a single one of them has an ult anymore.
I mean, she'll get it back soon.
VG right now. Good.
Yeah, go. Oh, sure, it's yours. Jeez.
Look at Angela.
Jesus Christ. Wait, let's jump mid.
Valentina.
Yeah, Valentina ready open.
Double dash.
Flicker. Oh, flicker ball. Yeah, we're on him. I'm blocking. He can't eat.
They're on me.
Oh, we're trying to
Reload.
bang. Whoa, what the f? He tried ulting you.
Oh, yo, you know. Yeah, hit it. We're better.
I'm fine. He still has ult. He was strong.
It just got cancelled a bunch. That's why.
Yeah.
I stun him. You missed your stun, my boy.
GG.
Yeah, that's the Lord.
GG.
Nice.
They're probably in there.
Oh,
she has no flicker.
Woo!
Oh, Angela.
Hit me.
You good? Carlos?
No.
I'm dead.
Edible?
Annabelle, Sampro.
And the ball.
Nice.
End it?
Oh, they had an AFK.
End it? Nice! And
Comfort style.
Bro, I didn't even notice this guy was ending. Holy shit.
I know.
Keep going. I'm up on 5.
Yeah, you'll be up in time.
I'm going for the tower.
You might have to go top. Me? No, it's fine.
Both of you guys go. We should just be able to tower lock.
I'm coming.
Any dice?
Keep going. Almost there.
Right here.
Yeah, we have another wave too. Keep going. And then.
Nice.
Oh my god, okay.
Nice.
That's very crazy.
One more.
Alright, Nighthorde versus BTK counts.
You three stay mid. Me and I'll clear wave because they can't rush Lord. Okay?
Yeah, watch out top. I think just us three. Yo, G.
Nice. No, we could.
Alright, I have enough to get one more skin for a hero. Who should it
Yeah, no wave clear. We could end. No wave clear.
That's a hard one.
Right, because I get painted skins too, but
Yo, kid.
I don't know what skins I have.
I don't want to give it.
They could have look at. They could have had someone go bottom and end it.
Yeah.
Yo, back.
But instead they just wanna.
No, we could end.
Push me here.
They're so low. They're low. Push mid. We could zone. I'll zone. Push.
See what kind of assassin skins I
Let's
got.
not push myself. We should go back here, no?
One diamond.
Yeah.
Yo,
GG. Yeah, mid. Clear mid. Clear lock.
God damn it. GG. Yo, I'm not
Nice.
doing the deal down.
Wait, what did
Yo. You do interview, bro.
I'd be pretty excited too if we beat BTK.
The NACT spring season has been nothing but big plays and hype moments. 77 is going to have to back off. Bahari doesn't care, though. Look at the damage coming on the Jules Cutie, able to shred him down. Every team has fought hard and competed at the highest level.
White Chicken able to get the arm offended.
Get some
Maybe they should have gone for the Lord, but
medicine in us here.
Right here, but Jay is
Yeah.
Shark back on the field.
Medicine.
Are falling Did they push it too far? Gaming Gladiators, don't come to our base just yet.
Now let's take a look back at their finest moments.
The Lord is down to half health already. BTK
Yeah, dude, our whole team stats have got way better.
Yeah. We need to get people on so we can 5-man. Because we've only played 2 games.
Yeah.
And that was when we were playing with Flower.
True.
But if we can get Caitlyn up there, you know what I mean?
Right, we need that female.
Right.
Go pro. We need Neo Bala to come back, to be honest.
Yeah. Apparently he was having allergic reactions to the flower that they had.
Ooh, a lot of damage on a Sleepy, but they got to get back to base quick. The Lord is already almost there. Minoan's Fury does come out, full barrage flicker, but that is a lot.
I mean, I know I personally haven't been live lately, but I haven't even seen Tiffany around.
Yeah, she's around. She's usually hanging out in John's stream, or if I stream and she just happens to be awake in the morning, she'll jump in quick to say hi.
Lord is on the base, and it's 5 members chipping it down. DA take game 3.
Yeah, the Vengeance just pretty much doing the damage itself and Jay here.
Oh, they tried for the Divine Judgment, but did get caught. Kohari finds a kill there. A blazing duet from ISO, not able to find too many marks there. You can see the Vengeance from Uneven with those electrifying beats, able to put some damage on Kohari.
I'm down for another run if you want to do it.
We got 2 minutes till it starts. I think we'll have enough time. Oh, they'll probably have to go through all the...
They're talking and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, we have time.
Immortality down, T down.
Oh.
Lord has fallen as well. They want to lock onto the base. Can they finish this?
Dang, I was like, do I get an MCL ticket this time? No.
I know, I was hoping for it too, but I didn't. It's like, it'll make me spend my own diamonds on getting entrance tickets.
Right.
But I think if you put so much activity in a week, you should just get a free one.
Yeah. I was thinking about trying to stream MCL tonight from the phone, see if we can get it to work.
So when you go live from YouTube on your phone, is it like a screen mirror casting or whatever?
No, you're just literally streaming straight from your phone.
Oh, I mean, I get that, but can I like play my game and it show my game feed, or does it just show my camera, me through my camera?
Both. Like, it'll show your screen and you'll have your little camera that you can turn on, and then it'll have your chat pop up on there too.
Should I go? I'm not gonna go Jawhead.
The 3-for-1 trade. Best player's been down, and they don't care. Yato now in trouble, in the wall, trying to get away. Shark not gonna let it happen. It's the final slash, and all that's left is Mikasa. Can they end this here? It's nothing but Mikasa on the field. Mikasa pops the ult. Gonna try to. Oh my God! Look at the damage to Mikasa, but he's immediately taken out. GG will close the night out early.
The teams are ready for their battles, but only 2 will make it to Vegas for the final showdown. NACT, it's time to pick your champion.
Alright, let's see if Fiends can do it.
Can they pull it off?
They did make some roster changes, so...
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I think I heard that something about that earlier, that a couple teams made some roster changes.
Also, added on top of the lifesteal you are getting, it makes common sense for you to play more aggressively, Sparta style. AKA, don't be afraid to limit test and die a few times. A fried chicken signature. In this example, the jungler got caught in quite a bit of trouble by the opponent's XP laner.
Oh, fuck it.
We're back, guys, for the second half of today's playoffs match. We have Area 77 versus Fiends. Very interesting matchup. We know Area 77 didn't change their roster even for a bit, but Fiends are looking at a pretty drastic change. So what do you guys feel about it?
I mean, with new roster changes comes new challenges, but also sometimes new opportunities. So I will say I'm looking forward to it. I myself am a fan of teams that kind of keep their roster the same, just because, I mean, at least in NACT, it's been proven that those teams are
Try to get him back there for you.
In the long
for you guys.
run. But I mean, sometimes change is for the better, and I guess we'll be able to see that today for our second series.
Yeah, I've been on the same set of music there as Wheezy when it comes to kind of changing things up. I've been a big advocate of why mess with a formula that is working for you. But
it's always Vegas,
some success when you
they had it at
that
I forget the name of it, but it's the like the esports gaming arena out there
just
one time.
I want to say this was a
that place looked cool, and I didn't even go.
Seen during the season games. I mean, even they were facing a team like Game and Gladiators, so there really wasn't much wiggle room for them to really explore that. But I mean, anything is possible when it comes to some of these changes.
But for Fiends, they actually put Kohari on that roam position, which is very interesting because throughout the regular season, they were all talking about Kohari the Brave, Kohari the guy who's carrying his team to victory in that marksman lane, but he actually decided to go roam, which is very interesting change.
Yeah,
we don't know that much about the new players they added onto the rosters. Oh, well, I'm guessing that
got an Estus and no heal. I'm just kidding.
Right. Who is this robe? Oh shit. Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, outshine? I don't know if it'll be outshine. I mean, Kohari was really good in the goal lane. I will say a couple of times he was really aggressive.
Bitch.
I called him Tony Montana at one point. Like, he will go against the world for a final stand if he has the opportunity. But he was still a pretty decent goal laner.
Oh, he got me.
He's kind of newer on the scene, so you got to work out some of those kinks, especially against the upper echelon.
He's going back.
He was pretty solid, but now seeing him inside of the roam position, he's up for a challenge, right? I mean, the roam is a very hard role to kind of step into. Is you have to initiate so much in the gameplay, right? You have to be setting the tone, rotating around the map, creating the opportunity, and he likes to be aggressive. Sometimes that could be great for a roamer, but other times it could not be. So we'll have to see as we move forward with these matches.
Yeah, for me, I know there's been a lot of talk, especially from him transferring from that marksman position to the roam position, and just because of that Tony Montana mindset. When he was a marksman, it didn't matter if his team was ready. He just charged in, get the kill, and get out. You can't do that as a roamer. So I'm definitely looking at Kohari. I want to see what the changes he's made. Are we going to see a brand new Kohari out here that's patient, that's waiting to get those sets for his team, that's making sure that his team is ready before he goes in?
Pretty sure me
that's
is
gonna be,
AFK.
I want to say that's going to be the big point for me on the success of Fiends here tonight.
It reminds me of one thing. Ooga Booga, you remember when Ooga Booga was
Sounds
running
like something
in the
Mia would
marksman
do.
and he swapped to the roam position? I mean, we've seen it before. It kind of reminds me of that situation. And Ooga Booga was very aggressive in the roam position after switching that. So maybe, I don't know, we'll have to see how it goes.
I mean, if you put it that way, I mean, judging by Private's face, doesn't seem like it's very convincing with that swap right there. But let's take a full look at the Fiends updated rosters. Let's see what it is, Private.
We've got a Braynar Kahari, we know, is now taking up
dude is
the
just camping that bush,
position.
bro.
Chirubami in the mid lane. Pro
been doing.
Destroy still in the jungler. I actually
Yeah,
thought
but
he was.
it's not bad when you do it. It's bad when he does it.
Is now in for the XP lane. So we're gonna have, I want to say, 2 new players and 1 swap of a position here for Fiends.
And what do you feel? How do you feel about that, Weezy?
I mean, he is right. That's 2 new additions. I mean, with Rhinar and then Yuri Cutie, 2 new players, not just 1. Like, we've been seeing a lot of teams just switch out 1 player, but 2. Man, that's almost 50% of your team right there that you're switching out. So that's almost a brand. And then a role swap for the 3rd player. That is a brand new team at that point. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like with their team, though, Fiends kind of took the world by surprise, right? They've been doing pretty decent in the NACT. It's not the same story as the first series that we got to see today with LEGACi. They've had a little bit of a different route, right? They've taken their wins. They've also
making my way downtown.
But this, in their eyes, is an upgrade. And hey, I'm all for it. I mean, they're a brand new team on the scene, and they're trying to make a name. And I feel like this is just the beginning for these guys.
Yeah, and points-wise, they're pretty neck to neck when it comes to Area 77 and Fiends. With this new update, though, we'll find out how they perform But Weezy, why don't you take us through the
Threw our
Area
fucking minion
77
back.
full roster coming in today?
Yeah,
That's right. You are seeing a
Frick that
lot
minion.
more of a familiar type of roster.
Oh, I got a
JQ,
heal
Mark
just in
Cutie, Tarzan
time.
Cutie, and your
Just
Reggie.
in time.
A lot of these players have been kind of spread across the land of Dawn in the top 8 teams of North America for a decent amount of time. I will say one of the most interesting things about Area 77, at least this time around for
Snub it
NACT
up.
Spring,
Alright,
was Mark Cutie, right? He switched over from being a gold laner.
Yeah, what a
previous
dude
NACT to
taking this
swapping over
turf,
as
fool.
a mage, and I think I was wondering how that would kind
Oh,
of
I'm
play
throwing
into,
it. Oh, he
into, part
teleported
for
right
him.
out of the
I think
way.
it's been pretty well. I think he knows how to be aggressive,
Whatever.
and he also knows when to pull back when needed. And this is where we
Get
do
the
see new
bad
additions,
boy.
such as a role swap or swap to a new team, actually work in their favor.
But yeah, and that kind of carries along. I want to say there's not a huge amount of difference when it comes to a role like the marksman into the mage position. I mean, well, there's a lot of difference, but there's a lot that carries over into the mid lane, and that your
why
lanes
not?
kind of get your power spikes, the damage you're looking for those the squishier members, trying to get that damage on. I think the added thing from the mage position is your rotations now. Now you're looking for
You got me.
onto the side lane, so it kind of lent itself and really helped Mark Cutie to kind of shine in those positions. But like we were talking about, I mean, no changes here. And especially for a team like Area 77, who in the playoffs has been known to really shine.
Yeah, and let's see what our casters predicted for this matchup today. Oh, wow. Looks like Zeke joined Yue there with the Fiends hype. Zeke believes
I feel like I'm behind on the
believes
stream.
fully in Fiends' potential today. What do you guys feel? I personally felt that Area 77's roster was working pretty well. They had some roster swaps there to there because of Mark Cutie's schedule, but overall they've been doing very well. They're actually one of the 2 teams that took a win against BTK, so definitely very strong there. And Fiends' new lineup is a little bit questionable for me, but what do you guys feel?
I'm right there with you. I agree with the BTK statement. They were able to kind of surprise the world with that victory, and it was a good look for them. And also not changing too much on their roster means we already know what to expect with their synergy, and so do they, jumping inside of the land of Dawn. And this is kind of why they earned my vote. Not to mention, I mean, we've seen Area 77 do really well. Private made an excellent point on talking about them
Coins
kind of
to buy
showcasing
2
their talent when it comes
heroes.
to the playoffs, right? We saw them make, was it 4th place in the last NACT, right? They were able to get into 4th place. They've actually performed in an offline event as well. So that just showcases how capable of a team Area 77 can be.
I know I'm going to date myself here, but call me Agent Mulder because I
I'll be
want to
right back.
believe in extraterrestrials here tonight. Area 77, they've come on the scene very strong. I don't even, and honestly, I want to say I'm a huge fan of what they've been able to do, especially the last 2 seasons. Last season got so many upsets in the playoffs that completely shocked me. This season, I'm not surprised by it anymore. We saw them take a lead over BTK, and here I'm actually looking for these to be, I want to say, my pick for underdogs. The surprises, I feel like Area 77 is going to carry a lot of surprises in these playoffs for us here in North America.
And the Alien Nation and the Fiends are ready, so let the assassination begins.
That's right. Here we go. Jumping in to the draft for the second series of the day for day 1 of the playoffs for the NACT spring season.
Fairness
Bans are
Matilda
already on
ban.
the board. We're
Alright.
looking at a little bit of a support taken off the table for both sides. For me, Area 77, they're going to take off that Faramis. On the side for you, Private, looks like it will be the Matilda.
Yeah, it's a pretty basic bans here right now. The big thing for me is I've felt that Area 77 has really carried a lot of weight when it comes to a lot of the compositions that they put together. They're structured well, like from what we saw, like some of the fallacies of LEGACi, where they didn't have picks that really made sense, that they were kind of maybe characters that they weren't too good on. It's completely the opposite for Area 77. Every pick has a purpose here. They do well when it comes to counter picking against their enemies here, and that's a big thing, that a reason why they were able to be so successful here to get 4th place, even a victory over BTK. So I'm definitely looking for them to continue to shine there in their draft here against Fiends.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of taking a look at least both of these teams from their last performance to close out the regular season. Area 77, fresh off of a sweep up against LEGACi 2-0. But on the other side of the table for Fiends, They went up against Gaming Gladiators, and they got swept 2-0. So one of these teams is fresh off being swept, and the other one is fresh off of putting down the broom. So now we're going to have to see who can kind of push forward with today's series, and it's going to be definitely one for the books. We did get to see the Roger picked up in both games for Area 77 up against LEGACi. I wonder if that's going to be a game plan for them. It has not been banned on the table so far. They did keep things interesting with the chip on their shoulder as well to be able to provide that CC and those teleports. But I mean, we kind of talked about what chip can provide, and not really one of the strongest options. But speaking of strong options, playing a little bit on the safer side, Area 77 with the Frederick.
Yeah, we're going to see what Fiends have to answer. I know I've talked a little bit in length about Area 77, but Fiends have impressed me so much in this tournament, especially right from the
back in
start
time
of
to see some bams.
The first team they put down
and for Tarzan to pick up Frederick.
Anybody who's been here in North America for a while, they know Team Gosu. I mean, a staple here for North America, and to be put down by a team, and you thought maybe it was a little bit of luck, and then you saw the performance of Fiends throughout the playoffs, throughout the season here, and how well and how successful they've been here. So I mean, it brings up how good maybe Kahari has been. That maybe he's even better on
get
the
that oddest going, you know what I'm
in
saying?
the marksman position. He's still a question here as we're going up against Area 77, but we get a lot of that CC and the setting potential. Kahari picking up the Minotaur, and then we're picking up the Roger.
I don't know of a hero that uses some sort of grass power, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, everything that Valentina picked up looks like it's a response, especially with the Kohari having a Minotaur for the Minoan Fury. The Roger, we predicted this, right? We thought Area 77 would take it.
I think the closest you get is fucking
which allowed
probably Matilda's guiding wind
for themselves. Now Roger still
I was gonna say
necessarily going to be in the gold lane. Can also be inside of the jungle. See that today in both positions, and I think they did pretty well. Speaking of things that are doing well as well, CC picked up over there by Yoreshi, one of those heroes. Very hard to keep at bay.
Burn the Belric.
Providing capability, being able to rotate around the map, get the back line will be his main focus, and they need something to either keep him in his tracks or keep up with that pace.
Yeah, I'm expecting, it's very interesting here because I'm expecting to see as we move into the second banning phase.
I don't like Val, but that's just because I can't use her.
We're going to take out some of those count with the Roger here.
I remember I used her a few times.
On his pick, we got 13 seconds to go there. Or are we looking for maybe
back before they revamped her?
Against the CC right now, depends on what we have for the side of Fiends. If we can possibly play a Benedetta, I know Arlot's taken off the board there. And then we get a Vexana. Okay. So I'm expecting. I mean, that's a great and powerful.
No, I'm a little behind.
Banned out there. There's a reason she was banned out the entire first series. Is because of the immense amount of damage and CC that comes out from her. Especially, she's such a huge factor in a lot of these objective fights and pushing off the jungle to help your jungle get that retribution.
I think those are all excellent points. I feel like the Vexana is good here. It can definitely provide that damage. Doesn't give too much profit to the Valentina, but I think the Valentina is just going to focus on the group CC, which puts Area 77 in a good position to maybe not even go for a group CC tank. Possibly go for something different.
The playback so I can get caught up.
Still pick up something like a Rafaela, keep the team alive, keep them mobile. If they really wanted to go that route, that's really the only other support that I can see them picking. I don't see the Florian.
Yeah, at the times too mine to get caught up.
I kind of provide that. Export taken off the table. This side for Area 77, trying to limit the XP lane capability, right? We mentioned what heroes can give the CC hard time.
I was like a full minute behind almost.
I think that's an excellent option. Highly mobile, able to sustain itself, and also able to keep up with that pace. I think
I did switch our mode to classic too, by the way.
Possible option. I don't see the Black Dragon going down.
So we
I
can
feel
get
like the Black Dragon
classics
is a little
in
too risky.
when
Just because there is a Valentina on the other side of the table, but there was that Herod.
What's up,
that
Huggy?
you mentioned, which would have been great to counter the
Appreciate
Roger
you swinging
and a smart play by Fiends.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting here because I don't imagine much can keep up with the CC. Herod is taken off the board. They actually really focused on making sure that this marksman lane is going to have, at least if it's just a 1v1, they're making sure that this marksman lane is going to be free for Fiends, which means there's going to need to be some pressure from Area 77. Fiends may be looking to delegate where Area 77 puts the pressure. They're now saying, the picks that are left, you're going to need to answer because Roger's going to basically walk all over it. On the side of Area 77, they're trying to kind of protect Tarzan, the front line there, making sure that Xborg is taken off of there. They're taking off that early game there. Nolan just taken off the board there for them. So we're going to see what we have in answer for them. Still looking for a marksman and a roam position for the side of Area 77.
Yeah, I mean, they could pick up something like a Claude or even a carry, right? I mean, you kind of
Carry
mentioned
would
the
be good.
carry going up against the Roger could be a possible threat if you just let carry stack up for that late game. He can survive and do the damage necessary. I feel like the Claude can definitely survive. Maybe a little bit harder when you're jumping into a Minoan Fury for the knockup, but it has survivability in his kit. Brody still could be a viable option, especially when you have a Roger who's going to jump in with the Lycan Pouch, try and burst you down. You can use that Corrosive Strike, get the stun, and flicker back to safety. But speaking of picks, going to go ahead and lock in the jungler for the side of Fiends. Just going to confirm that Roger, at least so far, is going to be inside of that gold lane position.
Yeah, we're going to see what we kind of come up with. You brought up a good point that if you have a Valentina and you're taking a Minoan Fury, you maybe don't need a tank with setting potential. But I mean, I want to say Tigreal's still out there. Diggy is still available as well.
The Diggy would be good.
We're looking, we're going to have a Grok there. You were right about the Claude pick kind of coming out there as well. Going to be able to spread out a lot of damage. And Grok going to be able to kind of use that wilderness charge, and especially his passive. His passive being able to be next to a wall while he's holding his ability. He doesn't get CC'd. He's got a little bit more tankiness as well. Yeah, gonna see how well this stacks up against Fiend's last pick.
Yeah, the last pick on the board. Will it be an XP lane, right? Now, technically, this could still be flex for Fiends, and that's why I kind of like this. But it looks like it's going to be a solidified Barat's in the jungle, which means a Paquito will be in the XP lane. That is going to be up against a CC, though. Now, Paquito's been hitting pretty hard, though. We've seen him in the regular season deal a lot of damage from a lot of XP laners from multiple teams, and I think he's a great answer. Now, CC is a little bit more mobile, in my opinion, but I feel like Paquito has a little bit more tricks up his sleeves when it comes to survivability. Now, overall, when it comes to team fights, when it comes to the neutral objectives, I'm expecting a lot of heavy engagement for both sides.
Yeah, the Paquito really shines against, I want to say, some slower but heavy hitters in the mage position, in the marksman position. For me right now, I'm kind of wondering, is Paquito going to be able to close the distance on a Valentina, close the distance on a Claude or a CC, especially because you like to set up a lot of these objective fights. Paquito brings somebody down and then you move on to the objective.
Speaking of closing the distance, into the land of Dawn we go. Area 77 up against Fiends for our second and final series of the night. Who will be able to push on forward in the upper bracket?
Yeah, all eyes. I want to say this is a very anticipated match, especially for me. I definitely want to see how Kohari performs in the roam position, and if Area 77 can bring that same synergy and playoff stability that they have in the past to this match.
Yeah, that's a big step from a cold laner to a roamer. You don't see that happen too often in the NACT, and Kohari definitely willing to step up to the plate, but was it the right decision? I think that's what everybody's kind of asking right now. But on the bot side, though, we're seeing a lot of early engagements in these matches, Private. I'm like, the camera's not even there yet, and you're seeing people at 10% HP.
That's a lot of quantum charges on the side of Area 77. And this is what I was talking about. There's going to be a lot of mobility. And so I'm wondering if Yuri's going to be able to close the distance with that Paquito to a lot of these who are going to try to kite him away, especially with the immense amount of damage that he brings to a lot of these fights during the objectives or trying to get, you can see already here, and in the lane, he's having a lot of trouble against LEGACi, who's actually zoning him out away from, starving him from his lane minions.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of mobility, but it's going to be kind of facing against a lot of damage, right? You've seen that double Impure Rage, a couple of Tenacities, and then one Quantum Charge from your cutie to try and keep up with the high mobility that Area 77 has. So speaking of mobility, the flicker out your cutie, not able to escape the wrath, and LEGACi will be able to draw first blood into the hands of Area 77.
And unfortunately, I want to say that the side of Fiends just a few seconds too late to help out with that. But even if, I want to say, Tarzan didn't aid in that fight, it felt like LEGACi really had that in the bag in the first place.
It's going to give LEGACi a great advantage, too, because, I mean, he's going head-to-head up against YuriCutie, and you kind of mentioned that it may be a little bit of a challenge for YuriCutie to get to the back line. Speaking of back line, though, big knock-up. Airborne goes Pro Destroy, need to get out of there. Tarzan Cutie able to claim the turtle for Area 77. First blood and the first objective in their favor.
I want to say I love the faith that Area 77 has in their jungler, the faith that the jungler has in his team. He didn't go to try to help them, focused on the turtle, made sure that he got that. After he got the turtle, then he went to help them. They got the shield, and then they all backed up. And a good game plan by Area 77. 1 kill up for them.
Yeah, 1 kill up. Still anybody's match, though. I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a closer game than the last series that we watched, especially with both of these teams kind of a little bit more even in terms of being objective focused. But synergy should be in favor for Area 77 since they did not change their roster that much. But will that be the difference they can lean in on, or will that be the strength that Fiends is going to try and hone in on for this match? You are seeing ISO on the top side. He is running this Claude. Has a survivability, but he is going up against that staple pick Roger that we've been seeing dominate so far for the meta.
Yeah, and he's doing a good job of pushing his wave there as well. And that's why I want to say the difference is that while Yureshi is kind of bullying Yuri, he's trying to make sure that he's starving him from his minions. On the other side, I want to say Brynar just kind of forcing and pushing his way toward ISO, which I want to say the better game plan is to kind of try to starve out your opponent there to make sure that he's not getting the goal. A little bit of engagement here at the bottom.
Yeah, 2v1. YuriCutie again. Forced to use the flicker, but this time able to escape the bottom rotation from the side of Area 77, almost finding his second death of the game.
A little bit of a wall there. Didn't actually do anything because Kahare just walked aside of it, but ISO clearing up mid lane as well. Right now, not too much going on. Very slow paced, but I want to say very slowly a little bit of a gold leak coming from Fiends as Area 77 already got themselves a little bit of about 1,000k or 1,000 gold lead.
Yeah, speaking of leads though, Kohari, Minoan Fury for the triple knockup, flickers away, but unable to
Area
escape
77 putting in some work today.
Find his second kill of the game to shut him down. We are looking at an invasion though into the jungle for Fiends. May need to be careful though. Tarzan,
what'd you say?
Terrified. See Pro Destroy on the chase.
Area 77 putting some work in.
Cutie hugging that wall, trying not to get caught up by that CC turtle.
Had to grab some food
willing to flash it out.
Yeah, JCutie doing a good job trying to bait out YuriCutie here, trying to put some damage. Yuri looking for an opportunity.
Ooh, looking for the opportunity. The wall will drop. Turtle, very low. Tarzan will take it for Area 77, but may get more. Praise Wrath drops down.
Why does everybody have QT after their name? That's what I want to know.
It's just a thing.
Yeah, I want to say very slowly this game starting to edge even closer.
Kind of like in
Area 77's favor.
Yeah, Ryan on top
Southeast Asia, they got like Carl TZ, Flap TZ.
Really want it bad down there, not letting him escape at all, giving him such a hard time, overwhelming him with the numbers.
I feel like every single time they engage, Area 77 comes with more
Maybe I'll go
members
pro and
at the
call myself
bottom. They weren't able to take care of it with 2 last time. All right, I have 3 for you now. Upping it to 5-0.
Who knows? Who knows?
I want to say
I've been thinking about changing my name. I ain't gonna lie.
Expected.
Yeah, you need to see Fiends find some answers, find some trades. If not, they're going to be digging their own grave, and they may not be able to climb out of it. Area 77 will be able to claim the first turret of the game on the bot side, left unchecked, and may be able to get a little bit more on the invasion for the purple buff. The airborne knock with the Eternal Guard. Pro Destroy, able to get out of there last minute. Playing to the survivability from the Barats.
We just saw the items there earlier, and we saw kind of the gold lead right now. Area 77, I want to say, at each position, about 1K over their opponents in each single role there. So they actually have like about an item, except for you can see at the roam position, which is kind of a slow starter there in the first place. But I mean, they're doing such a good job right now. They're starting to overwhelm Fiends. Fiends aren't able to find, and this is the thing too.
Good.
Where's the last time we've seen Fiends go for a gank on their own? They just continue. It looks like they're just continually replying to what Area 77 do on the map.
Bacon.
Yeah, I mean, 2 core items to 1 right now for ISO up against Brynar, right? He already picked up the Corrosion Scythe and the Demon Hunter Sword. Brynar only having the Wind Talker to work at his disposal. Off to a great lead, and so far, I mean, they've been checking all the boxes off in Fiends. Looking like they were studying for the wrong test, as you are going to go ahead and see Area 77 pulling the aggro for the next turtle, and it looks like it may not go contested as JCutie on point with these walls right now.
Pro-Destroy, the tiny little dinosaur there. They're doing a great job, like to the point that Pro-Destroy isn't even able to find his stacks to keep him up right now as we continue on with an engagement.
Turn of guard.
Oh,
left
nice
punch
knock
rushing
up.
in. Airborne knockup on a Pro-Destroy, and Yureshi will be able to get the kill off of that. Area 77 not only claiming the second turtle of this game, or third turtle, but also a body on top of that. Chirobami with the response, so we'll find Tarzan Cutie. Big knockup from the Minoan Fury for both sides. ISO finding Kohari, but needs to disengage. Yuri Cutie in the mid lane. Brian R. Very low. Mark Cutie wants blood, and he will get it. Brian R. will fall. Chirobami in the hands of Yureshi. Cutie will find another.
Brian R. goes down.
Number 3 trade and a turtle to Area 77.
So does True.
Right now, I mean, as much as a little bit of a Yureshi in trouble there, getting beat down there by Yurikiri on that Paquita. But like I was going to say, I can't even really blame Kahari here. Like a lot of people have had their eyes on the roam position here. 35K there, you can see there by the CC right now. But when it comes to like the team right now, Fiends are just not.
This is definitely not the best Fiends have done
to, like, getting those
throughout the season.
Rotating around the map, they're just, like I said, they're just continually replying to Area 77 instead of making plays themselves. Instead of finding out that they're not going to be able to take the turtle here, they're not going to be able to get to this lane a little too late, and forcing something at another lane. Right now, they're kind of just stuck in this like continual like getting there at second place when it comes to each of these lanes.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're being reactive when it comes to Area 77, who's being more aggressive and claiming everything they want. Wild Charge will connect for the stun on a Brian Arm. Minoan Fury from Kohari, not able to get the set he was looking for. Lycan Pounce goes out. ISO won't find a turret. 2 will fall. Kohari will fall alongside it. Tarzan able to get that kill. ISO getting ready. BMI, Blazing Duet onto Chirobami. Will be able to connect.
Ooh.
BMI to safety. Pro-Destroy.
Brian R gets away.
ISO the Magician.
Chirobami does not.
The aliens are landing soon.
Yeah, and this is kind of the question a lot of people had. At this point in the game is usually where Kohari would start taking off, regardless of where his team is. He starts kind of getting those kills, starting to get that damage in here right now as we continue on to the top high ground.
Yeah, speaking of high ground, airborne knockup to a mountain.
Man, this is not looking good.
For the inhibitor on the top side, trying to crack the base open.
I'll go Kohari again. ISO is just eating him alive.
ISO forced to use the BMI. You're a Cutie very low. Hit the terrified chain CC. Too much to handle. Mark Cutie able to get another 2-for-none trade. Area 77, 14-1.
A great bait there you saw from ISO to lure in Yuri Cutie to try to take that damage.
Goes ahead and takes the
BMI to get
Lord.
himself out of harm's way, and the rest of Area 77
Straight looking like he's in trouble.
Their prize.
Gets surrounded.
Up all that damage, but he can only handle so much. There's 4 members surrounding him. Nowhere to go, and J Cutie will take him out.
Yeah, and I feel like this is the result. This is what a lot of us talk about when it comes to changing up the roster, losing some of that synergy, especially there were teammates at mid for Fiends, and unfortunately just couldn't close the distance to help Pro-Destroy, to even get any type of damage there to help him out and kind of secure his escape. And this is the result of like what we talk about when it comes to synergy, playing with these guys for a little bit. When you're going up against a team like Area 77, who has been playing together, Blazing Duet into the back line.
From ISO, BMI's back to safety. Base has been opened up. Lord crashing in, ready to go to the base.
This might
Crystal,
be it.
Kohari trying to find the set for Fiends, trying to keep him in this game. Area 77 trying to land on an additional planet. ISO will go ahead and claim an inhibitor. All have fallen. Fiends up to a possible final stand. Minions in the mid lane pushing through in Area 77. Ready to take it to their home turf, but can they close it out?
I'm all moving back and forth like I'm the one playing.
All right, me too.
Yeah, they're looking to kind of close it up here.
Like, come on,
good
dude.
job from Fiends trying to defend this, but I mean, you're looking at about 15K gold difference.
Wild Charge will connect 2 for the knockup. Pro-Destroy able to grab up ISO, but not doing barely any damage. Blazing Duet hit with the knockup though. Minoan Fury from Kohari. Mark Cutie won't find Pro-Destroy. 1 member falling from the side of Fiends. Who will fall next? Your Cutie responds back, takes down Mark Cutie. Both sides losing a member. Make that another. Yureshi is going to find Yuri Cutie. Kohari with another knockup for J Cutie, Tarzan Cutie, and Yureshi Cutie. Brian R joining the fight, trying to clear out these minions. Shirobani forced into the base very low. The base
The rest of the
Crystal,
cuties.
though. Can they take it down? Yes,
Dang.
they can.
Good fight.
Area 77 taking game 1 against
GG.
Fiends.
And what a dominating performance. This is the Area 77 that I talk about, especially when we saw it from last season.
They're extraterrestrial, baby.
Area 77 does not disappoint, and they come here to take heads.
They've been regular all season.
Extraterrestrial, definitely showing up to a new planet and ready to take it over. Game number 1 looking very good for them. They looked strong, the resolve was there, and the objectives
Ready when you are, guy.
were nothing of a challenge to them
Aliens
to be able
have
to take.
landed.
Fiends, on the other hand, needing to find some answers after game number 1, especially with Kohari. You know, he switched over to that Minotaur. Had a little bit of
Time
a
to do
hard
some
time. I wouldn't really
classic,
say it's
some
because
new
he switched roles,
heroes.
but it was just a hard composition, especially when you kind of first pick that Minotaur to rush against this and you allow the Valentina
39-second
to pretty
fucking
much use
wait.
Minnow and Fury alongside you.
Yeah, and I talked about it here, especially the Paquito pickup. While I do like the damage of a Paquito pickup, you're talking about some very mobile, like he likes to close the distance and get those kills onto the squishier heroes, but you're talking about very mobile heroes here. Valentina, who's got dashes up the wazoo here to be able to kind of get away from somebody like Paquito. The battle mirror image from ISO on the Claude to be able, and then of course your Reshi Cutie, who's able to pretty much jump all over the map, almost like a Ling. To be able to kind of get away. So Yuri just not able to close the distance. And when he was, it was basically a bait from ISO that allowed Area 77 to get another kill onto Yuri Cutie here. I mean, I want to say a very greatly drafted game by Area 77. And then when it came to the synergy, getting to those side lanes, getting those pickoffs on a lot of these dudes, they just executed to perfection.
Yeah, speaking of perfection, Yureshi picking up the highest kills in the game, 5-0 in 10. Like you said, is it synergy, right? Area 77, they're known to not really make too many changes, but work on their flaws. Fiends, on the other hand, a little bit of a newer team on the scene. He made some major changes, probably the most changes out of every single team for the playoffs. This
Did
NACT
the bot stop working?
It is definitely coming with its challenges, but they need to find their answers fast, right? There's not that much time to be able to figure this out, as we are now in the elimination phase. We're in the playoffs. Somebody will be knocked down to the lower bracket today.
Yeah, and I also want to make a comment too about Braynar on.
Oh, you put 2 exclamation points. That's
why.
why.
ISO on the gold lane. Expected there almost 1,000 per minute there.
Oh, Hawaiian was trying to gamble in the chat.
He had so many kills there, 69,000.
He's a gambler.
And even Mark Cutie with 11 assists. Pro Destroy. I mean, unfortunately, somebody has to take the damage that was being executed out here by Area 77. But another thing is the Roger in the gold lane. When you are pressing so hard into Claude that Claude just backs up into the tower, he starts just getting his minions at the tower. He's like, okay, if you're gonna push so hard on me, I'll just sit into my tower, grab these minions, continue to farm, slow and steady wins the race. But what that also does is that also makes it so that Fiends do not have a lane to gank. They're gonna if they try to go to Claude's lane to try to help out the Roger pick there, they're not gonna be able to they're gonna have to dive underneath the tower for Claude, basically. And you have the option of the BMI to get him out of harm's way. He's just not really an option. And I just feel like there's just little things like that Fiends had trouble with, that Area 77 was really shining with.
Yeah, I mean, even when you compare the Roger up against the Claude, right? I feel like the Claude has a lot of survivability with the BMI. The Roger, he can kind of like dash in. He has a little bit of survivability, but he's more of that engager. Now, I will say there was often a lot of times where we saw Area 77 just put a lot of focus into the XP lane, right? They were shutting down the Paquito. They were overwhelming him with that pressure. I want to say it was like 2 or 3 kills when we saw a 3-man rotation over there, but we didn't really see those type of rotations from Fiends in the early phase. And then on top of that, stacking these turtles, stacking these objectives is where they started to snowball at. As you are going to go ahead and see the damage dealt from both sides. Highest will be Yureshi. I mean, he did have the highest kills in the game as well. 88% team participation.
Yeah, and the especially in the early game on the side of Fiends, when it came to damage, you had Chirobami, who brought up almost 50,000 damage. But the other answer you wanted was the Paquito. Unfortunately, with that pressure put on there, and you can
I'm gonna heal and then I'm gonna come up top.
Heap of damage, seconds only to Pro Destroy. They really shut down the other 50% of Fiends' possible damage by putting so much pressure onto this Paquito.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of pressure on the line. In Area 77, I mean, they're looking focused and ready to take it to the Land of Dawn again. For Fiends, on the other hand, they need to go back to the drawing board, in my opinion, right? They need to kind of, even in the draft, I feel like it was a little bit
There is
shaky.
up here somewhere. I just
They
don't
first
trust
picked
it.
the Minotaur. I was kind of a little questionable on that because there's a lot on the table that you're allowing
There he
to
is.
walk and also to counter up against it. And they did exactly both of those things, right? And I feel like maybe going for something more staple meta in terms of getting something that can be a little bit more valuable that early in the phase and not easily as counterable should be what they're working on first. So this time around, hopefully they can do that. But yeah, there's just a lot even dissecting that we'll have to see them kind of turn around. And it's an upscale battle. These are one of the things that happens when you change so much on your team in a short notice, right? I mean, Area 77, they're not really changing much. This is the same Area 77 that we've been seeing for at least this season, and they've been improving.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and hopefully in this next game, I mean, they've got 2 more games here to try to find their footing, find something that works for them. Like I said, I feel like there were just little things that it's those little mistakes the Paquito pick here, possible. Some of those rotations and how they handled the lanes and the pressure that they had in those lanes. Right now, at the playoffs, in a game against a team like Area 77, you just can't make any of those little mistakes, and you have to be as sharp as possible. But we're here. Second chances here for the side of Fiends, who are going to be starting with their first pick.
Gotta gamble.
Yeah, speaking of picks, bans on the table. Mathilda, nothing out of the ordinary for Area 77. The Fredrin, though, that's a little bit of a surprise for me, at least for Fiends. It's a little on the riskier side. I feel like there's some other things they could have possibly taken out. It looks like they're limiting the jungle capability, right? They're gonna take out that Barats alongside the Fredrin, right? Now, Roger's still on the table. I wonder if Fiends is gonna try and pick that up and make it work at their disposal. But then there's still a lot of strong picks out there to kind of counter up against it. There goes the Faramist, taking a little bit more support off the road. Speaking of supports, the Angela is still walking, can definitely be paired up with something a little bit more beefier, such as an Akai. We've seen that pickup work and take down the top team in the #1 seed for the NACT. It could be a possible game plan for Fiends.
It's funny, is it bad? I saw the Fredrin ban and the Barats ban. I kind of thought Fiends were taking on BTK. Those were the usual bans that you get against somebody like Mobazane here. The tankier ones taking off the mana. I mean, for me, I feel like sometimes when it comes to there's just so many options that are out there, especially for somebody like Tarzan. He plays a very flexible jungle, a lot of different picks that he can come into. So I mean, if it's, I feel like there's other things that were kind of issues for them. I didn't feel like Fredrin was like the main reason for Area 77's success.
Marksman is screwed.
So we'll see how this kind of works out for them. Maybe they have a game plan in mind here.
Well, they're all down there.
Our lot as well. CC's still going to be open. We're still going to have that Roger open right now. Nolan as well.
Vexana, Navaria, 2 mages walking too. So there's definitely mage prior on the table. Lu Yi, we've been seeing deal a lot of damage, could be picked up. It's definitely a possibility. Last ban for the first phase for Fiends. They're going to go in for that R-Lot. Man, there's a lot walking on the table right here. Now, I think Area 77 is trying to get the Roger. They've been performing on it. They've been doing really well. Even in the end of the regular season, they picked it up twice, back-to-back for a sweep over LEGACi. I wonder if Fiends will let that walk. I mean, last time we got to see Fiends have the Roger, and it was up against a Claude, and the Roger really just didn't have the easiest time. So I don't know if that's what they want. And I think Area 77 is like, hey, we already beat it once. So if they want to pick up the Roger, I think we can afford it. But if not, we'll definitely kind of punish them with that. And that's just one of the things that these new staple meta picks kind of provide on the table. It even further diversifies the draft. Speaking of drafting, playing on the safer side for Fiends, they're going to go in for that Ruby, who, like you mentioned, took a little bit of a nerf.
Yeah, it took a little bit of a nerf. Kahari picks it up here. So maybe I actually like that Ruby pickup if it's going to be on the roam position for Kahari, because I want to say Ruby takes a little bit of a more mechanical hand right now to play well, to find those opportunities to get a lot of that CC. But in answer to that,
still super behind everyone. Yeah, I mean, everyone else has also got like
I want to say she's got her pick right now. You
know,
got I'm Offended
weeks
out there
and months
that she can
of
take.
it.
You've got the ultimate from Novaria out there
as
well. The Astral Echo. So I mean, she's got her pick of ultimates out there. We're gonna see what the next word possible we're gonna be picking up for Fiends here.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Natan is going to be picked up. I actually didn't expect that one, at least this early from them. You know what's funny about this is I feel like Area 77 is trying to make a statement, right? They let Fiends pick up that Minotaur first, and this time they pick it up first for their part of the draft. Instead, maybe showcasing that they can perform it a little bit better. But this time, it's smart with what they did with it, right? They picked up the Valentina alongside it to deny them to have that IMU and also use it against them. There goes that Claude again. They were able to perform really well on it against the Roger. This time it will be up against the Natan. Both of them able to deal massive damage when it comes to the late game, and it's really going to be dependent on how their teams rotate around and get these neutral objectives. And if it kind of paints a picture from last game, we saw Area 77 do a little bit better. So if Fiends can find a way to disrupt their synergy, rotate around, possibly delay some farm in the jungle, get these turtles, it's definitely going to help boost that gold for ISO and also the gold laner for Fiends.
Yeah, a little bit of focus from both teams, a focus on the jungle, a little bit of respect there paid for the Fanny of Pro Destroyer we saw from his first game of the season. He's an absolute maniac on it, almost shades of what we saw from Best Player. And then on the side of Fiends, they're going to go ahead and take out Nolan, so that's a lot of early game damage from them. It's going to be, I want to say, the synergy of Braenar
I'm going to go top here in a second once I come back.
On point, because I want to say Natan needs to get pretty close to the battle to be able to do a lot of to really have that effect. He does a lot of damage and he can really close and even it out very quickly, but it's going to be on Kohari to make sure he's protected, to make sure that he's not getting ganked, because for me, that's going to be my #1 target.
You know, it's interesting though, because it's starting to seem like the strategy. Okay, I guess we could say Ruby can still be flexed though. This still could be an XP lane Ruby. So it might not be Kohari. I'm not really sure if it will be, but I think what I'm noticing is Fiends is trying to prioritize Kohari getting comfortable first before they do the rest of their draft. That's at least what I'm getting so far from today's series. Now,
I need
there's a lot
more.
of range, there's a lot of damage, a lot of backline
Please, sir.
on the side of Fiends.
Can
and
I
some
have
CC,
more?
but we still have yet to see who they're going to slot inside of the jungle. Speaking of junglers, though, that Hayabusa has been taken off the table. I didn't expect the Hayabusa to walk.
I kind of cocked my head a bit when I saw the Hayabusa van out there. Because we just talked about Hayabusa. He's not exactly a prime pick right now in the current meta. There's just, not that he's terrible, there's just better options. I feel like right now, Area 77, they've got, I want to say some of the
I just got fucked up the top.
success that they had
3
from
up
last
top.
game. This CC, the Claude right now, I mean, they had excellent games in their first match here of this series, and hoping maybe there's an answer on the side of Fiends as we move into the second game.
Yeah, answers is definitely what Fiends needs right now. I mean, they were not able to take game 1. Area 77, more of a one-sided story. The way the draft is looking so far, though, I mean, it's not too bad. I feel like they have some value there for both sides. Xborg, able to walk through, not be banned out, is going to provide some utility for the side of Fiends. He'll be able to get that Ice Queen wand, provide that slow, have the Faraga armor, stack immortality. Very hard to kill. And that's pretty much going to confirm him inside of the XP lane. At least if I'm seeing this right. But speaking of fighters in XP lanes, Dairoth. Now, we've seen this a couple times, Private. We've seen it ran in the jungle. And it did pretty well. But can Fiends pull this off with their new composition?
This all is I was just waiting for it. I was waiting for the early game, because they're not going to go for a tank. They're going to go for something early game, something that's going to be able to really kind of claw out there, especially against a Dairoth. So the Dairoth, the win capabilities for the Dairoth is you need to get that early game, start getting those kills, allow Nathan to kind of come online. Now you've got this increased huge burst potential from your teammates and a lot of CC to help you. But do you ever take off if you've got a Martis on the other side? He's going to be able to Mortal Coil his way around, especially to try to dodge that Abyssal Strike from Pro Destroy on this Dairoth. And you've got a lot of mobility. That's the thing too. He's going to have to land that Abyssal Strike, and he's going to have to land it on opportune moments when these guys have used their dashes and are not going to be able to create distance.
And speaking of distance, looks like we are going to be jumping into Land of Dawn for game number 2 for our second series, our final series of the day. Area 77 up against Fiends, who will be able to claim victorious and take this match.
Yeah, we're going to see here if there is a little bit of a difference here between the first game here. Area 77 was quite dominant in that first, really taking advantage of the new roster of Fiends here. We're going to see there's a little bit of a difference here.
Nice.
Looking for possibly for Kohari to kind of be that difference maker for the Fiends.
Audience predictions are out. Everybody, 78% for Area 77, 22% for Fiends. Speaking of Fiends, Kohari switching to that roam position, trying to provide some vision, but taking a couple of hits.
I was gonna get away, but
so need to be careful though. Keep in mind, he
got me too.
An artist who thrives on the low HP, especially when he can get that decimation. Now, probably, you know what's interesting? I'm looking at 3 impure rages right now for Fiends. They're definitely looking to take the fight early.
Yeah, I definitely not want time to go back here. Speaking of fights, a little bit of engagement here at mid, no worse for wear. I want to say well blended on the side of Area 77 when it came to the emblems. On the side of Fiends, yeah, definitely looking to stay
it's like Area 77 is like, I'll show you how to use
lanes, not having to go back for that mana there. So we're going to see if that kind of pays off against a team like Area 77. The biggest thing for them was their ability to get to those side lanes and get those ganks in the first game.
Ooh, focus on to Kohari, though. A lot of damage. Stun, catching JQT, but Tarzan QT will be able to take him down for first blood for Area 77.
Just because.
Yeah, already, right into the early game, finding Kohari. He gets that decimation onto him, really setting the tone. 9 seconds left for this Lord, so all teams are going to have their 5, but Kohari's just going to be slightly behind the mold.
Yeah, need to be a little careful, especially with the chain CC that Area 77 has. You have a Valentina with a Martis, both of them able to kind of grab you in their clutches and not let go of you for a decent amount of time, especially when they team up on you. Speaking of teaming up, the battle over the turtle on the way. First neutral objective on the game. Astro Echo will go in. Your QT in position. You already see JQT walking around with the stun. No Fury, last standing from your QT though with the grab. Tarzan will find Pro Destroy. Your Kohari on the chase on the JQT as well, maybe able to shut him down. Yuri QT very low. Mark QT dealing the final hits, but Tarzan QT will be able to take the kill, and Turtle will go to the side of Area 77.
It's just such a switch up. I mean, even in that, you saw the last insanity
I wasn't gonna get it.
Last moment,
I just picked up mortality.
I'm offended to make sure both members took the full frontal blast of that last insanity. But still, Area 77 able to come out ahead and with a turtle in their pocket.
Yeah, and that's huge, especially this early in the game. I mean, it's almost a 2,000 gold lead.
At the same
in the
time.
first 3 minutes, getting everything they wanted in that trade so far, and it's going to put Fiends in a little bit of a harder position. But speaking of Fiends, Kohari,
got another one.
Trying to catch him out of position. They're just looking for him, trying to hopefully get the early kills.
I still gotta get this character down.
Yeah, the one thing right now that I'm starting to see now is Kohari uses the I'm offended onto Mark QT. None of his teammate was actually in a position to capitalize on it. So, I mean, you just kind of wasted your ultimate to put some damage onto Mark QT. It really wasn't a difference maker as we take a little bit of engagement here at the top lane.
Yeah, 2v1, Yuri QT sustaining himself, does have Faraga armor, should be able to be just fine up there. This is one of the things where the export kind of profits with the survivability. But you mentioned Pro Destroy on the Dairoth, right? Needing to have an early start to be very effective, and so far he's found an early death, but looks like he's trying to change the narrative. Vengeance procced by your QT, not wanting to be able to get hit by that Abysm Strike.
Yeah, and Pro Destroy smartly and wisely moves right away from that, and that's kind of the problem here right now. What I was saying, he's
nice. How was it?
His target, I just finished eating. How much success is he gonna have actually being able to lay down that Abyssal Strike onto somebody? You've got the Vengeance from your you've got a lot of mobility from Mark QT and ISO, who are going to be able to kind of get away. As I was talking about that, ISO in a little bit of trouble here.
Ooh, Pro Destroy, Abysm Strike, not able to find the hit onto ISO. A good call, but falling short. Mark Bryanar still alive though on the bot side. Neither member will fall.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I was talking about, is just how
you gonna be on for MCL there, guy?
Disengage from that Abyssal Strike. And we go ahead and look at a clean turtle taking from Tarzan.
Yeah, it looks like he is gonna be able to get it. Chirabami very low. Your QT will find him. That's gonna be 4 kills unanswered. Area 77 looking to try and close this game out even earlier than the last one. Fiends can they
You're
turn
cutting
this
out
around?
bad,
They
my
need to
friend.
find their proper footing. I mean, right now you're looking at Area 77 with a one-sided domination as the tier 1 turret in the mid lane will fall.
Yeah, only the 5-minute mark.
But I want
They
a
already
big
have
game
about a 3K gold lead.
before
Marquis
that.
dives under tower, finds a kill onto Yuri Cutie, and that's just I want to say the story right now is Fiends are having trouble maintaining their jungle, their towers right now, and Area 77 are just basically laying claim on the entire map.
Yeah, just having a really great game so far within the last 5 minutes. Now up at almost 4,000 gold and climbing. As you are going to see that turret on the bot side fall. And that's going to put him at a huge deficit, especially having the Natan. We kind of mentioned the late game marksmans, right? ISO running on this Claude, Brinar on the Natan. Both of them needing their teams to take the neutral objectives to give them that power spike super early to be able to do that damage they're relying on, which is going to take even longer for Brinar to get online, but even faster for ISO as he picks up the Demon Hunter sword.
Yeah, I mean, he's already pretty much got enough items for him to start shredding through into the back line here. Brinar going to have to use that ultimate to get himself to safety, as now still continuing to push onto these towers is Area 77.
Yeah, they're looking for more. They're taking these objectives very fast.
Dude,
they just got to work on their defense a little bit more. A little bit of synergy is lacking so far, and it's showing, especially against Area 77, who seems to have their composure a little bit more together.
Most people are like, all right.
You are seeing them still trying to defend, though. Airborne
win, but
ISO will go ahead and take down Pro Destroy.
That means I got at least 600 wins.
For Area 77, and no answer back from Fiends.
True.
Yeah,
that's
and right now there's nothing they can do to stop it. They're about a 5K gold lead at the 6-minute mark. We're already almost to the high ground towers of Fiends right now. They're not. They don't have the damage. They don't have the CC potential, and they're not able to get any ganks right now.
Oh, maybe not clear. You were cutting in and out there.
Area 77.
You're good now.
And Area 77
I said ever since I switched my game up a little bit, I've fucking been doing good. But I still play the shit out of Raphaelia.
They claim an objective. Speaking of objectives, Mark Cutie.
I got over 1,200 games at 50% with her, so that's 600 wins if you look at it that way.
That is going to give Fiends a little bit of a harder time trying to catch up. Now a 7,000, almost 8,000
Most people
gold lead. High skills in the game.
Trying out some new
We'll go over
heroes.
to Tarzan Cutie with 3 kills.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of engagement happening.
What?
Yeah, Pro Destroy is going to be able to shut down ISO. First kill on the board for Fiends. Last Sanity going out as well. May be able to find an answer.
I can't wait till we have coverage that actually close the sacred.
Oh man, Fiends are getting wrecked.
Down your Cutie and Pro Destroy Kohari will fall, making that a triple.
Alright, oh, down goes Kohari. Damn.
Cutie will get it. Brinar will response. Maniac.
He's like worth it.
Wow.
Are you guys watching
He
it
was.
Are you guys watching it on Discord, or are you guys watching it on?
He's saying there. You can see the damage out here actually being capped there by Mark Cutie. 27,000 out there. And I want to say you can start seeing the frustration from Pro Destroy. He's able to get the kill, but then lets out an abyssal strike at the whole of Area 77.
Area 77.
It's like there was no way you're going to get a kill onto somebody there. Just a little bit of frustration coming from him. Before he goes down. Now sitting at a 3.
I thought Fiends would put up a way bigger fight than what they are.
Kill game.
Yeah.
I thought Fiends was in it for it.
Area 77.
But then again, I can't wait to see Nighthorde come back up. You know, they're doing fucking super well this season.
Over there by Brockenar.
They'll be playing tomorrow.
To a kill, which is a lot of basic beta utility. You are going to go ahead and see that Astral Meteor go out as well. The Echo alongside it will connect on to Mark Cutie. Look at the item so far, though.
Who are they going against? Are they going against DVS activity, or is that BTK?
The gold laner ISO compared to Brinar.
Fiends.
Yeah, you can already see the Hunter Strike and Brute Force Breastplate picked up by Tarzan. They both have
tomorrow, you mean?
Oracle as well.
Yeah,
so I mean, they're well on their way. The dominance right here is pretty established right now. Area 77 just pushing and enforcing a little bit of a surprise there for Yureshi.
Oh, it looks like
I think
Nighthorde
too.
Looks like they're getting a little bit more
DVS
comfortable trying to take these fights, but is that the right answer? Our
Yeah,
armor will drop Area 77.
I mean,
trying to maintain the pressure on the map, trying to keep them at bay to allow the free
Alright,
lure to go in their hands.
before I get on.
Looking at Tarzan Cutie already chunking a lot of that damage.
I mean, don't get me wrong,
Nobody there to really contest, and down goes Area 77 with another objective.
Yeah, and that's just kind of speaking towards
we're
the
getting better.
lead that they have right now, is that you're able to leave your jungler absolutely alone at the Lord while the rest of your team is on the opposite side of the map. They're not even afraid of him getting ganked. They know where Fiends is on the map, so they're just going to create that pressure, all the while giving Tarzan an easy open with that Lord.
Yeah, definitely a major opportunity for Area
Might be
77
two clean
to
sweeps
try and
today.
open up the base for Fiends. As you are seeing the Lord starting to march down the mid lane, and it looks like Area 77 is going to start trying to sink the side lanes on top of that for a possible push. And can they do it, though? I mean, Fiends, oh, it's going to be rough, right? I mean, they are very far behind in terms of items, so in terms of the fight, they should have the advantage for Area 77. And speaking of advantage, Blake Duet going out by ISO, clearing out these minions, not going to connect for the damage zone, but no Fury for the knockup. Yureshi is going to find one. Marcuti takes down Yurecuti, 2 members falling for the side of Fiends. Yureshi will go ahead and open up the base. Down goes the inhibitor for the mid lane.
Yeah, I like that ISO
That
jumps
Lord
in
had
there,
no
doesn't
health
even
going through
lock
that
on the
top,
targets.
that turret.
His goal was to clear out the
Yeah,
minions
literally 1
so that they
HP.
have an open base and hopefully maybe able to close this one up early.
Yeah, it looks like they are trying to go in for
Discord a
another
better
early
platform
finish.
than Facebook?
Astro Echo, though, for the 4-man set, is going to go ahead and slow
Yeah, I
down
mean, it
inside
don't-
Area 77, but not stop
It don't
them on
matter, I
push.
guess.
Brian with entropy
Discord, you can
finds
have
Cutie. Yureshi Cutie,
our
very low.
voices
Vengeance
through
being
his
activated.
stream.
Last Insanity
Well,
on the
I
chase, giving it
I
it
could
all,
use
trying
get
to
on
take him down.
Facebook
Still
on the
play from
computer
Gohar,
too,
wrapped to the backside, but
so we
nobody
could
to
have done
follow
it that
up,
way.
Even if he does get the set,
we could've
you
done
are seeing them
Facebook, I guess.
slowly make their way out of the base. ISO though from the side.
It's the one meter
Wait,
running
the BMI in finds Bryanar.
or if you want to wait with one later or whatever.
3
So
versus 4.
the
Area
MCL
77
starts at
have the
9,
numbers.
right?
8.
On the defense, trying to
Yeah, it
hold
starts
them
at
up.
oh, it starts
Minions
soon
still
then.
in
All
play
right,
from
all right,
outside.
never mind.
One on the
We can
top
do it
for
after
Destroy.
too if
Getting
you
hit.
want.
Last Insanity. ISO will find Pro Destroy. You're gonna lick the frog armor dropping. You're executing
Yeah,
the ball. J Cutie.
each game's
Able to
about
pick up that
20
kill.
to 30
Chirapami
minutes.
by himself against the full 5-man team now in play. You're looking at Tarzan
Huh?
trying to catch him. He's like, wait for me. Let me get to the base, Crystal.
Oh,
Don't you end it
do it for
without
the
me.
minutes.
No, he's gonna go in for the purple, but they could just end right here anyway. And that's
Time right there.
exactly
Starts
what they're
at
gonna
9.
do. Area 77 claiming
It starts at
game
9.
2 against
Yeah.
Fiends.
Somebody just said it.
Yeah, I mean, a
All right,
dominating
then I'm
performance
gonna
by
go
Area
on Nico
77.
and then
10K gold lead here. I mean, it's
I'll
not
be back
15K
and I'll
from
get
last
on.
game, so we could say that.
So it'll be like 20
that
minutes
they're
around
getting,
them.
Fiends are getting a little bit better, but man, Area 77 just right on the
But I'll be
button,
back.
sharp as a nails right now. A great execution of that and a very early victory for them in game 2 of this series.
Game
Yeah,
2.
I mean, another one-sided story. I mean, right now it's a little rough, right? I mean, when it comes to Fiends, I just feel like the Fiends in the regular
I see
season was a
Comanche
little bit
has
stronger,
left.
and I think this is just boiling down
Nah,
to the synergy.
well, I
being a
did, but
little
I'm
bit
coming
off,
back.
right? I mean, that's a lot to step into, a lot of major changes.
Oh, maybe I won't
this
let
far
you
in the
in.
game. It's a skill battle. I mean, you're kind of fighting
Please
against
let me
this
in.
battle. On top of all the external sources you're going against, such as Area
No more
77,
locked
who's
doors, he said.
already a little bit more comfortable on the scene. 16-4 for game number 2 at a 12-minute
Look
finish.
at that. 9 turrets.
Yeah,
One
and
Lord.
I mean, even with a
3
you can see
turtles.
there's not a single tower
8
or
purple.
objective
7
for
orange.
the sides of Fiends. They quickly
Holy
got
shit, they're wrecking
overwhelmed here by that, and this was kind of I kind of saw this when it came through for the
Fiends didn't even
draft.
take a
You
single
can see
turret,
there
man.
for the sides.
Oh, I'm
Tarzan
blocking
no
their
is up
objective.
logo.
2 and 2.
Yeah, I know.
Yurechi again,
That's crazy.
laying his
No
claim
Lord,
there,
nothing.
3-0 and 10. J Cutie doing a great job with his 10 assists as well. I mean, just the entire team. Area 77, we talked about it. It's just unfortunate. Area 77, with how strong they are, how much synergy they have, and how well they play in the playoffs, it's just not a team to be testing a new roster against. And it's unfortunate. I've heard that Fiends, they have issues. The issues was with like school, work,
Wow.
quizzes, and midterms and things
This
like
was a
that coming
quick-
off, which is unfortunate.
quick
But that's
playoff
kind of
day,
the
man.
rules we play by here in
Yeah,
North
we got
America,
one more though.
where like there's
I
just
know, I'm
other
just
things
saying
that
though,
happen when
like,
it comes to the teammates.
holy
there.
crap.
For me,
Yeah.
my question right now is, how bad is Bryanar on Rome And can we put Kohari back in the marksman lane, because it feels like is Brainard that bad that we can't have Kohari there in the marksman lane, just to kind of, because he was always the highlight reel for Fiends right now. It just feels like they've lost that magic right now. You can see here Rich Guy 903 ISO in the gold lane. Cutie coming up as the carry. Yuri Cutie getting the 89,000 damage onto himself, and J Cutie with 10 assists.
Yeah, Area 77, just a really good game. Yoreshi over there head-to-head in the XP lane up against Yuri Cutie. I mean, it's the KDA alone, man. It's just a very rough game. I think it just kind of boiled down to overall the objectives.
I messaged
which kind of outshined the side of Fiends when it came to game number 2, and also game number 1, a little bit of a repetitive pattern. As you are going to go ahead and see that damage dealt, the highest damage for today's match is going to go to Mark Cutie, right? Once a goal laner, now in the mid lane, wreaking havoc with the Valentina.
Or should I try out Masha?
Yeah, a huge amount of damage there. And I don't want to say, like, I kind of talked about it. I feel like right now it's not just the roster, but it's also kind of the ability of the roster.
We're gonna go Beatrix
ironing
this
down
game.
Pro Destroy into certain jungle picks too. He tried out this Dairoth. Immediately I knew, like, what was his target going to be, and was he going to be able to close the distance? I think the closest person he came to was trying to get onto ISO. I know in the late game he was able to find a kill onto ISO. That's just because he got very low during a team fight. But when it came to, like, where Dairoth shines, when it comes to those lane ganks, he was still having trouble trying to be able to close the distance. And it's something we saw right from the beginning.
Yeah, and I feel like the tank mage synergy is also something we have to kind of look at too, right? I mean, it's like the glue, the spine of the book, and that's really where Area 77 I feel like is doing a little bit better, because we don't really see Chirobami and Kohari rotating together as a unit, as if they're reading 2 different books. But speaking of reading things, we got something, a little bit of a surprise for everybody out there in the land of Dawn before we jump into the next match. That's right, guys. We are going to be having a giveaway.
Oh, giveaway code. Get it.
This hero skin, the Reactor Core Atlas. This is the last time y'all saw that Atlas.
I don't even know how to do those, bro.
In the land of Dawn. Definitely would be excited to see it today.
Scan the code.
Maybe gonna manifest that into reality, but
Yeah,
this
well,
is
I'm
available,
guessing that,
limited quantity, 30 out, first come, first serve.
Yeah, not 31, 30 this time, and not 40. So yeah, go ahead and snatch that up quickly. A little bit of a little giveaway for you guys right away. You have to be fast though. Got to be very quick on your phone. Actually, you don't even need to. It's got the scanning code right there, so you just kind of scan it while you're watching on your screen, and boom, you got everything all loaded up for you.
Yeah, they need to claim that code faster than the cameraman trying to pan around on that last game we had when it was that high mobility. But man, Private, it's been a day so far, right? I would say the first series was a sweep game. Series 2, it's 2-0. It's match point. Fiends, they need to find an answer to turn this back around in their favor up against Area 77. Man, I gotta say, I think me and you can agree on this. It's the synergy, right? I mean, it's when you change so much at such a fast rate, you don't have time to really practice it out and figure out the kinks and flaws. And it's a very risky move this late in the game. And I think that's something that Area 77 has been leaning toward for this series.
Yeah, it's a commonality that we've seen here, especially from the last series. I mean, if you thought there was a domination from Gaming Gladiators in the last series here, I mean, right now, Area 77 is kind of taking it to the Fiends right now. I mean, they went from a team that was able to take down Gosu, that was having a little bit of success here in the seasonal games, that right now they just have not been able to find their footing, and especially just not able to find, even when it comes to like ganks, the only real gank that we saw there was from Pro Destroy, and he was kind of by himself. And this is kind of the complaint I made a little bit about LEGACi when it came to their synergy kind of getting around the lanes, where they used to just go at one person was going there. It was the whole team needs to respond either to the objectives or to those ganks on the side lane to help facilitate that, to make sure that maybe some of those abilities are burned out already, so that Claude doesn't have the BMI before Pro Destroy comes in there for that Abyssal Strike or something like that.
Back top.
Yeah, definitely keys to victory, especially when they pick these heroes. You got to be able to not only to execute, but understand like what it takes for that hero to start having the impact you're looking for. Like you mentioned, something like a Claude, something like a late game marksman. They rely on survivability and they rely on your team getting the neutral objectives. When neither of those happen, when you get bursted down or when your team is not getting these turtles and they're not finding the trade-offs, it makes it harder for you to kind of shine where you're supposed to. In Area 77, I mean, they're kind of looking like how Game of Gladiators was, right? They're taking all the neutral objectives, they're taking everything with little to no contest, and you're not really seeing too much of a kickback from Fiends. You see Kohari pop in here and there. He's like, hey, I'm here, but you guys are here too, and you got the numbers, and then he ends up getting taken down. And that's just kind of where the disaster starts to happen. So we kind of have to see where this goes moving forward. I will say, I don't like seeing sweeps. I like seeing things go all the way. And hey, this is the playoffs, Private. Day 1. Best of 5. If you had any chance, this is your shot.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I do have to say,
10 likes, I
a
appreciate
little bit
it.
of a lag. The apparent reason is that we do have a roster swap coming up for the side of Fiends. You can see there, Pro Destroy is going to be subbed out for Magic, but it's not going to be Magic coming in as a jungler. From what I understand, we're going to be swapping around the roles a bit here for Fiends, and Magic will be going to his normal spots at mid, and the rest of the roster is going to adjust for that.
Oh, man, that's it's like committing open heart surgery and brain surgery at the same time in a burning building. But we'll have to see how this kind of goes with the roster changes. Hopefully it works in their favor. Hopefully everything's all right. But Synergy is going to be their biggest enemy, even outside of Area 77, and I hope they can find it in game number 3.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because usually they had Churubami at mid, so I'm assuming maybe Churubami might be going as the jungler. Whatever it is, I kind of hoping that the answer involves Kohari in the marksman lane, because I mean, not to take anything away from Brayanar, but Kohari has been that staple for the Fiends. That no matter, it's one of those little talking points that I bring up when we talk about the greatest marksman in North America right now. It's marksmen that are able to do their job, get their gold, and be successful despite how their team is doing. And Kohari has proven that he is one of those marksmen that even if his team is behind, eventually he's going to hit his power spike. Eventually he's going to be able to burst forward, and he's going to be able to get a lot of those kills and turn around a lot of that momentum for his team. But I mean, we've been harping a little bit on Fiends here, but let's not take anything away from like how great Area 77 is and has been looking out there, from their picks to dominating their lanes to how well they've been rotating. It's just been, this is an Area 77, like I said, that we love to see here in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of a funny little statistic to throw out there, but Area 77 is 4 wins in a row right now. They're definitely on that train, and they want to stay on it as long as they can. But speaking about staying on track of things, we're going to jump into the draft. Area 77 up against Fiends. Both teams ready to take it out again in the land of Dawn. But now we have to see where this goes, right? Area 77. Wait, we're in game. Okay, so yeah, as we are, yeah, we're keeping things interesting. But looking at the band so far, we are looking at the double support knocked out on both sides. And now we're looking at me and Private again. Private.
What's up?
I know, he's slippery.
Jump back into there. But hey, let's just jump back on that point. When you were talking about Kohari, you were talking about what he kind of provides for the team. I think he's the tempo setter, right? I mean, when he thrives, they thrive. When he doesn't, they don't. So I think they just kind of need to play into Kohari, and that's going to be their strongest thing. But now back into the land of Dawn. We are going to go ahead and get ready to class it out, though. Ignore the role icons. It's just we like to keep things interesting, keep you guys on your toes. All right. But another support taking off. We are going to see the Angela for Area 77.
I do like this ban coming out from the side of Fiends here. I was about to say CC and Claude are the main issues right now for Area 77. You just need to either have an answer or just take them
Arlott, Angela, CC, Matilda, and
both of these players, Yureshi and ISO, have shown just how dominant they can be in their lanes with these. We're going for that first pick for Area 77 now.
Yeah, first pick on the board. A lot to grab, and it looks like it'll be the safety route. With that Fredgen, most likely going to be in the jungle, which means they have a lot of frontline capability, some CC stacked alongside it, and survivability. On the other side of the table, Fiends going to risk it early, going to go in for their mage. They're going to pick up the Valentina. Now, I'm not too against it. I don't necessarily think I would have picked it there, but it still works because it provides draft pressure to make Area 77
Damn,
think
I gotta go
twice
top.
before they slot their next picks.
Yeah, I was about to say too, like, even though I prefer Valentina in an answer to something because you see ultimates out there that you're going to want to steal, but at this point, if you pick it early, it does mean that it kind of delegates to Area 77. Now you have to think about what ultimates you're going to give me, because I have a Valentina out there, and so it's going to have to adjust some of their roster. You see a Zaman Force out there for ISO. Valentina's not going to be able to do much with that, and we're going to see how many other ultimates we're going to be juggling around here for Area 77.
Yeah, and speaking of answers, a little bit of a counter right there. You're going to see the Harris picked up the response over there to Brian R on the carry. Brian R has a little bit of a harder time so far from what we've seen. You kind of mentioned some of the key points earlier today, and it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, especially up against ISO when he's running that direct counter. Speaking of counters, though, the Minotaur into a Valentina. Now, that's a very bold statement because the Valentina will profit
The
off that as
nightmares,
well.
what's going on?
Yeah, she'll profit off of it. It's and when you were talking about the Harris pickup here, it's almost like kind of a
Playing a little classic while we wait for the match to
We're trying to
start.
take that off of the board. It's also a decent counter for
Kills me
Joy,
in
but
one
I don't really
hit,
think there's
dude.
too many people on Fiends that
What
really
is
like to
his
play
build?
that Joy. In fact, I'm not even sure who's jungling on their side right now. So I mean, that actually kind of might be a little bit of a plus on the side of Fiends because it's all kind of up in the air. We don't even know who's jungling, so we don't really know what picks are there for them and what are or what is available. So maybe we take off. We don't take off some of those more mechanical heroes, and maybe somebody there on Fiends actually plays a decent mechanical Fanny, a decent mechanical Joy, or a Nolan.
Oh, this is called in. So we do got the roles now. It is going to be Kohari inside of the jungle this time. Whoa!
Oh,
switching it up. Magic will be in the roam position. Brian R will be the gold, and Shurabami the mid, and Yuri
Kills me
Cutie
again
will
in
be in
one
the
hit,
next lane.
dude. What
Is
the
that something you would have
fuck?
predicted? Would that
You gotta
have
go
been your
top.
guess, Private?
It honestly, if I was
We'll rotate
set on
lanes.
Brian R being in gold lane, the only other adjustment I would have made was Kohari as a jungler,
bottom
which
down.
fits. We've talked before about how well some of these roles kind of lend themselves to another role that might be
I mean,
that
if
might
I
be
can get
beneficial
jungle
for it.
or not jungle,
Marksman
fucking
lane and the jungle kind
someone
of
to
coming
rotate.
together.
Like,
I want to say because the jungle is what the marksman wishes it could do, but it has to be patient.
He
It has to
literally
get its
fucking
goal.
one-hit
It
me.
needs to wait for the team to get in there, and then you get to the mid game and you're able to shine off. The jungle can do that right away, and I feel like it
Johnson's
might
coming.
benefit Kohari's play style.
Man, I'll tell you what. He might be
Lance
breaking
is
the record
top.
for swapping the most roles in the NACT in a single season. I mean, we've seen him run the gold lane, the roam, and now the jungle. I mean, man, this dude can definitely do it all. That's his new nickname, Mr. Do It All. I mean, he just has a trick up his sleeve every step of the way. But the options that he has available, are they the right choices? And that's what we're going to be looking into today. Another pickup, though, for the side of Area 77.
How does she know which one
they are
is
gonna go ahead and
me?
slot in that Vexana. So they're going to be able to have that Eternal Guard, that knockup.
Fucking
be able to
0 and
provide a little
6,
bit more
dude.
damage to the side
I'm
of
never using
Fiends.
Sun
Speaking of
again.
Fiends, they have mobility.
Don't worry,
Pick up
guy. I
moves
can't
off.
play him either.
Ooh,
You want
and
coffee?
the
Oh, yes,
Masha
please.
pickup. That's going to be in the XP lane as well. If you guys haven't seen
mocha,
a lot, I
if
know
you
in
can.
North America,
Oh,
it's been
shit, I'm building the
slowly
wrong thing.
picking up. Masha does an immense amount of damage, especially now that her Thunderclap ultimate resets
Damn.
with every single bar that she loses. I know we saw it a little bit, I
Hot,
want to say,
please.
from the side of
Appreciate ya.
LEGACi, who I feel like they just took it off the table because they didn't want to see it on the Gaming Gladiators. But here, I mean,
We're
we
losing
might
in
be
kills,
able to
but we're
see,
winning in
especially as you
turrets,
go
so
into
we
the
still got
mid-game
this.
with Masha. Once she gets that first item, usually a Blade of Hephaestus, she's going to be one-shotting a lot of these targets here on the side of Fiends.
I think Private's talking about some of these ranked matches he's been doing recently, man. You definitely know he's speaking from experience. But speaking of experience, something that we've seen across the land of Dawn for a decent amount of time, an Ube strat may be in effect for the side of Fiends. They are going to pick up that Estus alongside that Barat, so they're going to be playing that little tank and support method to be able to rush in and take these neutral objectives. We know the heals from Estus can definitely be overwhelming. Now, I'm really excited to see how this plays off. We don't really get to see the Estus and Barat's combination too often. They have late game in the bag as well, too. They do have that carry, but it may be a problem up against the Harith, who is the direct counter.
Yeah,
Whatever.
hats off right now to Fiends, especially Kohari, dude, who has he's basically laid claim here that, I mean, I don't know where my team needs me, but I'm going to fill that role to help out this team, regardless of how the roster is, doing his best here to try to help out Fiends where they need it.
Yeah, it just shows how flexible of a player he is and how dedicated he is to trying to win this out. Area 77 up against Fiends, game number 3, match point. Fiends needs to find a way to turn this around. Can they get the reverse sweep, or will Area 77 knock them down to the lower bracket?
1% moving over to Area 77. It was 80% to 20% there, and I think they lost that 1% with that last game, unfortunately.
Bro, what the?
We're gonna see here how well it kind of comes together. I'm eager to see how well. I haven't seen too many Mashas in the XP lane.
One hit on me and I fucking almost died, dude.
I've seen some Masha junglers. I'm eager to see how well, especially because Masha, her early game is not very favorable, and against somebody like Yuzong, who can potentially bully. It might be a little bit of a mark there, as we see a lot of impure rages there when it comes to the emblems for the side of Area 77.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, this is technically a new lineup for Fiends right now, right? I mean, this is different synergy from game number 2 and 1, and they're being very aggressive, but it looks like it's kind of working in their favor, at least on the bottom side. A lot of damage is dealt over to the JQT. He will be forced to go back to the base.
Yeah, and a little bit of a press up at top. Not too big of engagement. Now we're starting to see Kohari move to the top. The big thing here is I want to see how well the team synergizes together. Do we have the call-outs from Kohari? Are we going to get more of a group of like 3 or 4 people looking for ganks in some of these lanes? And are we going to all be lined up when it's time for these objectives?
Yeah, you are seeing Magic. He is rocking that Quantum Charge, so he'll be a little bit more mobile, especially running that Estus, needing to get back to safety. He does have the Flicker to be able to expand that distance as well. The heals may be a problem for Area 77 if left unchecked. You are going to go ahead and see Fiends, and this is different than the last 2 games, right? They're looking like they may be able to take control of these individual objectives if they play it off right, but Area 77 not trying to let it go without a fight. First turtle going to Fiends.
Yeah, a little bit of a difference here. I mean, last game, Area 77, last 2 games, I want to say, Area 77 barely even let Fiends even get sight of the turtle. Here, Fiends get their first turtle unanswered from Area 77 here.
Yeah, on the bot side, ISO taking a couple of hits. Brian R doing a good job sustaining himself down there. Nobody has fallen so far, but the first turtle will go to Fiends, giving them a little bit of that boost and momentum, and also the economy over Area 77, as well as experience. Speaking of experience, 2v1 rotation to the top side. Your cutie hit with the Eternal Guard. Your cutie trying to go in for the final hit, but it looks like he will be able to get out of there with very low HP.
Yeah, a little bit of a bait there from the side. Oh, still got him. I'm wondering if that was the Eternal Guardian or a little bit. Yeah, that had to have been the Eternal Guardian.
So we
eventually caught up to Yuri Cutie, slowly but surely making his way to Yuzong.
I think the Eternal Guardian was able to get a battle spell of his own, like he used the execution on him last second, trying to close that distance. Well, speaking of closing distance, Zalman Force dropping down. Brian R, very low. Kahari wrapping around. Magic keep the team alive with the Blessing of the Moon Goddess. JQT and ISO 2v3. Make that possibly 4. Churubami thought about going down there, but quickly shifting focus to the mid lane.
Yeah, he's going to try to clear up. Well, and this is the thing, too. He's going up there while you see this engagement still kind of happening down at the bottom, looking for something here onto your cutie.
Yeah, very low, though. Not going to be able to get out of there. Too much CC to handle. Tarzan will be able to take the second kill of the game for Area 77. They want more, though. Airborne knock up Yoreshi. Finding Churubami for their 3rd kill. Brian R, very low. ISO, man, looking like Tony Montana out there himself. That was a 2v1, and he was dealing a lot of heavy damage to Brian R.
Yeah, and you can see here already. Actually starting with the Sea Halberd is the Masha Yuri Cutie. So he's going to try to take away a lot of what kind of makes that Yuzong stand out, a lot of that regenning ability. He's going to want to try to dominate that lane there. And on the other side, we're still trying to keep up with our first items. The only one that actually has it is Carry.
Yeah, big Minoan Fury, but the turtle will fall. Churubami is going to go ahead and take 1. JQT will drop. Your cutie takes down Tarzan cutie. Your cutie respawn will find Magic. That's going to be a 2.
Oh, we all split up at the wrong fucking time. Got
this
slaughtered.
Time the turtle goes to Area 77.
Yeah, and you can see there, Yoreshi Cutie comes in, thunderclaps, finds himself 2 kills, and just narrowly able to find himself an escape. Zalman Force down.
He's going to drop in the mid lane. Bryanar doesn't want any part of that problem. You're looking at a different story right now from what we've seen in game number 1 and game number 2. And hey, I said it. I don't like seeing sweeps, and if they keep up this pace, you know, Area 77 may have to find a new strategy.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, it's not too bad right now. About a 1,600 gold lead for the side of Area 70. Not as dominant as the game they had before. The games they had before this. Ooh.
Dennis Welcome will connect for the stun onto JQT, but now the counterplay, the Manoa Fury knockup, setting up Magic Bryanar and Kohari. JQT able to get the kill off of it as well. Fiends changing their plans. A quick escape out of there. Area 77 finding their footing.
Kohari, seeing red there, dives a little too deep into Area 77 territory to get that Detna's Welcome, and then ends up kind of costing his team, as it was the perfect set, the perfect opportunity for JQT to come in with a Minoan Fury, which kind of set his entire team.
Yeah, and Guardian's helmet picked up by Kohari. Should be able to sustain himself and stay in these fights even longer with some regen as he rotates around the map. We are going to see the turtle spawn in the next 15 seconds. Both sides actually able to claim one so far. You're looking at Area 77 up by 3 kills, but this is still anybody's game. And I think they realize that, right? They're not trying to overstay their welcome. They're just trying to wait for Fiends to make a mistake, but it doesn't look like they plan on doing that anytime soon.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, 5-2 right now. It's a much more even game. Area 77 now starting to get a little bit more dominant. Fiends just not in a position to really counteract as they start coming in.
Black Dragon from Yurikuti dropping down with the Petrified Tarzan. Cutie appraises Wrath last second before the stun plays the turtle for Area 77. Furious dive, though. Enhanced Soul Grip. Knock up from the Minoan Fury. Yureshi will find Magic. Yurikuti finds a response back, takes down Yureshi. Marcuti will find Kohari a 1-for-2 trade in the turtle pit.
I thought Fiends had it, but
still on the way. And
guess
Chirobami on
not.
the bot side, forced to use the flicker. Very low. Needs to get out of there. Marcuti will find him. ISO finds Chirobami. A full wipeout against Fiends. Wondering where they went wrong. And Area 77 finds their rhythm.
Yeah, and even though, like, I mean, Yureshi Cutie came in there, set the tone, dove in, thunderclap, gets himself a kill, dies in the process, but sets the tone as the rest of Area 77 able to kind of collapse in around the Fiends, and then they just picked them off one by one as they were trying to make their escape.
Yeah, a little bittersweet for them. Definitely not what they had planned right there. This is going to give a big boost to Area 77 inside of this game. They were looking for a mistake, and they found one, but a response
You
back
said
must
what?
be on the way. Detna's Welcome will connect. Kohari very low. Yureshi Cutie with that thunderclap going in is going to be able to take him down. Magic on the retreat. Bryanar, Chirobami by his side will be able to burst down the Eternal Guard, but you are going to go ahead and see Area 77 with ground control.
Yeah, 4-1 and 2 for Yureshi Cutie right now. He's having a heck of a game right now. Looks like he's building. Oh, he just got that BOD. So now, I mean, you thought he was doing damage before. He is going to be coming in there with haymakers every single time these engagements come open, and it's so hard. This is why Masha is usually banned at the top of NA right now, because there's just really nothing you can do to stop her, especially once you start reaching into the mid game and once she starts getting her items.
Yeah, and this is different than the Masha game we seen earlier, which really didn't have any profit. And this is interesting because you mentioned that Masha picked up the Sia Halberd first as a response over there to Yu Zong, and it still worked inside of Yureshi's favor. And right now, 12-3, up by a decent amount of kills at the 9-minute mark, and leading in terms of turrets and turtles. They're looking to claim some more real estate. You're going to see the knock-up on the way, but I'm sure you're not going to be able to connect for the set they're looking for. Kohari with a lot of chain CC. ISO will find the kill. Yurikuti, wait a second. Black Dragon trying to stop them from taking the tier 2 turret for the mid lane. Not able to get there in time, but Yureshi on the Masha. Full dive to the 4-man team, trying to find a pick off. Oh my goodness, the essence, the residue will connect onto JQT in the kill, going over to Yurikuti on the Yuzong.
Yeah, and Yureshi doing a good job there. He goes in, bursts down about 2 health bars. Once he gets down to his last one, he makes himself an escape. All the while,
well, Fiends started good,
because
but
every single punch that he lays out there is doing an exorbitant amount of damage to them right now. Fiends right now sitting at 4 kills, a 10k gold deficit. a 9K at the 9-minute mark. And this has just been the playstyle right here for Area 77. 1K per minute in advance.
Ooh, speaking of advancing, that is welcome connecting for the set. Yoreshi very low.
Mike said he'd be on
find
in a
Kohari
few.
just in time.
For sure.
The Praises Rat dropping down, but hit with the Terrify from Shurabami, but rushing in with the Energy Eruption. Tarzan on the dive. ISO.
This might be it.
And the siege on the way, trying to claim one of these inhibitors' minions. Intact Area 77 on the push.
Yeah, right now, Area 77, I mean, they're just a well-oiled machine here, pushing their way into it. They got all the towers until the high grounds, and now trying to force their way through mid.
Yeah, trying to close this out, looking for the sweep, the second
No
sweep
minions.
of the day, possibly to knock down Fiends into the lower bracket. 2 more inhibitors to go through in a 4-man team. They have the numbers, they have the advantage. Can they follow through? ISO taking an inhibitor, big knockup. Tarzan will find Magic. Black Dragon from Yuracuti getting back to the base for regen. Kohari will fall Thunderclap over there from Yoreshi to secure the kill. Furious dive from Yuracuti connecting to 3 members of Area 77. Yoreshi will find Yuracuti to respond though on the aggressive dive. Base crystal 50%. Bryanar finds Tarzan. Cutie, Turabami, and Bryanar in the base against the 4-man team of Area 77. Make that one as ISO finds Turabami. Bryanar gets a
why they're not turret locking.
ISO, the base
Yeah, I don't know.
They just want those kills. They're like, oh, might as well get a few of them more in.
Right.
A clean, a refreshed playoff level Area 77 here. I mean, what to say about this team? Yoreshi and Marcuti leading the charge here, and absolutely laying waste to their opponent.
Yeah, laying down the law, letting them know, hey, we are here and ready to stay, landing from a whole nother planet and taking over yours. Now, team stats on the board, 19-6 and 40. I wouldn't say it was the easiest game for them, but they were still able to pull off that 9 rating, higher than the last game, mind you, as well. Now, that Fiends did look pretty promising. I think they did a lot well in the beginning, but then Kohari was not able to find the defensive stance on that Barats to be able to make up the difference, even with the Estus to keep him alive, and Area 77 punished.
Yeah, there were just some opportunities. Kohari, I want to say, split off from the team a little bit, not respecting the damage. That might be a little bit of a play style, or just not as understanding of the kit of Barats there. I mean, he charged in, he left himself open for a lot of those engagements, and he was getting bursted down. There's a certain point though too where it just comes on to the fact that Area 77 was just so far into the lead, so much damage, that there's not much that Kohari would have been able to do when you're the Zaman Force, the magic damage that's coming out of Marcuti and ISO there as well. And then I want to say
series for sweeps,
1
aren't they?
and 4, a great job, probably a staple right now for these last 3 games here for Area 77. And then, like I was saying, Marcuti sitting at 3-0 and 11, just really laying down that suppressive fire to really burst down even a player and character as tanky as Kohari on that Barats.
And speaking of the game, just a little bit of a look at a couple of the stats so far. The rich guy, ISO, highest gold per minute, and also the carry with the most damage, 75,000. Kohari, the sandbag, taking a lot of that damage on that Barats, and the forgotten one racking up those phenomenal assists, sitting at 12, JQT.
Yeah, great game played by them, and this is just showing the dominance of Area 77. This is why I kind of picked them as my underdog pick here to do well in the playoffs, regardless of who they're facing, man. I mean, this is just a team that when it comes time for the playoffs, when it comes time to really show out, they really step up to the line. You see here head-to-head, Yoreshi Cutie really laying down the law into the XP lane, and there just wasn't much that Yuracuti was able to do.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they sparked a fire, and Fiends was not able to put it out, and it lit up the room very quickly. Took down the entire building for Fiends. I mean, they did their best, right? We saw them go through 3 different rosters today, 3 different types of play styles, trying to find an answer, and it just wasn't there. Area 77 at every single door waiting for them to open it, and they were able to execute. They were able to perform, and like you mentioned, they're a team that's went the additional mile, that's made it to an offline event for the playoffs, previously in NACT, and it looks like they're trying to take it there again.
So she's going to give you right to work.
I just really like this composition from the side of Area 77 too, because you have so much CC, you have so much suppressive fire being laid down from the Vexana, from ISO there, that when Yureshi came in there, it was just easy pickings. He's just like finding the lowest person, punch, you're down. Finding the other next person, punch, you're down. All the while they're kind of trying to burst down his life bars, and he's just able to kind of find that escape, except for that one death he took in the early game.
Great games, guys. Did you expect it to go down this way? I mean, we expected Area 77 to take the victory,
like
but
the wire ones?
not in this fashion, though.
Man, you gotta expect the unexpected, especially this NACT. I mean, we're breaking records today. I mean, we're seeing players swap to multiple roles. Not something that we've seen it too often, and I mean, it's definitely something that can kind of hinder you. Sometimes it can work, but this just didn't seem to be that occasion this time around. But hey, there's still another chance, so we'll have to see how they kind of play it out in the lower bracket. But Area 77, that was a little bit more expected. I think we predicted this. I think all three of us predicted Area 77 kind of taking this victory just due to the pure reason of the roster change. Now, Fiends, I gotta extend this question to you guys too. If Fiends never switched their roster, and this was the same Fiends from the regular season,
We're doing some.
would you still have picked Area 77 so confidently, or do you think it would have kind of shifted you in like either direction?
Private, why don't you take a go at it?
for me, with Area 77 opening and beating BTK, I instantly became a fan. So I'm kind of biased in that regard. I would have Area 77. And plus, it's hard to kind of pick against their showmanship from the last season too. I know how they can play in the playoffs. And Fiends was still that question mark, even with that 100% roster.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, if one thing that the regular season did for us is to provide us this ranking of the tiers of each teams after the points that they collected, and we can see that Fiends, although had a very great start, were not the top 4 contenders. The top 4, Area 77 was one of the top players. So definitely, I would agree that might have still voted for Area 77, but I think Fiends could have maybe taken a win or there. But that gives me the question, like, I want to interview Fiends and get to the bottom of it. What caused the roster change? I mean, what went on for them to, like Private said it during the game,
yeah, that was
like,
the last series
today. That their roamer was not it for Kohari to drop that goal lane and go into roamer. What else could have triggered that change?
Right. Yeah, I'm probably going to end this one and then
it'd be very hard to speculate, but nonetheless, I think it ends in the same result
when we do MCL.
In your best interest when you swap, especially in the playoffs, so suddenly, and hopefully, they kind of learn and they progress and they find that more solidified team that they can focus on and perfect their flaws.
All right, I'll see.
From what I've heard, and this is only
are you gonna
rumors,
get out of
like,
Discord
too? School exams,
I'm staying in Discord.
Outside things that they needed to take care of that caused some of these roster changes. And that's kind of the friendlier side of some of these roster changes. And an unfortunate thing that you get here in North America, where a lot of these guys have other priorities when it comes to education and stuff like that.
For sure, man. All right. Well, we're gonna hop up the stream here. Appreciate everybody for hanging out. Hope you guys had some fun, had some laughs with us. Hope you all have a good evening, good night, good day, whatever it is, wherever you are. I hope it goes good. Tiny hearts for you all. Peace. That's gonna be it for us here.
And that's another thing too.